What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 16 SW Chapter 106. Thanks to Master Kaguya for not killing, Yim almost died of anger. Advertisement, boom. The terrifying attack just hit. Between Kizaru and Dover and Tezulo's horror, a figure appeared like a savior. Raising your hand is the repulsive force, boom. The terrifying repulsive force pushes everything horizontally, the attack from the ravaged collapse. And directly flattened a red line area, forming a huge semicircular pothole. The strong air wave violently blew to Marijoy, who was turned into ruins in the rear, causing another heavy blow. Puff, 5 elders, a bald head and a long beard, who were already injured, just stood up and greeted the fierce wind. He vomited blood and flew upside down. Humph! There was a muffled voice in the void that could not tell whether it was a male or a female, and there was no sound. You will scream, believe it or not, the concubine will kill you. The visitor clenched fists and waved, with a fierce tone, and then resumed his elegant and indifferent posture, making the Kizaru trio look dumbfounded. When the comer turns around, those crimson eyes. Light blue and white long hair. With these two characteristics, the Kizaru trio immediately jumped up. Especially Kizaru. That's a deep impression, he will never forget, the other party was so happy because of a little girl, and then smiled and killed him in seconds. Let Kizaru have nightmares many times. I have seen Mr. Kaguya. Kizaru immediately raised his hand to salute, standing straight, with an extremely solemn expression. I have seen Mr. Kaguya. Dover and Tezulo also recovered, and quickly raised their hands to salute, then bowed their heads slightly. These two once arrogant guys were suddenly unnatural at this moment. Oh my god. 07 so nervous. Dedudu, although the empire is separated from military and political affairs, 100 Kakuzu ministers are not as pressured as this adult. Dover has seen many ministers in various ministries of the Imperial Civil Service in recent years. Most of them are smiling, very close to the people, and very down to earth. As a staff member of the Ministry of Finance, Dover is also learning to change his wicked smile to a smile like a spring breeze, which is a bit difficult. But the top of the military, the main foreign war is rare. They not only represent the top position, but their strength is the apex of the empire, making people subconsciously nervous, for fear of saying something wrong. It's you, little monkey. Seeing the constant decline of Kizaru, Kaguya remembered the encounter 7 years ago and smiled and said, "You didn't die in the heavenly concubine as a concubine. Good luck." Master Kaguya is right. Kizaru inadvertently wiped cold sweat. He can be sure, even if he now has the holy text, Giant of Light, the so-called boost and life-saving ability, will still be killed by Kaguya in seconds. Heaven's Imperial Court instant. Kizaru is instantly transferred to another space. Kizaru, who cannot escape, will starve to death in a few months. If you put in the expanded truth-seeking ball, Kizaru can completely annihilate the entire space without leaving a single photon. Empire's new spiritual power system. Originally 6 paths level, now you don't need to eat, drink and sleep at the level of 6 stars. Even if there is no holy script, you will still have a long life. Pillar moderate eating and drinking is purely a habit and life. Commonly known as extraordinary life. Huang Yuan has not arrived yet. Master Kaguya, thank you for not killing you, and for saving your life just now. Paluzolino keeps it in his heart, and I am willing to serve you. Kizaru said seriously again. Dover and Tezulo secretly contempt, they are really human spirits, they can find opportunities for any break. The unknown attack just now. We may die, but you won't. Thank you Kaguya-sama for your life-saving grace, and I am willing to serve you. Dover and Tezulo said very sincerely. Kaguya said elegantly, don't form gangs in the future. Only your majesty is the loyalty of all the people in the empire, especially you two. Dover and Tezulo were tight in their hearts. Kaguya continued, don't be nervous, concubine means that you are civil servants and the military will not interfere. Dover and Tezulo breathed a sigh of relief. However, the two did not form a gang and abide by the rules in the empire, but it is very important. Master Kaguya, Kizaru was both curious and wanted to find a topic. Judging by his eyesight, the unknown attack just now is far stronger than that of the bald 5 elders, which is very strange. The man snorted and ran away when he saw the concubine. Having said this, Kaguya blinked in confusion. Is the concubine body terrible? No, Kaguya-sama is picturesque. Yes, that person may have been killed by Kaguya-sama directly. Tezulo and Dover spoke immediately. Kizaru raised his brows and said with emotion, perhaps he died of jealousy. After all, that person has never seen such a beautiful 17-year-old girl like Mr. Kaguya. Dover and Tezulo stared. OMG, you actually said from the side that Master Kaguya is a child and wants to die. As Dover thought, what are you little monkey talking about? Kaguya's face is flat, her eyebrows are horizontal, her expression is fierce and awe-inspiring. For an instant, Dover and Tezulo felt that the air was stagnant and their hearts were full of ambition. No good, Kizaru is going to finish, next moment. The two were completely confused. Kaguya said that he was very angry and cried out. How many times have I said that? My concubine will always be 18 years old, not 17 years old. Right, my fault. Kizaru nodded sincerely apologetically. ***. Tezulo. Minister Kakuzu. What if we want to join the Air Force? After Kaguya and others left, Someone made sure that Kagaya stayed away completely, and only then appeared again. Twice, you have destroyed my house twice, unforgivable. A tall and thin figure appeared, with a cold look in the distance. So, what did you run when Kagaya was just here? Who is it? Advertisement. Suddenly a flat voice. Make the tall and thin figure single-minded. The horrible sights faded away for an unknown number of miles, and foresee the future, but I didn't see the person who just made the noise. I am where you were looking. What? The tall and thin figure shook again. Standing on the red line, what I look out to is Imperial North State. When you stare at the abyss also stares at you. What's the meaning? The tall and thin figure is unclear. But he still felt alert and didn't believe that the other party was far away in North State. Lan Yu looked at the tall and thin figure, and his voice faded with spiritual power. No other meaning. Don't you think this sentence is appropriate, little sister? Boom. The terrifying conquerors swept everywhere, making Marijoy's destruction a bit more serious. You angered me. The tall and thin figure almost exploded. Little sister? This is the most unacceptable word that a tall and thin figure has heard in 800 years. Then, I am sitting on the top of the throne waiting for you, but, do you dare to come? The tall and thin figure was speechless for a long time. I didn't hear Lan Yu's voice again. Seems to be gone? Ridiculous. I look down on the ages, and I am used to seeing life and death. What can I not dare? The tall thin figure said again. Haki looks awe-inspiring. But Lan Yu, who was far away in Beijo, couldn't help but smiled. As a former master of the world, it is so interesting. Kei Yoruichi comes and you run away. As soon as I speak, you must. Are you here to be funny? A person who has been in a high position all year round, whether he is a man or woman, will definitely be angry if he is called a little sister by outsiders. Lan Yu retracted his gaze. No longer pay attention to the tall and thin figure. It looks like it's gone. No, I am not afraid of him. The tall and thin figure adjusted his emotions, and looked at the shrine that was turned into ruins more indifferently, looking for 5 elders. Did you die? Go and rebuild the Holy Land without dying, a bunch of waste. Puff cough cough. Lord Yim, Kaido continued to hunt down Marine. This is a game of life and death. Madara is flying behind to watch. Madara, counts. In 10 days, as long as someone lasts 10 days, Marine will be able to win the game. Get the glory of the Empire. Want to go, New World. Uchiha Madara looked at Sengoku, Akainu, Aoi and the seriously injured Zephyr, and rushed into the special passage to New World. That won't work, Mr. Sengoku, go quickly, I'll block Kaido. I'm coming too. Seeing Kaido who followed closely, Akainu and Aokiji stopped in the passage. Puff ahem, Sengoku, put me down, you keep running, don't look back. Zephyr coughed up blood and fell off the surface of the water. He didn't want to be a burden. This scene, if it spreads out, it will stun countless people. When is Kaido so awesome? One person chases and kills Marine executives. 07. Sengoku smiled bitterly but nodded. Had it not been for the rules of the game, he would have stayed and worked hard with Kaido. 423 is less than a day now. Jiaji and Garp died in battle. How long can Akainu last? Thinking of the possibility of being able to survive to the end, Sengoku decisively ran away. He is going to New World to transfer the crisis brought by Kaido. No one is more suitable than that person. Sorry, old opponent. I'll stop him. You run away separately, don't look back. Zephyr yelled. It is meaningless to besiege Kaido, who is now miraculously added. Running separately is the best strategy. Fight for the remaining 9.5 days for Sengoku. Good. Understanding Zephyr's strategy, Akainu and Aokiji nodded solemnly. In an instant, Akainu ran towards South Blue. Xingshang ran towards North Blue. Haha, run away. There are still 9.5 days left for Laozi to pursue and kill, and once again witness the power of miracles. Kaido laughed and attacked Zephyr frantically again, roaring constantly. This kind of game, Madara really knows how to play. Lan Yu glanced at this place. It's cruel and desperate, but if anyone can survive, it will be endless hope. Immediately Lan Yu retracted his gaze and issued an order to White Zetsu. Inform the world. Yes, your majesty. 3 hours later. Many forces are still shocked that Marijoy was destroyed again, and received the news that Kaido was chasing and killing Marine seniors. Also half of the world is under the bright moon and half of the world is under the sun. The Empire Spirit Birds once again took the Empire Times and flew to the Grand Line. This time it's not just the Grand Line. The 4 continents of the Empire will also be sent to the Empire Times, which will be distributed at a fair price. Grand Line will be issued at a price increase. You can always trust the Empire. This is the consensus of the major forces. Even if they did not join the Empire, they still give the highest level of trust to the Empire Times. Every sentence above is true. Unlike the world government, there are a lot of nonsense. So when the Empire Times came again, countless people on Grand Line rushed to buy from Lingbird. But when people see the content of the newspaper, pieces of news shocked the whole world. Chapter 107. The Empire Times made a sensation all over the world and was publicly executed in January. Advertisement. The whole world is the Empire. Within 5 days, all the first half of the Grand Line will be included in the Imperial territory. The Fishmen Island and Daughter Island moved to Beijo. Marine Admiral Kizaru, Aokiji, Akainu, Vice Admiral Gion joined the Empire. All beasts, Kaido, join the Empire. Golden Emperor Tezzolo and Hawkeye Mihawk join the Empire. Pluton, Rayleigh, Red Earl Rider, heir of the Devil Bullet, join the Empire. Shichibukai Sand Crocodile is dead, Redhead Shanks, die. Charlotte Linlin, die, Kamabaka, Queen is dead. Impel Down, Destruction, Naval Headquarters destroyed. Marijoy Destruction, 1 month later, in the Valley of the Gods, public execution of celestial dragons. The Empire Times went viral all over the world and shocked countless people. One message after another. It keeps blasting in the hearts of countless people, most of which are unbelievable things. And there are pictures in the truth. As we all know, the picture of Pirate World cannot be P, so it is true. It's crazy. Each one is a big event that countless people can imagine, and it's all put on this newspaper. I don't know if I don't read the Empire Times. At first glance, it was shocked. The Empire is immortal. Your Majesty is eternal and immortal. The 4 states of the Empire. Countless people are shouting, especially the North State, which has been in the Empire for 7 years, and countless people are proud. As a citizen of the Empire, I can see that the Empire is getting stronger and stronger, and countless people are proud of it. When will the Empire come to attack New World? There are all pirates here. There are also many civilians in New World countries who are full of desire and expectation. They yearn for the peaceful 4 states. If the 4 states of the Empire and the civilians of the Grand Line are just looking forward to it, then there are forces that have not joined the Empire. The heart is full of heaviness and fear. So many powerful people have joined the Empire? Marine 3 Admiral are all kneeling? How is it possible? When did Charlotte Linlin die? Kaido, his. No, I saw Kaido chasing and killing Admiral Akainu? Discussing. The people on a certain island were silent. Yes. Their island is in the first half of the Grand Line, 1/5 that the Empire has not yet won. Many people saw it just now. Kaido, a beast far more terrifying than the rumors, is chasing Sakazuki. Perhaps you were playing a game? Someone guessed. Suddenly, someone sprayed his face, but someone's guess is right. This is a thriller game. This is fake, I don't believe it. The first half of the evacuation came to the headquarters of the new Revolutionary Army on an island in New World. All silence and anger. In the corner of the Empire Times, the dead Queen Kamabaka, named Emporio Ivankov. The Southern Army Commander Lindbergh's eyes instantly turned red. I said it a long time ago, go to Impel Down to rescue Ivankov, you just don't agree. Now, Ivankov was killed by the Empire, are you happy? Dorag and others were silent. They know that Lindbergh is venting their emotions, and they are also very painful. In this weird grief, Dorag once again solemnly said, I will ask again, do you want to join the Empire? Swipe. For an instant. Many pairs of scarlet angry eyes looked at Dorage, and some others hesitated to speak but finally sighed. This is the 3rd time Dorag asked. I see, at such a sad moment, I apologize to everyone for asking this kind of question. I won't ask again in the future, there are no more than 3 things. Dorag was silent. He respects the opinions of the majority, which is also the rule of the Revolutionary Army, and the minority obeys the majority. Now that I have chosen, then go forward and retreat together. Lack of courage. Lan Yu, who was observing the world's dynamics, accidentally saw the Revolutionary Army. The rules are dead, but people are alive. Lan Yu can see at a glance that many cadres are unwilling to give up their hard-earned rights. Countless people hate the nobles, but there are also countless people who aspire to become nobles, and countless people become more cruel than the original nobles after becoming aristocrats, and find confidence in the bottom. Dorag understands too, but he couldn't do it, he wasn't ruthless enough. No, I said there is it. Lan Yu glanced at the Whitebeard pirate group one last time, and then withdrew his gaze. Now, there were exclamations on the mobile, and they were shocked by the news from the Empire Times. And around Whitebeard, there was silence. Who would have thought that the Empire won so many people silently? Marco smiled bitterly. In the past, he and countless people thought. Even if the Empire has the ability to take the world, it will still take a long, long time, maybe by then all contemporary people will die. But, too fast. It seemed that everything happened at the same time in an instant, making everyone unresponsive. Older Joes was about to say something. Seeing the silent Whitebeard, he sighed. The Empire is invincible. My father is invincible. Any enemy can be solved with one punch. This sentence, which they often say proudly, can't be said anymore at this moment. Not to mention the original strength of the Empire. The strong people who joined the Empire were enough to make Bai Tuan desperate. Advertisement. Valley of Gods, how could it be? Beasta and others thought that Whitebeard was worried about the Empire, but in fact Whitebeard had thought of this day. Not very unexpected, but the place of execution of celestial dragons. Actually in the Valley of Gods? The Valley of Gods is long gone? Completely disappeared from the map. In the Valley of Gods, Rock's pirate intended to attack celestial dragons and their slaves, but was blocked by Marine Vice Admiral Garp, and teamed up with Roger to destroy Rocks. This was witnessed by crew members Whitebeard, Golden Lion, Ant, Kaido and others. But afterwards, the Valley of Gods is destroyed. All related events have been erased, and the new generation of Rocks is almost unknown. Is this to awaken the memories of all the older generations, or to completely crush the pride of celestial dragons? Whitebeard recalled the past and lost his senses. And when the Empire comes, how should my sons choose? No matter how shocking the world is. No matter how many conspiracies secretly The pace of the Empire will never stop. Continue to attack the first half of the Grand Line steadily. Whoever runs around and screams, die. Intermediate route. The sacred troops have crossed the Changwon Long Island and arrived at the City of Seven Waters. Looking ahead, the Magic Triangle. Looking south, Eni's Lobby. I will only say it once, the capital of the Seven Waters is under the management of the Empire, and those who do not follow it will be killed without mercy. Obito glanced coldly at Frankie who was bluffing, and then at Tom. Take care of your disciples, besides, let him get dressed. Is this pervert, Obito going to the island? I saw Frankie running around the island in a heroic outfit. I haven't seen so many beautiful young ladies who were scared away by you. Frankie, stop talking. Tom the Murloc, the world's first boater, motioned to his disciple Bingshan to take Frankie away. Tom knows Frankie's fault. Although he emphasizes sentimentality, he is just a small gangster, and he likes to make trouble. Especially don't like to wear clothes. Immediately Tom laughed. Welcome to the resounding Empire. I have been looking forward to the resounding Mr. Obito for a long time. Obito raised his eyebrows. Do you know me? Tom nodded solemnly and smiled. The resounding Jinbei has contacted me many times, saying that Mr. Obito is a resounding man. As long as we follow the rules, we won't disturb the people. The blue fat guy is right. Seeing Tom being so polite, Obito's tone eased. Since you are the representative of this island, arrange for everyone to come over. I want to check so that no evil party gets in. It should be. I feel very honored to be able to contribute to the great empire. Tom did not refuse. The blue fatty in North State told him a lot, just for fear that Tom would say something wrong. But Tom scolded Fat Blue on the spot. Tom is not blind. The Empire's preferential treatment to civilians deserves Tom's resounding respect. Rounding Mr. Obito, I have a resounding request. After the arrangement, Tom looked at Obito pleadingly. Seeing Obito nodding, Tom worried. The City of Seven Waters will welcome the resounding gods of water once a year. A few words. Obito understands. The gods of water. That is to say, the big tsunami is not what Tom is most worried about. The residents only need to run to the high ground and wait for the sea to recede. However, due to the poor trade of the Grand Line and the lack of contact between the island and the island, the major shipbuilding companies continued to fight for customers, and the residents of the island fell into the shadow of dying slowly. So Tom said, I asked the Empire to allow me to continue to build sea trains, strengthen trade links with surrounding islands, and save the City of Seven Waters. You are very sincere. Obito couldn't help but look at Tom with admiration. To be rich, build roads first. A shipbuilder wants to build a railway, talented person. But I suggest that you join the Empire after checking and meeting the conditions. As an Imperial citizen, submit a proposal to the Imperial Council. Uchiha Obito raised his hand to signal the holy soldiers to encircle the island and continued. I believe that the Empire will soon give you a better plan and help everyone in the City of Seven Waters live better. Obito's words. Tom was stunned. The surrounding residents, as well as the iceberg not far away, and Frankie stared equally. Frankie exclaimed. It's fake, the Empire is so overbearing, how can you care about the life and death of ordinary people, but also care about life? Shut up loudly. Tom turned his head and yelled angrily, and even picked up the guy to hit someone. Bingberg was about to pull Frankie away, frowning. What's the matter with you today? Don't you even read the newspaper, that's an empire? Frankie lowered his head and said solemnly. More than a month ago, is that good? Did you forget what Thor forced the teacher to hand over? He is also from the Empire. Of course Bingberg will not forget. The sky is full of thunder raging. Everyone is full of despair. I only know that the teacher was not injured and, isn't it normal for the Empire to be overbearing to the outside world? The Empire is only good to its own people, aren't you and me? Bingberg's words silenced Frankie. Don't talk nonsense, go and call someone to check it. Is teacher. Eni's Lobby. Originally, Obito was thinking about getting Eni's Lobby after finishing the Seven Waters City. Can be preempted by the Academy of Sciences. Spandam, long time no see. When the CP9 chief Spandam saw the Empire Times and wondered where to go. Just saw a few people swept the Eni's Lobby guard and came to him. Lu. Odd. Seeing Lu Chi, Kaku and others, Spandam was overjoyed. You are back. How did you run out of that discharged long-eared monster? Quick, take me away. The long-eared monster that discharges, cough cough. Thinking of Enel, even the steady Lu Chi couldn't help but his eyelids twitched. Seeing Kaku and the others suffocating a smile, Lu Chi said softly. Don't laugh, I was heard by that guy, don't blame me for not saving you. Kill him, take Eni's Lobby. Tempest kick. Lu Chi just kicked up and kicked Spandam in the air. Boom. Spandam, die. Chapter 108. Ryder finds Brook, Edward Wable strikes. Advertisement Eni's Lobby. It is divided into the former island, the main island, the Tower of Justice, the Bridge of Hesitation, and the Gate of Justice. Major force. The guilty jury and the French dog team, as well as the permanent army of about 10,000 people. And the giants Oimo and Cassie, Lu Chi vs 10,000 people. Kaku vs jury. The remaining people vs the French dog team and the presiding judge, etc., brought Eni's Lobby into chaos. Your leader is free. When the two giants Oimo and Cassie approach, Khalifa, with long blonde curly hair, gently pushed down his glasses and spoke calmly. What? Oimo and Cassie were shocked. Khalifa said flatly, it's very simple, the lie of the world government. Your leader has been in the prehistoric island Lil Garden, and now he has joined the Empire. Damn it, kill them. Oimo and Cassie couldn't help but get angry, and bombarded the army on Eni's lobby wildly. Khalifa. I haven't finished speaking yet, do I believe it? Both giants are members of the giant pirate group headed by Dory and Brogy. He lied that his leader had been imprisoned and that Oimo and Cassie would be released as long as they worked for the world government for 100 years, so the two believed and stayed there for decades. It's a simple giant. Khalifa sighed and saw the soldiers sneak attack and suddenly kicked it. Rude, guy. Boom. Tempest kick chopped a large piece. But the next moment, the entire Eni's lobby screamed Khalifa. Who is it? Let go of me, you are sexual harassment. What? Lu Chi and the others were startled, and when they turned around they saw Khalifa disappear. The whole island is gone. There are strong ones. Lu Chi quickly came to where Khalifa was before with a shave, looking around with solemn expression. Kaku's long nose twitched. I didn't smell the smell of other people, no one should have been here just now. No one has been here. Lu Chi 423 thought for a while, and suddenly looked up at the sky, except for the white clouds as the blue sky. Shoulder Chu Pin is top grade. White. The pigeon flew towards the sky and took a look. But under everyone's side, the white dove vanished in midair. Not waiting for Lu Chi to speak, I saw a corner of the white clouds in the sky. This pigeon is so fat, concubine took it to make soup, goodbye. My pigeon. Unsmiling Lu Chi's eyelids jumped wildly. Seeing this, Kaku coughed lightly. It was just, Master Kaguya? Khalifa was so lucky that he was taken away. It's really good. Lu Chi didn't say much, turned around and continued to attack Eni's lobby. White clouds in the sky. Hancock also learned Kaguya and read the book, but when he saw that Kaguya brought another person, he couldn't help but speak. Sister Kaguya, do you know how many you have brought these days? I don't know the concubine's body. Kaguya didn't care, and shook the nailing ring in his hand. Hancock looked at the map and said immediately, East and West South North Blue New World have all turned around, and the first half will be finished. No, I haven't been to New World here, and here in the first half. Kaguya randomly clicked on the map, which made Hancock a little bit shocked. According to New World, there are no islands. In the first half, there are no islands, but a magic triangle. And in the magic triangle, several huge black shadows flashed away and were hidden by thick fog. Did you see it? A brawny man with long curly yellow hair and a military uniform frowned slightly. Ah, of course I saw it. The evil man with the aristocratic temperament, holding the umbrella and swaying lightly. Boom. A huge slash attack advanced, directly splitting a dozen miles of thick fog in front of him. But there is nothing. Those huge black shadows seemed extremely fast. Want to run in front of me? Ridiculous. The red figure was thinking about chasing it and suddenly stopped. Because there was a strange laughter in the distance. Ah. Seeing the other party stop, the strong man opened his mouth and said, My task is to kill the idiot who is making trouble everywhere. What are you doing? Find an old friend. The red figure didn't say much. The figure jumped in the sky with a flash and rushed towards where the laughter was. Unexpectedly, you have been imprisoned so lonely for so many years, and you have an acquaintance. The strong man murmured and followed, after a while. A ship that has been abandoned for decades. An exploding skull laughed to please himself and sang a song by the way. P. Bring Binks wine to you. The two figures landed on the boat silently, watching the skull singing silently. After a few minutes, the singing stopped. I don't know how many years have passed since outside, noisy. Brook lay on the ground. What he remembers most is that a monster on a huge ship crushed him more than a month ago. And about 7 years ago, a man and a woman seemed like a dream, Binks wine, we haven't seen each other in 56 years, no song Mr. Brook. Advertisement, huh. This name, Little Ice Cube. Suddenly hearing the sound, Brook's memory suddenly appeared, and he found the child who impressed him decades ago. Ryder, did he call you Little Ice Cube? Barrack had weird eyes. He didn't even see Ryder angry, but laughed even more wickedly. I have been able to see through the ugliness of people's hearts since I was a child, which made me extremely withdrawn and indifferent. Only the no song Mr. Brook made me laugh for the first time, and I also learned to laugh. Because of him, I went to sea. Hearing Ryder's words, Barrack looked at the exploding skull and didn't recognize it. Ryder is more than 60 this year, and he said that he hadn't seen him in 56 years, which proves that the skull is 70 years old. You are coming to Germany. Hearing the conversation, Brook also regained his senses, turned his head to look, and jumped up immediately. Ryder regained his youth in the form of a bat fruit vampire, about 30 years old. Make Brook couldn't believe it. Although it is somewhat similar to when I was a child, at any rate, I haven't been old for decades. You have no shadow. Ryder was about to reminisce with Brook when he saw that Brook was not behind in the thin moonlight. AHFI, are you really Ryder? Kiss AAA, I didn't expect you to grow up like this. Brook didn't care about the shadow, or wanted to hide it deliberately, and said in surprise. Mr. Brook, I'm late. Ryder has always respected this former idol. He had been looking for it before he went to prison, but he didn't find it and thought Brook was dead. I went to the Imperial Intelligence Department and asked casually before, but I didn't expect Brook's intelligence to appear. It has been in the magic triangle. Kiss, what are you talking about? Ryder, you don't have to worry about it, I'm fine. Brook smiled calmly. But Ryder frowned. It's hard to survive in the sun without a shadow. I'm sorry, Mr. Brook. See, hear and read. In an instant, Ryder glanced over Brooke's memory. Have you met that one? Following Ryder exclaimed. I was ready to get angry when I saw Brooke's shadow cut off from a certain onion, but it was the memory of 7 years ago. What shocked Ryder was. The man in the memory also raised his head and glanced. Ryder was sure that he was looking at him. Boom. The screen shattered. The picture of the person Brooke had seen in his memory disappeared completely. Huh? How'd I feel that I forgot something? Brooke touched his head. Barrack wondered. It's not like you, Ryder. Who are you talking about? There is Ms. Conan, the captain, who should be your majesty. Ryder's mood swings are obvious. Even after 7 years of time and space, it interrupted his memory reading and even directly erased Brooke's memory. What a mighty force. His majesty. Barrack's voice was raised a bit. He immediately sensed something and looked far away with cold eyes. Rex said with disdain. I finally found you, idiot. Boom. Barrack smashed the boat and rushed towards the distance in a flash. Wait until you get back your shadow, Mr. Brooke. Ryder mentioned Brooke and flew towards the distance. Shadow. No, that guy is terrible. You will die. Brooke was a little worried, for fear that the deceased who finally met again would have an accident. Hearing this, Ryder couldn't help but smile. Times have changed, Mr. Brooke. A little rubbish, also worthy of letting me Ryder die? An island stands in the Magic Triangle, which is a huge ship. Thriller bark, known as the largest pirate ship in the world. It was Moria who was defeated tragically, and all her members were killed by Kaido. After more than 10 years of suffering, she built an island-sized ship. Months ago. Thriller bark just came here. After Moria cuts out Brooke's shadow, Ishin studies the little zombies without listening to the world. Available today. Boom boom boom. The entire Thriller bark was shaking, and powerful and terrifying people were attacking here. Hee, you damn guy, you ruined my castle. Moria, who is nearly 7 meters tall, has a fat belly like a ball, and an angry sneer on her face. He did a good job of studying zombies with the talented surgeon Hōgyoku on the ship. But he was invaded by a stupid man with a huge crescent beard. Even his castle was chopped to pieces by this stupid man. Mother said, as long as you hand over the treasure, I won't kill you. A silly voice sounded, and he held a huge naginata like a cloud in his hand. Edward Wabel. That's it, son. The wrinkled face, short stature Miss Ba-jin, took out something in his hand and said, after grabbing his treasure, I will take you to find him. Hey, is it a mirror? Wabel said blankly. Miss Ba-jin snorted. No, this is a picture of Whitebeard. Wabel muttered, what? I thought it was a mirror. Am I really his own? Hearing these words, Miss Bucking jumped angrily. How can you not be born with you who look like this? You kid, you are such a fool. Ah, mother, I was wrong. Seeing Miss Ba-jin angry, Wibbleton was like a child, and apologized in fear. Mentally retarded. Idiot. Moria froze for a moment, and then smiled angrily. Hee, don't think that you pretend to be stupid and nothing happens, just go to my death. Shadow horn gun. The shadow of the blockbuster turned into a spear, and it rushed towards Wabel. Boom. Chapter 109. Gecko Moria is dead, I'm Whitebeard's woman. Advertisement, what? Moria, who had just fired the shadow gun, saw a scene that shocked him. A great shock of terror. Raised by the stupid big guy who looked like an idiot, he burst out with a naginata. The earth was lifted up wherever it passed, and the shockwave carried large fragments of land like a tsunami. Shadow warrior. In a moment of astonishment, Moria immediately replaced the position with a shadow. Boom. Moria just dodges when she hears a loud roar. Thriller bark like an island, everything in the rear was completely overturned by the shock. This guy. Moria was shocked. The other party's casual wave of the knife was such a terrifying impact, which made him feel like facing Kaido. Kaido, a decade ago, probably had the same power. Mom, he just wanted to attack me. Wabel scratched his head and said angrily. Then I don't want to hand over the treasure. Miss Ba-jin couldn't help but sneered. My dear son, what are you waiting for? Kill him, then everything on board will be ours. Well, I know my mother. Wabel was very obedient and walked towards Moria with the naginata in his hand. Remember to hurry, the first half is too dangerous, we have to go to New World. Miss Ba-jin reminded. She was relieved of Wabel's strength, but had to escape the first half. I know my mother. Wabel raised the naginata to destroy everything in front of him. Perona. Moria suddenly shouted, come to fall, come to fall. Under Wabel's bewilderment, a translucent ghost-like object flew in front of him, flying towards him very quickly. Mom, what is this? Looking crunchy, Wabel was a little silly, as if reaching out to grab it. Do not want. Miss Ba-jin hasn't finished speaking yet. I saw the ghost pass through Wabel's body and gave him a halt. Then Wabel knelt down, speaking in a very depressed will. I don't deserve to be my mother's son. I'm too stupid. I'm not as good as a wild dog. Let me die. Miss Ba-jin also seemed to be pinched by someone's neck at this moment, and he lifted it up directly. But I didn't see anything. Shadow warrior, shadow cut. Moria found the opportunity, rushed over quickly, and took out the huge special scissors. Crack. The depressed Wabel's shadow was cut directly. Hee, good job, Perona, Salome. After a successful move, Moria laughed excitedly. This guy has such a strong power, if it becomes a zombie, it will be perfect. Boom boom boom. Moria madly attacks the depressed Wabel. To beat Weibo to death, then transform into a zombie, and then stuff the shadow in, then Moria will have a powerful combat power that can be manipulated. Tiktaka, he is so stupid. A little loli with a pink double ponytail, wearing a gothic dress, holding an umbrella flew out. Really loli, Perona. She is 13 years old this year, not 23 years later, who is still like loli. Negative ghost. After Perona came out, he continued to split spirits, making Weibo depressed. Phantom fruit. The soul can go out of the body, but the body stays somewhere. Perona, who is flying now, is a ghost clone. Its body is very fragile and hidden. If you struggle again, I will kill you. Miss Ba Jin was knocked out directly, and the person holding her became more and more aware. A weird man with a modified body, Absalom, transparent fruit. Perona is negative. Salome attacked. Moria's silhouette stormed. This is the best way for the three to cooperate against the invading strong, and they have almost never made any mistakes. It's really a powerful body, terrifying resilience. Moria became more excited as she fought. It took him so many moves that Weibo was slightly injured and he recovered very quickly. What a waste. At this time, there was a cold snort in the distance, which shocked the three of them. Who is it? Moria stopped moving. He saw a tall man in military uniform appearing in front of him, looking at Weibo who was kneeling with disdain. Barbaric, Moria stammered. Crocodile has both fought with Barrack. Moria, who was the pirate in the same period, naturally knew the great horror of Barrack very well. We can even say, 10 years ago, Kaido who defeated Moria was not necessarily better than Barrack of that era. After being frightened, Moria had great greed in his heart, and he wanted to make Barrack also a zombie. At that time, Kaido can get revenge. Thinking of this, Moria gave Perona and Shalom a look secretly, and he also took a step back secretly and manipulated the shadows. Chance. Seeing Barrack raised his hand, trying to catch Weibo who was kneeling. Perona hasn't done it yet. Absalom, who was extremely confident, directly activated the transparent fruit and made himself disappear. Even the knife in his hand became transparent and ran towards Barrack. Absalom, who had just ran over, only felt a flower in front of him and was pinched and lifted up. Ridiculous GN ant. Barrack mentioned Shalom with extreme disdain. Although the transparent fruit makes people and things transparent, the sound and taste cannot be hidden. This kind of rubbish also wants to attack him. Negative, Perona exclaimed, who was about to do it, and the whole fear kept backing away. Because Barrack squeezed hard, Absalom's head exploded. 4 red and white plays. The audience fell silent. Moria suddenly felt chills in her heart, and she was terrified and regretful. Advertisement, that's the shadow you took away? There was another voice at this time. When Moria turned her head to look at it, she was completely sluggish, just like the photos he had ever seen offering a reward. Lonely rider. Moria was completely desperate. Lettergar Barrack, how is this different from Whitebeard and Kaido? Kill you, and the shadow will come back. Ryder put Brook down, read Moria's memory directly with his knowledge, and waved his umbrella at will. Boom. A terrifying slash that frightened Moria and the others went forward. It directly passed Moria, split everything behind it directly, and rushed to the sea. Okay. So strong. Perona was taken aback again and subconsciously retreated again. Not dead? Perceiving Moria until the breath was still there, Barrack's eyes were attracted. Ryder has been smiling evilly. Use a shadow to exchange positions with the body, but his reaction is a bit slow. 100 meters away, Moria hugged her completely broken arm and screamed in pain. Little. Have you become so strong? Brook's shocked hair stood up, and Ryder, who was cold when he was a child, is so terrifying now. He is too weak, Mr. Brook. Facing the idol, Ryder spoke modestly. Mom. Perona was shocked and terrified. Weibo recovered from depression, ignoring everyone, and hurriedly ran towards Miss Barking. Barrack stared coldly. Ahem, idiot son. The awakened Miss Ba Jin roared angrily. Dare to hit me, die, I want them all. Ryder? Miss Ba Jin, who was angry, caught sight of Ryder and Barrack not far away, and was shocked. It turned out to be you, the trash who was in the same boat with Whitebeard. Ryder glanced at the memory and read the memory. His expression suddenly became richer, and said flatly, I didn't expect you to have a bit of courage. Even Whitebeard would dare to provoke, but you must die today. Ryder is coming to Brook. 0, look for flowers. Barrack is here to kill Weibo. Weibo destroyed many cities and towns in the first half along the way and swept away many treasures. The first half is already considered to be the Imperial realm. Even if it has not been completely won, no one is still allowed to run away after grabbing it. No, don't kill me. Miss Ba Jin was full of fear, and quickly hid behind Weibo and shouted. I am Whitebeard's woman. He is the son of me and Whitebeard. You are going to kill me. Whitebeard will not let you go. Do you think I would be afraid of him? Ryder was quite disdainful. Not to mention that Miss Barking is completely deceiving Weibo. What if it is true? The strength was restored to its peak, with the help of the bat fantasy beast species vampire fruit, and the spiritual power system was still being studied. Ryder is now stronger than before. Oh, I want you to die, you all will die, Pain Moria growled. Shadows flew towards him and merged into his body, causing Moria to grow bigger and bigger. Shadow gathering place. Absorbing hundreds of thousands of shadows, while growing bigger, they also continuously improved their strength, giving him the power to destroy the island. In a blink of an eye, Moria, which is nearly 7 meters away, has become a super large size of more than 10 meters and dozens of meters. Peo, let me see your abilities. Too lazy to talk to Moria, Ryder yelled softly. 0. Peo. Padong. A cute little civet cat yelled from Ryder's shoulder, and a leaf appeared on its paw and threw it out. Titicaca. When the leaves fall. This is, Barrack was startled. Moria, who was still clamoring wildly, stared out. Impossible. Miss Ba Jin is even more incredible. After the leaves disappeared, what appeared was Whitebeard, Kaido, Akainu, Green Male, Yellow Ape, Ant, Sengoku, Garp, Kong Kong, Golden Lion, Rayleigh. 11. A dream combination. It's really nice ability. If it's really good, it's a pity. It is a pity that Barrack is not a real person, otherwise he wants to fight alone. You demons, civet cat fruit form. Before Ryder came, he happened to meet Peu's ability. Use leaves to change anything. The deformed leaf, the person transformed even has a certain strength and ability of his own. Swish swish. 12 people attacked Moria, but several of them were blown up soon. It's a bit weak. Sensing the breath, Ryder finished speaking and comforted. You will become stronger in the future, and you will definitely be stronger. Your potential is huge. I'll simulate my strength first, and I'm optimistic about it. Ryder taught Batong, holding the umbrella and using it casually again. A bloody slash struck forward. Puff! Moria just felt a flower in front of her, and she couldn't do anything to evade, defend, or counterattack. It was directly split in half. One move, Moria, my lord. Looking at Moria's dead body, Perona and Hōgyoku couldn't help exclaiming. Shadows flew out one after another. Ryder didn't care as if he had slapped a fly, and looked at Brook. Is the shadow back? Came back. Brook is in a very mixed mood. The once little brother was powerful beyond his imagination. It's your turn. Barrack retracted his gaze and looked at Wabel. Mom. You run away. Wabel also felt the tremendous pressure and took out a naginata and rushed over. Ka. Barrack grabbed Wabel's knife with his bare hands, and his eyes were slightly excited. The strength is good. I underestimated you, and used your full strength. Boom. The terrifying conquerors erupted from Barrack, and black and red lightning swept across the thriller bark in an instant. Thump thump. Perona, Hakuback, and Miss Bajin, who had retreated, passed out on the spot. Chapter 110. Barrack Town kills Whitebeard 2, is that Uranus? Advertisement, boom. The entire thriller bark is shaking under conquerors. Mom. Seeing Miss barking stunned by conquerors, Wabel panicked. Kill everyone by listening to my mother. But this Barrack's momentum is too terrifying. Wabel has never seen such a strong person. What a lunatic. Ryder took Brook far away to avoid accidental injury, and couldn't help but marvel. Other people's conquerors basically burst out instantly, lasting a few seconds to finish. And what about Barrack? Conquerors is like the wind blown by an electric fan, wave after wave, always in a state of activation, continuous. This kind of sturdy and continuous conquerors can make the fierce fighters who have experienced many battles unbearably fall to the ground. Are you in a daze because of conquerors? Barrack disappeared in the same place instantly, and the next moment he came to Wabel and clenched his fist. With a punch, the mountain collapsed and the ground cracked. Wabel had no chance to react, and had no resistance to suffer a crit, and the whole company flew out with a knife. Give me your full strength, or the next blow will kill you. Barrack burst out. Puff cough, woo woo, mom. Wabel vomited blood and was startled, and back constantly in fear. Mom? Barrack's eyes were cold, and he disappeared in place again, as if disappearing out of thin air. 433. Fell next to Miss Ba Jin, who was unconscious, and stepped on it under Wabel's wide-open eyes. Boom. Miss Ba Jin took a large piece of ground and was completely crushed by one foot. Ah, I want you to die. Seeing this scene, Wabel went crazy and severely chopped down with a naginata. A shock wave of terror erupted. Ha 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 ha, that's it. Barrack laughed and opened his hand to completely abandon the defense. Boom. The shock of terror blasted Barrack. Barrack took a step back, unscathed. You can actually make me take a step back. I recognize your power. Barrack grinned. Brook was all ill, stuttering. He's pretending, isn't he? Ryder uttered the buzzword of empire. Barrack's physical strength is very, very strong. If it weren't for the original trajectory to live in the theater version of the plot, he could continue to rampage. Ah, I want you to die. Wabel rushed over. His arms swept like a wave, jumped up and slashed towards Barrack. Let me teach you how to use armed S**X. Armed look broke out on Barrack. Wow. The flow of armed forces moves forward like a tsunami, destroying everything along the way, with great momentum. Chang. Wabel slashed frantically, but like a huge mountain range of refined steel, the entire naginata shattered. Stop playing, Barrack. Ryder always felt that someone was looking at this place. Could it be the huge black shadows before? I'm fighting. Barrack retorted that this was his first battle to join the Empire. Drink. Wabel shouted in the distance, and the left hand that seemed to be cut and stitched up swelled, as did the right hand. Explode all power. Dead. Wabel dropped the naginata directly and bombarded it with his fists. Boom. Barrack rushed, clenched his fists and collided with him, blowing wind between the fists. Your strength is stronger than when I was younger. Barrack gave a fair evaluation, but it's just that. In addition to hockey, Barrack exploded with another kind of terrifying energy. Ghost. Devil form. Barrick's strength increased greatly and he blasted Wabel directly. Combining his own ghost energy with Hokage, the speed and strength are greatly improved, just like a devil from hell. This is also one of the reasons Barrick is called the heir of the devil. The strongest punch. In the state of the devil, Barrick vented the ghostly Hokage and the terrifying power to his heart's content. No, do not want. Feeling the fatal death, Wabel wanted to kneel down and beg for mercy without even thinking about it. But it's late and it doesn't make sense. Wabel was directly overwhelmed by the terrifying punch, and his entire body exploded directly. The blood mist swayed all over the sky. Whitebeard too, die. Boom. The remaining power of the boxing force fell on the ground, forming a scene where the sky and the earth were torn apart. The thriller bark, the size of an island, collapsed instantly, presenting a doomsday scene. Found it, Ryder and Barrick burst out at the same time. During the previous battle, the two felt that someone was watching, but it was difficult to capture the breath. But now, the moment the huge ship shattered, Perona, who had passed out before, disappeared. In the sky, Ryder and Barrick looked up, covered by a thick fog. Fruit awakens. Barrick directly started the awakening. Paramecia mixed fruit, the ability to arrange and combine all objects to make them fit together. Bullet, which has grown up on the battlefield since childhood, can combine countless objects to create inexhaustible weapons. For example, submarines or weapons can be made from scrap iron and rubble. Sasori, boy, let's talk another day, I will teach you to make a torrent of machinery. Large bullet form. In the awakened state, everything around was affected, and the broken island sailboats all merged towards Barrick. In a blink of an eye, an ultra-giant monster the size of an island was formed, and the whole body was covered with armed color and ghost. The strongest punch. Advertisement. The super-giant Barrick blasted a punch towards the sky, tearing the dense fog completely away. Blood-red tide. Ryder's attack is much simpler. Combining the original horror strength, use the bat fantasy beast species vampire ability to assist and enhance it. The endless blood stained the dense fog. Shit. A scarlet horse waved from the tip of Ryder's cane, covering a vast area. Boom. The dense fog above was completely blown away by the two people, revealing the sun, and the power of attacking the unabated support belt and cracking the sky rushed up. Cooperate to attack the concubine body. Words echoed from the sky, and a powerful repulsive force was sent from the sky. Boom. The horror repulsion instantly shattered the sky, and under the gaze of Barrick and Ryder, the attacks of the two also collapsed. Do not. It was just right, without wasting a trace of strength, and perfectly offset the two people's attacks. However, under the collision, a wind of horror that swept through dozens of miles was launched. Wow. The large-scale thick fog in the magic triangle was completely swept away, revealing its true colors. What is this? Barrick and Ryder were stunned, and a white cloud with blinking crimson eyes flew down from the sky, in which a woman with light blue and white hair looked at the sea curiously. Do you know? This seems to touch the blind spot of concubine's knowledge. No, I don't know. Subconsciously speaking, Barrick and Ryder raised their hands in salute at the same time. I have seen Mr. Kagaya. Kagaya nodded, and threw Perona into the Naling ring by the way, looked at the sea again, and raised his hand again to repel. Boom. The terror repulsion is far stronger than before. All the dense fog in all the magic triangles in front of them will be lifted. This is. Everyone looked. They are three huge, terrifying objects condensed like steel. The top of the three objects, with red light, seems to be still running zero. Too big. Brook lost his voice. This is the behemoth that he glanced over from time to time in the magic triangle. In contrast, the thriller bark, the size of an island before, is extremely small. More than tens of thousands of meters. Before, the huge black shadow we saw was not alive, but a dead thing. Ryder and Barrick looked at each other, feeling very strange. Since it is a dead thing, why did it run so fast before? At this time, Kagaya said, it turned out to be you, the person who ran away when I saw my concubine in Mariajoy. If that's right, Sounds were heard from three terrorist objects with red light from the top. HMPH, I didn't expect it, you still found this place. However, it's late. Finally, the weapon has been completely restored, and I will not be afraid of everything. Sentenced celestial dragons in January. Then see you in 1 month. A series of unclear voices sounded whether they were male or female or deliberately hidden. Immediately afterwards, wow, three huge objects began to sink into the sea, seemingly about to sneak in and leave. Want to run? Dream. Hancock, who had been sitting on the white cloud and watching, immediately activated the holy writing. Petrify your concubine body. Barrick and Ryder moved at the same time. The terrorist fist moves and the blood-red slash went out together, and they attacked the unknown object together. It's useless, you still can't hurt the final weapon. The sound sounded again, and the red light on the top of the three unknown objects directly sent out a powerful beam. Crossed together to form an energy barrier, directly blocking the attack of the Hancock 3. Wow, the sea churned. The three objects plunged into the sea very quickly and disappeared. Boom. As Barrick and Ryder looked sideways, Hancock did not give up and attack the sea. A large area of the sea was petrified and cracked. All right, Hancock. Kagaya stopped Hancock. This puzzled Hancock. Sister Kagaya, those three things are obviously unknown weapons of the world government, won't they be destroyed? Why do you want to destroy? That person will come by himself after a month. Kagaya didn't even make a move just now, and affirmed, and that's not 3 objects, but a whole. To be precise, the 3 behemoths are the edges and corners of a 5.9 body, just like Kaido, the special horns on the head. What? How big is that body? Analogous to Kaido's Yankakuzu has tens of thousands of meters, but the main body, hundreds of thousands of meters. Ryder murmured. Barrack snorted coldly. I'm fully awakened and fit together, and I can reach tens of thousands of meters, but it will slow me down. There is nothing wrong with this. Hundreds of thousands of meters, but more than 100 kilometers. It is about the length of a medium to large island. Barrack can blend with all his strength, but it will be very tired and slow, meaningless. You guys, have you neglected the word's final weapon? My concubine is looking forward to it, I'm leaving. Kagaya finished speaking and left with Hancock. The ultimate weapon. Barrack and Ryder stared at each other. Legend has it that Pluton is a ship, and Poseidon seems to be nurtured by His Majesty. That is, Uranus. If the world government really has been repairing Uranus in the Magic Triangle, it will be great luck for Moria to live here. Ryder couldn't help but marvel that Moria could live to die today. Dense fog everywhere. There really is no better place than this. Barrack had no interest after speaking, he was only interested in the strong. The mission is complete, let's go. Chapter 111. In the first half of the unification of the Empire, Lan Yu raises his hand to penetrate the Grand Line. Advertisement. 5 days later, as the Empire Times said. All the islands in the first half of the Grand Line were taken by the Imperial Army. It has entered the stage of all-round cleanup. Clean up, unify, standardize, etc. It has been won so far, and it will take a lot of time to fully integrate into the Empire. Set up a blockade, leaving the army and the strong clone. The top empires came to North State together. Inside the hall. Except for Madara and others in New World, many people from the Imperial Army and Saints and the Chamber of Civil Affairs came together. Your Majesty, all islands in the first half of the Grand Line are stationed with military forces, entering the stage of stabilization and cleaning. Secretary Athena spoke. Nara Shikahisa of the Chamber of Council then proposed. Your Majesty, after discussion, the ministries suggest to win New World in one go. Finally, the celestial dragons are completely removed. After the whole world is included in the Empire, it can be steadily integrated into development. Everyone's forehead. At present, only New World and some celestial dragons are left in Qinghai. Compared to the land of the 4 seas in the first half, there are a lot of New World powerhouses in the second half. There are countless Vice Admiral level powerhouses. Good. Lan Yu nodded slightly and praised. The Empire has worked hard. All for the Empire. Everyone spoke together. Conan spoke at the moment. Your Majesty, Barrack and Ryder have written a letter, which mentions that in the Magic Triangle, together with Marshal Kagaya, an object that looks like Uranus was discovered. Uranus. Everyone was a little surprised, but they didn't expect that there would be ancient weapon in the Magic Triangle. Kushina couldn't help but said. What does it look like? Is it similar to a fighter plane or a spaceship? Or is it the same person as Shirahoshi? Can it fly? Isn't it amazing? Can you beat me? Where do you have so many questions? Lan Yu couldn't help but speak. Kushina blushed and mumbled. I'm just curious. Conan couldn't help but smiled. It is not yet possible to judge the body shape of 07, but the overall size should not be less than 100,000 meters. Wow, it's big. Kushina's eyes lit up. I've been flashing. My eyes are rolling. I don't know what I'm thinking. Everyone was also surprised. This size is no less than some large islands. Tsunade opened his mouth and said, the spacecraft built by the Academy of Sciences doesn't have 100,000 meters. I went to see Robin last month. It seemed to be 18,000 meters long, Hinata recalled. Well, 5 kilometers wide. Robin gave the exact number. It was a huge monster created by the Academy of Sciences on a barren planet in the universe where the Empire Ninja world was located. It's just a bit bigger, isn't it? Yahiko doesn't think 100,000 meters is great, the key depends on ability. You can never hit the starburst. Otherwise, you will let the other 2 ancient weapon be ashamed of yours. But in Qinghai, it is already unimaginable for ordinary people. Nagato does not believe that the ancient weapon in Qinghai can threaten the Empire. But whether it was Pluton, the island was wiped out. Whether Poseidon mobilizes Sea Kings to destroy the world, it all shows that Uranus is not simple. Conan continued. The content of the letter also states that the person called Yim by Marshal Kagaya confidently said that he had repaired the final weapon without fear of everything, and would come when the celestial dragons were publicly executed. Interesting. The crowd aroused interest. Lan Yu also feels very interesting. It seems that I'm as floating. Yes, if someone gets Shirahoshi and can perfectly control the power of Poseidon by Shirahoshi, then everyone in Qinghai will be familiar with it. Same. If someone has Uranus who is certainly no weaker than Poseidon, then he is extremely confident. Don't worry about it, continue with the Imperial plan, and enter the second half of the march tomorrow. Lan Yu didn't care about Yim. It is nothing more than giving him a performance before the end of the world. They may not please Lan Yu. Namikaze Minato said. The second half and the first half are blocked by the red line. Will the army choose to enter from the North Blue and West Blue Com Belt? The Fishman Island is gone. Only special channels are left. Why is it so troublesome? Flying battleships, fighter planes, link sea paving roads, etc., just let the army directly turn over. Ghost Zhao didn't want the Imperial Army to make a detour. Moreover, Red Line is in the way. Not only does it cut off the front and back half of the Grand Line, it also cuts off the communication between the four seas. North blue in the west is half, and south blue in the east is in the other half. It is basically impossible for ordinary people in East Blue to go to North Blue. First sail through the upside-down mountain to enter the Grand Line, then to New World, and then enter the New World Calm Belt. A long way. Death without life. Even from East Blue to South Blue, the fastest is to pass through two calm belts in succession. Ordinary people don't even want to reach other sea areas for a lifetime. Thinking of this, Kushina suggested, just give Red Line directly, how about? Everyone suddenly cast weird eyes. Kushina wondered, what's the matter? The Red Line surrounds the entire world. If it is blown up, the amount of work will be huge and it will cause uncertain natural disasters. Robin's words are also everyone's thoughts. The biggest feature of Qinghai is the Red Line and Grand Line. The two places intersect and divide the whole world into four parts. I'll deal with it later. Lan Yu said something that stunned everyone, and then heard Lan Yu say, next, you go to the first half and make a circle around the world to make sure there is no problem. Tomorrow, immediately march into the second half. Yes, Your Majesty. After some discussion, Lan Yu left the hall. This made everyone more curious. Hatake Tsukumo said, Secretary General, do you know what Your Majesty is going to do? Don't guess Your Majesty's mind. Athena made a rare witty sentence. Then I will guess. Kushina raised her hand and said with a chuckle, I think Your Majesty is going to build a bridge that runs through the sea and the Grand Line. No, the East-South Blue can use a bridge to penetrate the Calm Belt link. The sea area in the other hemisphere is too troublesome. Makoto thinks Lan Yu still prefers to be simple and direct. Boom. At this time, there was a roar. The huge roar was heard by everyone in Beijo and Dongzhou on the other side of the Red Line. Even countless people on the entire Grand Line were awakened. Quack quack. Tsunade and the others flew out of the main hall immediately, flying towards the height of Beishu, overlooking the Red Line. Advertisement. Golden Lion also brought a lot of people to fly over, and Chi-Chi looked over. His, cracked, as that cracking, completely annihilated. What a terrifying slash. The Nawaki and others of the original empire didn't think there was anything, and it was only natural for Your Majesty to do anything. But Hawkeye, Ryder, Rayleigh and others were hit hard for a while. Red Line is extremely sturdy. Generally, the strong want to leave a stamp on it and it is difficult to do it all. Even 7 years ago, and a few days ago, Mariajoy collapsed, causing part of the Red Line to collapse and fall into the sea. Asterisk at caret asterisk dollar asterisk caret. That is only the top, extremely insignificant piece. Now what? 10,000 meters? No, 100,000 meters. What are you kidding? It's 1,000,000 meters wide, right? Golden Lion and others discussed it and came up with a terrifying number. That was the Red Line that blocked the East-North Blue, and was blasted out of a passageway that was nearly 1,000,000 meters in length and breadth. The channel is 1,000 kilometers wide. You can see East Blue on the opposite side from North Blue. Forcibly, the Red Line completely collapsed and completely penetrated. Shiki, how much can your slash wave do? Ryder couldn't help asking. Golden Lion groaned. If I attack the sea, I can cut an abyss for hundreds of kilometers. But if it's Red Line, that's a very shallow crack. Having said that, Golden Lion has a great admiration for the person who has just attacked. It's not that I look down on everyone. All of us have joined forces for more than a decade, and don't even want to punch through the Red Line, let alone open a channel that is thousands of kilometers wide. Everyone respects. Which strong man has never tried to attack Red Line, but it is too hard and too thick. A small piece of so-called historical text is difficult to make an impression. Do you still want to penetrate the Red Line? Dream it. Don't make a noise, Your Majesty did it. Seeing the little brother who had joined the Empire in surprise and sigh, he couldn't help but speak. His Majesty. Barrack and the others were taken aback, and then showed such an expression as expected. Your Majesty over the Empire. It cannot be overestimated no matter how much. This, width is almost the same. Lan Yu in the sky looked at the passage for thousands of kilometers and put down his hand. East-North Blue is penetrated. Then leaving a few islands on the road can strengthen the communication and trade between the two seas. Brush. Lan Yu disappeared. Next moment, came to the sky over the other half of Qinghai realm. Cut. Lan Yu raised his hand slightly. A little starlight bloomed from Lan Yu's fingertips, and it suddenly became countless times greater. Turned into a terrorist slash. Cut to the Red Line. Boom. The part of the Red Line that separates the West and South Seas was directly blasted out of a huge passage that stretched for thousands of kilometers. The Red Line vibrates. The monstrous waves churned. Lan Yu slightly raised his hand at 440, calming all the turmoil. In the end, what happened? The sound is so loud, it is louder than the movement of the former Empire Lord merging the three continents. Countless people were awakened. Cut. Lan Yu fought twice again. Fully opened the other hemisphere, the part that obstructs the four seas. 4 roars that sounded for a short time. It made countless people's scalp numb, almost thinking that the world was going to be shattered. Brush. Lan Yu disappeared again. The next moment, it came to the sky above the Grand Line. The upside-down part of the mountain, just keep it. To fully penetrate the Grand Line, Lan Yu needs to play twice more. But soon, Lan Yu decided only once. The upside-down mountain is the part of the Grand Line that the four seas enter, and it is also a feature. However, there is no need to keep the part from the first half to the second half. Cut. This new. A sensation in the world again. Boom. The red line section that separated the two sections before and after the Grand Line was completely wiped out by Lan Yu's slash. The first half is thoroughly connected with New World. From Sabayati, overlooking the Sea of New World. Hiss. Near the front and back half of the islands of the Red Line, countless people looked at the huge passage. The Grand Line was beaten through. Good luck for you. Lan Yu didn't know who he was talking to, and disappeared with a whisper. Guru. In a corner of Sabayati's place. Hidden bald heads and long beards were almost scared to death. If Mariajoy is still there, we will definitely die. Longbeard is extremely affirmative. You know Mariajoy is at the top of the red line that divides the Grand Line. This is where Lan Yu runs through. If it weren't for Mariajoy's destruction again, they would stay in Sabayati first and plan to relocate and rebuild. So, everyone will accompany the pierced passage and turn it into ashes. The holy place was destroyed. Instead, they saved their lives. Don't think about it, the weapons have been restored in the end. First rebuild Master Yim's flowers. Yes, no delay. Chapter 112. Deidara blew himself up on the spot. Blocking the huge enchantment of New World. Advertisement. Lan Yu runs through the red line. Strongly penetrate the Grand Line. While strengthening the connection and trade between the Four Seas and the Grand Line, it completely destroyed the final fluke psychology of many people in New World. So horrible, as the Lord of the Empire still a human. This kind of power. Hiss, I understand, it's a terrifying weapon. You mean, ancient weapon. Excuse me, in the cognition of countless people, how can the existence of Lan Yu be explained in a world where personal strength has an upper limit? Raised his hand to close Sanjo. Punch through the Grand Line casually. If there is really no upper limit to personal strength, then why hasn't anyone been pushing invincible in the past 800 years? Why is it that the so-called world's strongest can only destroy an island at most? And the Lord of the Empire hands-on is the great horror of the roaring world. Lan Yu's existence is simply unreasonable. It's not a strong person that can be born in Qinghai. So, under the constraints of the world view, countless people in the living new world thought of external force. It's impossible for people to be so strong, are Roger, Garp, and others all rubbish. Yes, I believe that if you give Whitebeard another 800 years to practice, he won't be able to break through Red Line, because after he reaches the top of the world, he can only hone his hockey skills, and he can no longer become stronger without limit. The Lord of the Empire is stronger than us and acceptable, but it is impossible to accept so much stronger. So, the Lord of the Empire must have ancient weapon in his hands, or he is ancient weapon. Wow, I don't know who said this sentence. The new world spread in a very short period of time has been recognized by countless people. No way. If there is no reason to explain the power of Lan Yu, then countless people will be suffocated to death. All people, why are you so strong? Doesn't this prove that they are trash, making countless strong people very ridiculous? Ancient weapon, your uncle. The two five elders, bald head and long beard hidden in Sabayati's land, fled Sabayati's land frantically. They wanted to hide in Sabayati for a while, looking for a new address, and rebuilding the flower space for I've. Unexpectedly, Lan Yu gave an order to make the Empire powerhouse once again explore the Four Seas in the first half. So the bald five elders and others were discovered by Deidara. Ha 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 ha. Run like a wild dog. I'm sorry, I shouldn't use a wild dog to describe it. It's too rude to wild dogs. A bunch of chores, just struggle and despair in the last time, ha ha ha. Deidara and Hidan chased after the bald five elders and others, but did not make a move. Many people in Sabayati have seen it. Many reporters have taken pictures of celestial dragons and five elders in embarrassment and ridiculous. Damn it. Bald five elders and hundreds of people wanted to stop and fight Deidara to death, but for the sake of the overall situation, they had to endure to flee. Hole, I remember you wait for the old man. The long-bearded five elders gave Deidara a vicious look, put aside the cruel words, and speeded up to escape. Deidara raised her brows. This guy doesn't think I have a good temper. Hehe, you don't think you have a good temper. Hidan is full of resentment. Of course not. Deidara feels that she can tolerate herself, but can't tolerate outsiders at all. Under Hidan's wide eyes, Deidara didn't know what mess he had eaten, and then his body turned black and disappeared, and the remaining spiritual power condensed into a black sphere. It is full of destruction. Sacred Los Colorado Blast. As a shout rang from the black sphere, Hidan had all the desire to die at the moment. This B***************** D. He blew himself up if he didn't play with a word. Isn't it good to be alive? Not good. Feeling the aura of destruction behind, the bald head and others looked startled, and jumped into the sea frantically. Master Five Elders. There were also a few people who jumped with the bald heads, but most of them were capable people. They didn't dare to jump at all. Woo. Since it is an extended sacred extinction technique, it must fly over. The black sphere turned into black light, and directly rushed into the sea with the bald head and others. What it is? Hidan was furious, and saw a huge black shadow flashing away from the sea. Afterwards, boom. The horrible explosion resounded everywhere. A piece of the sea outside Sabayati shattered directly, and instantly turned into a sea tide to rise into the sky, setting off a huge wave of thousands of meters. Those who dared not jump, stood on the coast, and suffered a terrible blow, and died in a flash of 99%. Damn Deidara, why are you battering yourself? B********************. D. Hidan's eyes are red, and his head is full of days when he grew up with Deidara since he was a few years old. Join the Saint soldiers together. Fight together, get beaten together, grow up together, become stronger together, and fight for the rise of the empire together. The memory of decades has come to an abrupt end. Farewell, my comrade in arms. Hidan's eyes were full of tears, he suppressed his grief, and burst out all his spiritual power. 300 shields of spiritual power. The spiritual power turns into a grand shield of light, blocking Deidara's blew-up waves and terrifying aftermath, preventing Sabayati from being destroyed. Kachacha. For an instant, 300 dong collapsed. 800 shields of spiritual power. Another grand shield of light illuminates Sabayati's land, blocking the aftermath. What is it? 400 dongs collapsed in a flash. At this time, the aftermath of Deidara's self-detonation was blocked. The residents of Sabayati land calmed down this time, and they were full of fear. What happened? Kakashi fell on the ground, frowning slightly to look at the sea, and a dead body on the shore. Advertisement. Ah. Hidan slumped to the ground and roared with extreme pain. Deidara, you be ******************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** expression. How could Hidan be so sad, like Deidara was dead? Are you bullying him again with your status as the captain? Kakashi turned his head slightly and looked at the figure falling from the sky. Hidan, although he is impulsive and arrogant, he is too simple and straightforward. To put it plainly, he has no brains. He didn't even think about it. How could I commit suicide if I lived so well in the Empire and my beautiful life was so long? The blue up just now is my special clone, how about it, isn't it amazing? Hidan's cry stopped abruptly. The red eyes turned redder in an instant, and he looked up at Deidara's body not far away with a hideous look. Not only is it good, but it's still laughing. Hole, you cheated me again, I'm fighting with you. Hidan rushed up and fought with Deidara. Some monkeys steal peaches, some black tigers dig their hearts out, and they attack extremely wolves. Kakashi was speechless. Isn't this a gangster fight? Stand up for me, what are you talking about? Kakashi scolded softly. Yes, sir. Deidara grinned. Hidan wanted to stare Deidara to death with his eyes. The special clone blew himself up and didn't say a word. Isn't this bullying him out of mind? I'm pretty sure. When the clone blew up, a black shadow rescued those people, very fast, but... Deidara pointed to the dead bodies on the coast. They originally had hundreds of people, but at most a dozen escaped. Kakashi didn't say much. Escape and escape, nothing more than running to the cage of New World, and dying a few days late. Immediately Kakashi said, go and make up the knife. Yes, sir. Deidara and Hidan rushed over. Faced with dozens of dead people from the world government and several celestial dragons elites, they made up for the knife in place. Only when the soul is destroyed is dead. That night. The Empire powerhouses explored the 4 seas in the first half of the situation, and after confirming that they were correct, they came to New World one after another. North Blue Calm Belt, West Blue Calm Belt, upside down the mountain, and the part of the red line split by Lan Yu. If the New World map is regarded as a rectangle, so. Around this rectangle, on the edge, at every interval, there is an Empire powerhouse standing. Even the clone is used. Thousands of figures completely surrounded New World. Do it. Spirit Sealing Realm Method. Rise. Night fell. Countless civilians in New World look forward to the arrival of the Empire, and countless careerists can't sleep at night discussing something. Also at this time, boom boom boom. Thousands of golden light beams rose into the sky, awakening everyone in New World. Now, no matter which island in New World, even in the sea, at least hundreds of beams can be seen. This is the bright beams that completely surround New World. What happened? This kind of beam, so familiar. No, this is a special barrier used by Imperial soldiers to block people 7 years ago. Clear. ... Next moment, thousands of soaring beams converged in the sky, shocked by countless people. A pale golden enchantment with countless edges and corners shrouded all the areas of the eyes. Seal the spirit world method. Burn the flesh and seal the soul. Those who escape will turn into skeletons, and their souls will always stay in the enchantment. So far, New World is completely transformed into a cage. All the powerhouses in the Empire and the magic of the world of confinement, opened by the combined force of the clones, completely cut off the hope of everyone in New World to escape. Absolutely, no one, and things can leave New World alive and intact. Empire, what a cruel heart. Many people are desperate when they understand what the barrier that covers New World is. Once the sacred troops, including Sengoku, Aokiji, and CPO, were trapped to death. This barrier can be seen by individuals, far more than the one in Sabayati 7 years ago. The sky and the ground are completely sealed off. No one wanted to touch it, it was looking for death. It's done, the spiritual power we instilled can last for about 2 months, which is enough. Shin Nai of the North Blue Calm Belt retracted the clone, looked at the huge enchantment, and said with satisfaction, now, there will be no little mice running around. Although it does not open the law, it's useless for the people of New World to run anywhere, but it can save a lot of trouble if they are completely confined. Now, the Empire only needs to march steadily towards each island in New World, and no one will run to other seas to make trouble. Because it's not just covering the sky. There are enchantments on the seabed at every edge of New World. Completely sealed. As His Majesty said, unity is strength, and everyone takes action together. This is the largest and strongest enchantment in the history of the Empire. I heard Makoto's emotion. Robin in the distance took out a small notebook and wrote it down. Let's go. Sleep tight. Tomorrow morning, enter the New World. Create. Chapter 113. Hashirama, come and be my mount. Wanmi Elephant Master uses his nose. Advertisement. Seal the Spirit World method. All the powerhouses of the Empire took action and banned the entire New World, which made New World panic overnight. The next day, New World just lit up. Pieces of shadows appeared in the sky. A fighter plane, flying aircraft carriers one after another, flew into New World in groups from North Blue, West Blue Com Belt, and the first half. We divided the New World into 4 parts, which were launched by the 3 Imperial armies and the sacred troops. The main flying aircraft carrier. There is a small meeting. Naruto called up the New World map, which is a rectangular map with an arc. The entire rectangle, from front to back, it was divided into 4 parts neatly, and attacked separately by the 3 Imperial armies and the sacred troops. Currently, New World is blocked by enchantment. When the armies attack the islands, all fighter jets and flying aircraft carriers will cruise New World. It is important to determine the location and specific information of all ships moving on the sea. Naruto pointed to a few islands again. The Academy of Sciences proposed that these islands have many scientific researchers and special materials. In order to prevent damage, they will be handed over to the Academy of Sciences for disposal. Under the flag of each army, when you encounter these islands, you can go around everyone's forehead. The strategic plan is simple and straightforward. Then, let's go. Kushina stood up immediately. At this time, Naruto said casually, what if the first army slows down the process? Yes. Hearing these words, Kushina rolled her eyes and chuckled. Say it first. If which army is the last to take the area in charge, then all those with the vice admiral rank and above in that army must invite the other 3 armies to eat a treat for dinner. It's too easy. Conan couldn't help but laughed, and suggested, it's better to let the backward ones cook by themselves. Air Force. Holy Army. Now that they have all proposed, the Ghost Dragon of Empire Marine also grinned. It's too easy to cook. Let's add a socks and shoes to clean the room. Enough. Imperial Land 443 Army Hatake Shumao squinted slightly, and added another. Then add another time limit. How about a year? Wow. Everyone was surprised. I didn't expect you, a guy with thick eyebrows and big eyes, to have such a dark heart. I have a proposal. When they heard the sound, everyone looked curiously. After seeing Kakuzu, they became even more curious. Come from the Ministry of Finance. Kakuzu calmly and forcefully said. The army behind, all those with vice admiral rank and above, have half the monthly salary, deduct the year-end bonus, and have no holidays for a year. Lore on the spot. Everyone was agitated. Kushina couldn't help but smiled. I didn't expect you to be more ruthless than the other. Are you playing so hard? Come on. Hurt each other. Who is afraid of whom? White Zetsu, who has not spoken so much, smiled happily when he heard the Air Force Admiral Kushina's passion. I propose that the army that loses, all vice admiral ranks and above, will come to the intelligence department to experience a year of life. Makoto whispered, do you want the marshal too? If Imperial Marine loses. There is no such possibility. Nagato immediately got up and looked at Athena. Secretary General, please write down all the proposals just now, so that the Air Force, Army and sacred troops will not be accounted for. Athena smiled and said, I not only recorded it, but also recorded it. You are responsible for what you say. Of course, Minato, Kisame, let's go. Whoosh whoosh. Nagato, Minato, and Guizhou immediately flew out. Seeing this, Kushina is not to be outdone. Don't think that you can be the first if you go early. My Air Force will never lag behind. Sister Tsunade, Makoto, let's go. Swipe it. Conan also took the sacred troops, and Izuna left with the army. On the main ship, there are only Kakuzu and White Zetsu, as well as Luju and others. I admire it. When Kushina got up, she just woke her up. Kakuzu and White Zetsu marveled. Luju chuckled slightly. AHFJ, it should be said that I admire me, but you said this proposal. I just said something casually. I see. Athena's forehead. With the proposal just now, the Ministry of Intelligence and the Ministry of Finance will benefit the most. This is the mastermind behind the scenes. And it's all civil servants. Wenchungkang General. Your heart is so dark, be careful to be beaten to death by Kushina. Athena said something and turned to leave. Ha 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 ha. Kakuzu and others looked at each other and laughed. Immediately, Lu Ju said, the Academy of Sciences has sent people to take action, and our departments also have some new powerhouses. Send them all to increase efficiency. Everyone respects. This time, the Empire powerhouses come out together. When the 4 armies of the Empire invaded New World separately, and many people on the islands panic. A piece of sea without islands. There is a small wooden boat, rowing, and 2 sorrows sit on it. Master Hashirama, where are we going? Since taking Cake Island, Jiraiya has been confused because Hashirama has been excited to find what mounts. I'm riding. Hashirama still replied this way, constantly looking around. According to White Zetsu's intelligence, it should be nearby. Jiraiya couldn't help having a headache. There is no island in this area. Is that mount still at sea? Compare. This is a typical comparison psychology. Jiraiya murmured slightly. The band master won Kaido, and the Hashirama master, like the kid, had to win a bigger mount. You're right, it's really at sea. Senju Hashirama said, stood up, looked into the distance and said with surprise, wow, it's really big. It's much bigger than the one in Ban. Advertisement. This is this. What is bigger than the one in the class? Jiraiya looked up, suddenly stood up, and couldn't help exclaiming, it's really a miracle of the world to grow up so big. What appeared in front of the two of them was, in the distance, 4 pillars-like objects supported a giant. Take a closer look. The 4 pillars are limbs. The height almost broke through the sky, allowing the top to pass through the white clouds. Wow, this is an elephant roar resounding across the sky. Hurry up, row a boat, I want to take it as a mount. Looking at Hashirama who was so excited, Jiraiya raised his forehead and said, Master Hashirama, we might as well fly over. And, looking at the terrifying creature, Jiraiya frowned slightly. It may not have enough wisdom to understand what a mount is. No, I remember that White Zetsu surveyed and said that all creatures in Qinghai that are more than 5 kilometers in size basically have wisdom that is not weaker than humans. Hashirama said, and flew up. Jiraiya immediately followed. The more they fly, they can feel the size of the giant elephant, but there is a problem. According to his figure, the 10,000-meter deep sea shouldn't have just passed its knees. Jiraiya took a closer look. This deep sea area was less than 10,000 meters deep, but it was only at the knee of an elephant. It is unscientific to compare the proportions of the figure. Yeah, you said this. Hashirama flew and took out a picture. Look, it's not an ordinary elephant. Long-legged elephant tribe. Jiraiya was amazed. The elephant's legs are very long, and have 3 joints. Just like a human being, another leg grows under the thigh and calf. 3-legged elephant. The part that is submerged into the sea is almost half the height of this giant elephant. 2 legs stepped on the bottom of the sea and submerged into the sea. That is, the 2 legs are about 13,000 meters long. Add another section of the leg, and the torso. Its height is about 27,000 or 8,000 meters, about 30,000 meters. About 30,000 meters. If you raise your nose, it's even higher. Jiraiya praised Hashirama. I believe that if you take it as a mount, Lord Hashirama must have a face in front of Lord Ban. Ha 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 ha, it's right, let Madara envy and hate it. Hashirama couldn't help but sing incomparably, burst into laughter, tears came out. Wow, the elephant roared again. Because it saw Hashirama flying over, the laughter made it extremely disturbed. The body trembled a bit. This tremor is extremely problematic. Boom. The kingdom on the elephant shook. Aroused countless creatures on the elephant's back. What happened? Why is the elephant shaking? Duke Inulin with a dog's head and a dog's tail ran up and looked around in amazement. A giant bear shook his head and said, I don't know, Lord Duke, maybe there is some bad weather, like the Lord is usually very stable. Like the Lord, a giant elephant that has lived for thousands of years. The island on the back is Zou Island. The country of Zuo, the furry principality. There are rivers, forests, towns, and countless isolated fur people. The fur clan calls themselves the Mink clan. They are all like zone demon fruit capable people, and they don't like human beings close to its kingdom. Go and wake up the cat viper, when is it still asleep? Inu Lan was talking, a huge cat-like fur clan, with a mouthful of fangs, came with a pipe in his mouth. No need to call, Lousy is here. The cat viper spit out the smoke ring and looked at the elephant master's head. I was not awakened by the shaking, but a very dangerous intuition. Someone must have discovered the elephant master. The strong, the calm Tianlin's heart was shaken. The king of daylight, Tianlin. The king of the night, the cat viper. Both of them are followers of Kazuki Odin, the second of the 9 knights, and the 2 kings of the furry principality. The king does not see the king. So one day activity, one night activity. You can't be sure, but everyone is too lax, thinking that living on the back of the elephant will not be dangerous. Duke Gale said towards Yito. Babo, you go to inform everyone, gather outside the whale forest first, if there is a situation, hide in immediately. Yeah, I see. The naive Bibo nodded, and there was a very small rabbit sitting on his shoulder. To be precise, rabbit ears are small lowly. Luo. Bibo, you and I are destined. Kagaya. Little rabbit, concubine likes it, and under the elephant. Hashirama has flown to a position parallel to the main elephant's eyes, looking at the main elephant with dread and hollow eyes and smiled. You seem to be a little afraid of me. Do you feel my strength? Then you have wisdom. How about being my mount? Eat and drink well in the future, and I will find you a few female elephants and give birth to a bunch of baby elephants. As Hashirama was talking, he saw the elephant's nose lifted up. Hashirama couldn't help but shine. Are you going to shake hands with me? You agreed. Ha 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 ha, you are too clever. The elephant is a nose when he goes up. Hashirama, who was laughing, flew directly, turned into a streamer, and sat on the sea. Huomio. The elephant roars to the sky. Jiraiya seemed to understand. Go to your uncle. That should be the meaning, ahem. Huh, idiot Hashirama. This was a cold snort, which made Jiraiya look at it with amazement. Master Ban. Chapter 114. Cat, Viper, Snake Dog, Lan Yu Lion Form, hostility to the Empire, no mercy. Advertisement. Who? The moment Madara arrived. The Elephant Master's roar became louder, and suddenly accelerated, causing the Zou Island on his back to shake suddenly, and all the fur races fell one after another. A bit dangerous. Extremely dangerous. The former is the judgment of the Lord on Hashirama. After all, it seems to be a stubborn and hanky person, but when the class appears, the Lord feels cold. The Lord has lived for thousands of years. It is certain that Ben is the most terrifying human being it has ever seen, even if it just glances at it with both arms, it has the intuition of death. Master Madara, why are you here? Seeing Uchiha Madara standing in the air with her arms folded, Jiraiya was surprised. This sea area belongs to the Imperial Army attack place. I just passed by. Uchiha Madara looked at the Elephant Master again, and the other party inadvertently speeded up, stepping more than a few kilometers. Ah, Ben, why are you here? When the pillar flying out of the sea saw Madara, he suddenly scowled. It's so embarrassing to be used to fly by a cute mount. As he said, Hashirama looked at Madara vigilantly again. This is the mount I'm looking for, you can't grab it. Why should I grab it? Uchiha Madara said flatly. He has no interest in the host, and apart from being very large, there is nothing dazzling at the moment. It's just the silly Hashirama. I thought that the bigger the mount, the more majestic. Then it's okay, let's see how I take it down, ha 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 ha. I didn't understand what Hashirama was laughing at. He flew to the line of the elephant's eyes and stretched out his hand. You might have misunderstood just now. The mount I'm talking about is. Huh, the Elephant Master roared, his long empty eyes sharpened. Boom. The huge long nose lifted up with a sonic boom, and used it again toward Hashirama. Hey, wait a minute, Hashirama suddenly felt black before his eyes, was hit again by a crit, and flew backwards towards the distance. Ah, I will come back again. Jiraiya couldn't help holding his forehead. Uchiha Madara's eyebrows crisscrossed, and she was speechless. This guy, I really owe you a punch. Not only owe a beating, but also look for a pickup. Brush. Dogs, mice and cat vipers rushed swiftly on Zou Island on the elephant's back. After a while, he came to the top of the elephant's head. Who? This is Zou, the furry principality. Humans are not welcome. Leave all. Two loud shouts came. The arrival of Inu Arashi and Cat Viper made the Elephant Master even more disturbed. Ah. This roar almost pierced the ears of Inu Lan and Cat Viper, and probably understood the meaning of the Lord Elephant. Danger. Will you die? Run. Cat Viper couldn't help widening his eyes, scratching his head and said, Lousy can't hear it wrong, right? They are. The steady dog, standing on top of the elephant's head, looked vigorously, seeing, hearing, and perceiving below, and finally saw two small black spots. What? Just saw two black spots. Gale found that only one of the black spots disappeared, and also disappeared in the perception of color. Don't perceive anyone who is far stronger than you at will, otherwise it will cause trouble. The sound suddenly exploded from my ears. The violent Cat Viper suddenly angered. Who is teasing Lousy, believe it or not? Boom boom boom. The Cat Viper was hit hard. It flew out directly, hitting a forest all the way, and slammed into the rocks of Zou Island. When Inu Lan turned around, he saw Jiraiya gently drop his foot, and at the same time saw the imperial emblem on Jiraiya's body. Holy Empire! Inu Lan couldn't help exclaiming. Zou Island is isolated from the world and does not welcome humans, but the Empire Times has spread across the entire Grand Line 3 times. Especially the Empire Times a few days ago. Among them, Kaido, Rayleigh, Golden Lion joined, and the death of Charlotte Linlin shocked the dog. Inuarashi and Cat Viper followed Kazuki Oden and joined the Roger Pirates. They naturally understood the strength of Deputy Captain Rayleigh and their dead opponent Shiki. Kaido. Especially Kaido. Inu Lan remembers everything the other party did in Wano-kuni. At this time, the Cat Viper rushed over like a mad lion. Hole, you kicked. Stop it. Inu Lan shouted, and rushed over, directly pressing the Cat Viper to the ground. You lunatic, calm down, the opponent is from the Empire. What? Cat Viper's heart shook. The forces that Kaido has joined. The hot-tempered Cat Viper, only remembered this content at the time, suddenly became even more angry. What about the Empire? Have you forgotten how Lord Oden died? Kaido forced us to jump into the frying pan together with Master Oden and be punished by cooking in a cauldron. Speaking of this, the cat and snake burst into tears. In order to prevent us from suffering, Master Oden used a wooden board to follow us, and to withstand the heat and oil alone. For an hour. Let us go if you say it will last an hour, but what? The Cat Viper couldn't help roaring. Kaido broke his promise and shot Lord Oden to death. I hate it. Kaido and I will never die. I am at odds with the Empire. It's over. Inu Lan felt cold inside. Cat Viper has a fiery temper and a very violent personality. He was evaluated by Inu Arashi as a lunatic in this land. On the other hand, Inu Lan is kind, humble, gentle, and doesn't like violence very much. The two people's personalities are extremely at odds. This lunatic, Inu Lan was a little confused inside. He originally planned to solve the problem through conversation and try not to use violence, but the Cat and Viper directly chose to oppose. Ridiculous. Uchiha Madara, who is far in the sky in front of the Lord, gave the lowest rating to the Cat Viper. A stupid cat will bring disaster to the whole family. How is this different from choosing to kill family members and the whole clan for the sake of loyalty? Papa, advertisement. Jiraiya couldn't help clapping his hands, and said with emotion, "It's a touching feeling between master and servant," I almost cried. Cat Viper sneered. "Don't pretend to lousy," Kaido joins. "It seems there are no good people in the Empire." Inyugong lost his voice again. His calm and composure is useless against the stubborn and prejudiced cat in snake silk. In the eyes of Cat Vipers, Kaido must die, whoever blocks is the enemy, and the same is true for recruiting Kaido Empire. I even forgot. This is Zou, and there are countless people on the island who have no feeling or impression of Odin. You are right. For outsiders, the Empire never likes to be a good person. Jiraiya still smiled, and walked towards the Cat Viper. Not to mention the past, now I am only my own person in my eyes. The moment you become hostile to the Empire, it is doomed to end. What a passion. What a heavy meaning. What kind of knowledge. For such people, the world has gone too much, the moment when the Cat Vipers became hostile to the Empire. What are you keeping? Lead the whole family to resist. Don't bother, then go to death. It's just dead, lousy doesn't care. The Cat Viper threw out an unknown sphere and flew into the sky with a bright white light. Moonlight. Jiraiya looked at the white light and whispered, it seemed that it was a special item that collected moonlight. Throwing something that emits moonlight in broad daylight, is it because the sun is not bright enough? Roar. With a loud roar, the Cat Viper's body grows larger, its eyes turn red, its hair turns white and swells, and its nails become sharp. We can only fight. Seeing this, the calm Inu Lan immediately chose to stand with his companion. 0. Look for flowers. Roar. There was another beast roar. Inu Lan's body grew in the same size, with red eyes and sharp white claws. Moon Lion form. After training, he can be transformed into the real posture of the Fur Clan at the full moon, and his strength and speed have increased sharply. Cannot be used for too long and consumes energy. In the first 7 years, the first time I heard about the existence of an empire, I felt a sense of danger. So in the past 7 years, my furry principality has developed a device that absorbs the light of the full moon, so that my clan can burst into strength at any time. Inu Lan drew out 2 knives and said calmly, "Don't talk nonsense with him." The grumpy Cat Viper shouted, "Red Cat Dance." The Cat Viper sprinted at full speed, with thunder and lightning on its paws, and attacked Jiraiya. Dog Door Wind. Inuarashi also sprinted at full speed, wrapping his sword legs around the electrical stab at Jiraiya. Medium Divine lost. 2 huge arrows appeared in Jiraiya's hands. Not good. Inuarashi and Cat Viper felt heart palpitations. I'll stop it. The Cat Viper stood in front of him very quickly, covered armament hockey with 2 sharp claws, and directly collided with 2 huge arrows. Boom. With 2 explosions, the Cat Viper's 2 sharp claws turned into a blood mist on the spot, and it was hit by a powerful impact and it flew upside down, and it also hit the dog behind it. Wow. The 2 sharp claws collapsed, and even the soul of the sharp claws. The pain from the soul made the determined Cat Viper scream. Duke Dogang. Boss Cat Viper. One by one Fur Clan came from a distance, exclaiming one after another. Don't get in the way. Jiraiya glanced. Reiatsu broke out. Boom. The atmosphere of horror swept the audience, passing every Fur Clan that rushed across in a flash. Thump thump thump. One Baikugan fell over. Jiraiya murmured, I have to say, Conquerors is still good. Reiatsu is released, usually because the opponent can't move, otherwise it is directly shaken to death. And Conquerors, to clean up the minions directly, so as not to cause chaos, is also an advantage. Cat Viper, are you okay? The calm Inu Lan suddenly lost his calm when he saw the Cat Viper roaring with pain and both claws were abolished. Others are acceptable, but companions must not be hurt. Odin 2 Swordsmanship Taoyuan 10 punches. Inu Lan screamed and brandished the double swords that entangled armament hockey. After sending out the extremely fast cross-flying slash, Tien Lan himself followed closely behind. Large divine destruction. Jiraiya used the spiritual blade to draw an arc in the air, and a huge bow and arrow appeared above the trajectory. The arrow slammed into the cross-slash, and after the collision, it directly turned into a huge lightsaber. Boom. Wow. The huge roar on Zhao Island made the Elephant Master also roar, and his eyes showed human concerns. It doesn't matter if you die 1 or 2, after all, many fur people die every year. The Elephant Master is worried about the fur family. Anyway, it is also a special race that he has raised for hundreds of years. I'm back. Ha 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 with laughter, Hashirama flew back from a distance. What? Hashirama looks at Zhao Island. Why are there fights? Uchiha Madara said flatly, because of loyalty, hostility to the empire. Ah, kill it then. Hashirama ignored it, and then looked at the Elephant Master again, rarely speaking seriously. There are no more than 3 things. You used to fly me twice, I don't want to see the 3rd time, understand? Wow, chapter 115. Robin gathers the historical text of the road signs, do you want to laugh at me? Advertisement, Madara, what does it mean? Listening to the Lord's roar, Hashirama scratched his head in doubt. How do I know what it means? Uchiha Madara said casually. What the hell does that mean? Hashirama felt that it was difficult to communicate with the Lord Elephant, and suddenly his eyes lit up. I see, devil fruit. Uchiha Madara raised her eyebrows. What does this guy mean? Look, this Elephant Lord has lived for thousands of years. He is obviously wise, but he just can't speak. As Hashirama said, he sent out a Lingza newsletter. Little Maruko, do you have any devil fruit that can make animals talk? Hashirama praised her wit. He remembered that the medical school of his lovely granddaughter Tsunade had an extra talking reindeer called Chopper. That is also an animal. Chopper can talk after eating devil fruit. Then find one for the elephant master, there is nothing wrong with it. Master Hashirama? My husband is not here. Wait a moment, where is my husband? What's the situation? Hashirama's eyes stared. How can someone else answer? Lingza communication is connected with your own Lingza, and other people can't eavesdrop or take over. Madara, my Lingza communicated with Shaowanzi, but he didn't reply. What's the matter? Hashirama is puzzled. Is it possible that Lingza communication has upgraded and reformed, and he has fallen behind? What little balls? Uchiha Madara frowned slightly. Column 4 or 4 or 7, immediately said, Little Maruko, Orochimaru, my granddaughter's teammate. He is the Dean of the Academy of Sciences. Is there a problem with improving Lingza communication? Uchiha Madara didn't care. Hashirama's forehead. This is also right, Master Hashirama? After receiving the Lingza communication, Hashirama immediately became immersed in his mind. Little Maruko, do you have devil fruit similar to Chopper, the one that allows animals to talk? Want fruit? Orochimaru, who has boarded New World Punk Hazard, glanced at the Orochima next to him and said gently, the fruit that makes animals speak. Let me check. Ochiji took out her mobile phone and searched for the devil fruit information recorded in the Academy of Sciences. Quickly, Orochiji found several and said, telephone worm fruit, sonic fruit, sound fruit, and everyone fruit, frost giant form, dwarf form, druid form, and naga form. Hearing what his wife Orochima said, Orochimaru replied to Hashirama and suggested, Master Hashirama, if the animals are not allowed to speak, and their wisdom and strength are increased, then I suggest looking for a powerful human fruit phantom species. Yes. Hashirama's eyes lit up. Of course, the mount must have wisdom and strength. Recalling those devil fruits mentioned by Orochimaru just now, none of them seemed appropriate. Thank you, please tell me about the new human fruit phantom beast species in the future. As Hashirama said, he sent another message to White Zetsu, looking for the fruits of everyone. It is best to find the one that suits the elephant master. After all, its body is too large, and it is not suitable for many places. From the fact that you used the flying knee twice, you should understand what the mount means. Hashirama flew over and touched the Lord Elephant's forehead. I will find a suitable devil fruit for you, which will allow you to go up and down into the underground sea, grow bigger and smaller, transform between humans and beasts, increase wisdom and strength, and speak. Nod if you agree, understand? Uchiha Madara was speechless. Is there such a devil fruit? Hashirama also thought of this and said with a smile. If not, I will let the Academy of Sciences combine several fruits for you to eat. If the Academy of Sciences can't do it, I will ask your majesty. In short, you will be better than Ban's mount in the future. Uchiha Madara. To beat me Madara, Hashirama went crazy. Wow, the elephant master roared again, finally nodded. It fully understood Hashirama's words, and was more accurate than anyone's intuition. I, like the Lord, are not afraid of death, but the fur clan on my back can't die. There is no need for Hashirama to do it. The Lord felt that this silly human being would definitely be able to rub it in the sea. And the cold man beside him, ha 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 ha, it nodded, did you see you, it agreed. Hashirama smiled happily, jumped directly onto the elephant's head, and yelled with an open hand. I, Senju Hashirama, also have a mount, mine is bigger than the one. Laugh. Uchiha Madara is a kick when he goes up. Idiot. Wow, the elephant master roared again. Hashirama flew back again and smiled. Madara, did you hear that? When you kick me, it screams, obviously you want to protect me. Uchiha Madara didn't bother to deal with it. The voice of the Lord just now was obviously laughing and worrying about something. The great sun. In the distance, Jiraiya, who was fighting with Tianlin and the cat viper, summoned a huge spiritual bow with many arrows shaped like giant spears in midair. Jiraiya overlooks the two in the sky. I offer a luxurious funeral for your loyalty. Boom boom boom. While Ryotsu was blooming, several giant spears violently attacked Tianlin and the cat viper. Died on the spot. Call, the elephant master roared again. Understand the general meaning, Hashirama immediately said. Alright Jiraiya, the death of their two rival empires is dead, just like the other fur races on the main back. Yes, Lord Hashirama. Jiraiya replied calmly. The death of two kings, the empire does not pursue the trouble of the common people, of course it is a different matter. I have seen Mr. Ban, Mr. Hashirama, Mr. Jiraiya. At this time, a white cloud with blinking blue and black eyes flew up, and a woman on it chuckled and said, Congratulations to Lord Hashirama for harvesting the mount. Ha 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 ha, is it more than hockey? Ahem, Madara, stop. Hashirama suddenly sang and saw Madara raise her hand, and immediately hid behind the elephant. I can't stop today. Uchiha Madara surrounds the elephant's huge body and hunts down Senju Hashirama. Seeing this, the woman laughed. She originally thought that Hashirama would fight the elephant, and the elephant would be defeated by the elephant. Advertisement unexpectedly, the process is so simple. Jiraiya curiously asked, Are you here to find the historical text, Robin? The moment when I met the Lord. Everyone perceives that there are white clouds in the sky, and the people on the white clouds, Robin came very early. Yes, Mr. Jiraiya. While Robin clapped his hands, there were a lot of historical stone tablets appearing on the white clouds, and he smiled and said, Don't say anything else. The red road sign with the historical text. This one on Zou Island is missing. That's great. Jiraiya first. The historical text of each piece of road sign records a location. When these locations are known and 4 points are connected on the map, the last island, Raftel, emerges in the center. A total of 4 pieces of historical text of road signs. Charlotte Linlin, Kaido, and Zou Island each have 1 piece, and the last piece was found by White Zetsu. Enter Raftel. Maybe it's Jinshan Yinshan, maybe the fruits are everywhere. It is also the site of the Great Kingdom. There may be nothing but a stone monument that records history. The answer will be revealed soon. Coming. Robin looked down. Several Robin avatars moved the red road sign history text from the whale forest on Zou Island. Even if you hide a piece of road sign text in the forest, most people really can't find it. Jiraiya couldn't help but sigh. No matter how hard it is to find, I still found it. Robin moved the last piece to the clouds and said with a chuckle, like your majesty proposed, publicly destroying the historical text of road signs, or publicly destroying Raftel, will sever the hope of many pirates, and also the vision of the new generation of pirates. Good suggestion. Jiraiya couldn't help giving a thumbs up. This suggestion is good. In other words, it means there is no one piece in the world. Perhaps many pirates don't even know what the historical text of the road sign is. But they must all know Raftel. Roger didn't defeat any top pirates. Just because he found Raftel, he became the king of pirates. So can I. This is the idea of many pirates. Does One Piece Roger fight Rocks, Whitebeard, Golden Lion, or Charlotte Linlin kneeling down and begging for mercy? None of them. No one was defeated head-on, or even to say that none was defeated on their own. Since Roger does not rely on absolute strength to lead, then we do not compare strength. Who is afraid of fighting for luck? Find Raftel and win. One Piece is not necessarily the strongest pirate, but luck must be good. Robin looked at the historical text of the road sign and said, as your majesty said, the protagonist of the world, the son of luck. But when the empire comes, the so-called protagonist will no longer be the protagonist. Jiraiya agreed with a shrug. He has the deepest experience, and, up to now, Jiraiya has not been sure, if your majesty does not appear, who is the prophetic son of the ninja world. It's really a new generation, and they are all excellent. Kushina, Nagato, Kakashi, Hinata, forget it, it doesn't make sense. Jiraiya used his thoughts. You can do it first, I'll go and bring the Fur Clan into the empire. Jiraiya turned and headed to Zou Island. The elephant stopped quietly on the sea. This is the first time it has stopped in thousands of years to calm the outside scenery. I have made mistakes, but the moment I became that Tihanan Mount, all the past, let it pass. Elephant Lord thought very wisely. Now that it has passed, then start a new beautiful life. What? Robin just put the history text of the road sign into the nailing ring, and he saw a white cloud flying over the higher sky. Immediately followed. Madara, is it her? Hashirama also looked to the sky. Don't want to divert my attention. Madara saw it too, gave Hashirama a kick again, and continued chasing around the elephant. Elephant. This is not enough. Can I change the owner as the lord? The hockey man who chased Tai Hanhan was great, now. On another white cloud. Ah, bunny, so cute bunny, really cute. Seeing the excitement of Kagaya holding the little rabbit in his arms, Hancock regretted it again. Isn't it just a rabbit ear loli? Growing up as the bunny ear's mother. Is Kagaya too excited? You let me go. Garrot, who was only 3 years old, was almost held to death by Kagaya. Sorry, Tutu. Kagaya carefully let go of Garrett, her blushing eyes staring at Garrett. For some reason, Kaguya's heart melted the moment he saw Garlet. Lan Yu. Because you are also a rabbit. Kagaya. Concubine body is not a rabbit. So cute. Kagaya stroked Garlet's head. Titicaca. In Kaguya's surprise, Garrett blushed and smiled cutely. Garlet likes people touching her head very much. Whether she is tall or happy, as long as others touch her head, she will laugh cutely. Kagaya was a little unsure about this. Hancock, you try. Good. Hancock touched it too. Titicaca. Garlet laughed. It also surprised Hancock. This bunny is really cute. Then I will try too. Robin flew over at this moment and touched Garlet's little head lightly. Titicaca. The 3 women, the more they touched, the more pleasantly surprised. Garlet. Do you want me to laugh to death? Chapter 116. Beat Guy Saw. Scientist Vegapunk joins the Empire. Advertisement, Titicaca. The sky was filled with Garrett's cute and helpless laughter. She couldn't help laughing when someone touched her head, but she couldn't help laughing all the time. Slightly 3, elder sister, is that okay, a little bit? Garlet smiled and talked. Kagaya, Hancock, Robin first saw Loli, a rabbit who laughed at the touch of his head, and they melted their hearts. Talking and laughing bunny, Kagaya was holding Garlet very excitedly, and she couldn't wait to return to the Empire and show it to Lan Yu. Seeing this, Robin stopped his hand and asked in a low voice, Sister Kagaya is so happy? I don't know the concubine body. These days, Hancock saw Kagaya take away many people, but he was not as happy today. She admits that the rabbit ears Loli Garrot is cute, but it's not enough compared to Shirahoshi. But even Shirahoshi and Kagaya just hugged them for a while and lost interest. Is there anything like super cute, Poseidon's mermaid Shirahoshi? Top cute creature Shirahoshi. It was beaten by Loli rabbit ears. Robin guessed. It might be that Sister Kagaya likes rabbits? Close to the standard answer. You are still young, maybe you don't understand, but the concubine still has to tell you. Touching Garrett's rabbit ears, Kagaya smiled happily. Listen. From now on you will be the king of the fur clan. Queen Tutu. Garrett blinked. Kagaya smiled and didn't say anything, raising his hand to the elephant's back in the distance below. Gravity chain, get up. 10,000 gravitational chains fell on the island of Zo instantly, entwining all places. Boom. The furry principality covering the back of the elephant suddenly flew up, and the elephant felt his body light, and his whole body was refreshed. Brush. Jiraiya flew out of the island of Zo, watching it fly away. Sir Kagaya? Huh, the elephant roared. I don't know how many years, it has never been so easy as it is today. After all, it is an island with a full back and it is extremely heavy. But the Lord is also a little worried about the fur clan. Don't worry, baby elephant. Kagaya Senpai will move Zo away. It is safer than putting it on your back and staying in New World. Senju Hashirama gave a sound of comfort, then smiled. Before I find the right devil fruit for you, let me go to the New World. I don't need to act, you just fly a big piece with your nose. The picture is beautiful to think about, ha 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 ha. Singing laughter again. Uchiha Madara couldn't help kicking again. Ahem, Madara, this sea area is within the range of the Imperial Army, why haven't you left? Hashirama flew back, saying that he was surprised again. It's been a few days now, you haven't gone to that guy yet, be careful that he was killed by someone. Now is the time when the Empire is fully attacking New World. If that guy meets 1 or 2 Empire powerhouses, he will definitely die. If he is dead, he can only say that he can't measure it like that. Uchiha Madara didn't care. He is still waiting for the end of the Qinghai Realm Marine, since arriving at Marineford, this is only the 6th day. Kaido is still chasing after him. Uchiha Madara seemed to perceive something and waved to Hashirama. I'm leaving. Is it gone? Seeing Madara disappear, Hashirama murmured. Madara runs around. Where's me? Hashirama is smart, calm and handsome. Right, baby elephant? Who? The elephant replied. Tai Han 1. The Lord Elephant labeled Hashirama, and at least it can't be changed in a short time. Ji Lai. Also, gone. Hashirama jumped on the head of the elephant, yelling with open hands. Pirates of New World, tremble under my mount, who? At the same time, Punk Hazard, after Orochimaru hung up the communication with Hashirama's soul, he walked on the island and chuckled. Unexpectedly, Lord Hashirama was actually interested in a certain animal and asked the Academy of Sciences to look for a powerful human fruit phantom species. The Orochi-ji said, I heard Lord Hashirama seems to have taken a fancy to a certain creature and wants to take it as a mount. It should be for the mount to add wisdom and strength. Violent. If anyone in Qinghai knew about it, it would definitely be heartbroken. How rare are the Eudemon species, especially the human fruit Eudemon species, just look at Sengoku to know how powerful it is. But threw it to the mount, Pilly. A thunder flashed past, condensing the shape of Enel, and immediately said, 2 adults, the island has been cleaned up, and there are only 2 people left. Well, good job. Orochimaru praised the efficiency of Enel and others, and walked towards the island with Orochima. Enel followed and couldn't help but wonder. Since that person is so important, why didn't the world government transfer in advance? See, Orochimaru put down the study, came in person, and brought Ochiki with him. Just know how much this person is valued, because it doesn't make sense. Orochimaru nudged the golden glasses, and said elegantly, any scientific research takes time, especially when the science of this field cannot determine the battle. Furthermore, advertisement Orochimaru looked at the island building, as if looking at someone from a distance. If the world government wins, it can naturally grab it back. If it loses, there is nothing. What's more, the word, world government, is now gone. Yahahaha, Lord Orochimaru is right, there is no world government for a long time. Enel deeply agrees. The North Blue War disappointed the franchise countries, and the 3 seas in the West, South and East were disappointed again. The first half of the war, it completely disappointed all the participating countries and withdrew from the world government. The franchise is gone. That world government is the self-satisfaction of celestial dragons and self-entertainment. I am still living the days of hiding in Tibet, and I don't know where I am struggling. After a while, the 3 of Orochimaru entered a huge laboratory. I have seen the Dean, Lord Orochi, Lord Enel, Lucky and Kaku who stayed behind immediately saluted. You don't have to defend, they won't run. Seeing that Lucci and Kaku kept guarding the 2 of them, Orochimaru spoke softly. Yes, Dean. Lucci and Kaku stepped aside. Waipo, is this the Dean of the Imperial Academy of Sciences? A man with long black hair, horns on his head and half body turned into gas came over and said proudly. I admit that the Empire is great, but when it comes to scientific research, I am the first. Guy's a current, right? For one of the colleagues who used to treat, Orochimaru knows that the other party is extremely arrogant in scientific research, advertised as the world's first scientist. Wapo, it's me, but Guy said right now. I saw Orochimaru slightly raising his hand. I don't like his laugh, it's too ugly, let's talk about it. Arm Tempest kick leopard tail, arm Tempest kick dragon broken. Lucci and Kaku moved at the same time, entangled in armed colors. The tail-like spiral slashes and vertical slashes blasted on Guy's saw. Boom. Guy's saw was hit hard, and the whole person smashed the wall, rushed out of the laboratory, and smashed into the ground outside. Puff, you 2 bastards. Guy was so frightened that he turned into gas without thinking and flew towards the sky. Logia gas fruit. Yahahaha, ridiculous Logia, feel the newly developed abilities of God. A coin appeared in Enel's hand and flicked, electromagnetic gun. The coin was subjected to electromagnetic shock and flew out as a flash of light. The coin swept across the air, making a deafening roar, and directly brushed it over Guy, causing a terrifying explosion in the air. The atmosphere is boiling and thunder is raging. Guy, who was black and splattered with blood, smashed to the ground heavily, coughing up blood, cough cough, I. Armed fly finger pistol. More than a dozen air bombs entangled with armed colors, and once again pierced Guy. Lu Chi and Kaku rushed forward and launched a brutal and inhuman beating against Guy. The power is a bit weak. Enel frowned slightly, dissatisfied with the performance of the electromagnetic gun just now. Although it was deliberately wiped off at Guy, the power of the burst was still inconspicuous. I have to study it again, or upgrade the electromagnetic gun. It's called a super electromagnetic gun, 447. In the laboratory, Orochimaru and Ochiji looked at the front calmly. An ordinary man in a white coat was trying to concentrate on experimenting. Vegapunk, born on Grand Line Institution Island, the future kingdom of Baltimore. Ochiji held a document and read, "Now is the period when Guy Saw and Vegapunk are working together. All in Punk Hazard. When I was young, when the bloodline factor was discovered, the world government thought the discovery was too dangerous, so it arrested you and bought the team. Only Judge escaped. So far, he has become a naval headquarters scientist and is known as a scientist who has surpassed human wisdom for 500 years. Start research in Punk Hazard. Current achievement 1. Unlock Devil Fruit to convey the conditions and make the object capable. 2. Invented the method of using sea stone to let marine warships pass through the calm belt. 3. Raise pet dragons and create artificial creatures. The current research scope: human giant experiments, man-made devil fruit, antivirus suits, pacifists, etc. From machinery manufacturing to devil fruit to life design drawings, everything is perfect. Hear the words of Orochimaru. Vegapunk stopped studying, turned around calmly, looked at Orochimaru and said, "This is your wife?" Orochimaru said on his forehead, "It's not my wife, but also a scientist." Female scientists, that's really rare. Vegapunk sighed, and then seriously said, "The so-called surpassing the world for 500 years is just an exaggeration by the world government, otherwise I would have left this world long ago. You come a few years later, I will leave Punk Hazard and be caught to an unknown place for research." Leave the world. Orochimaru couldn't help laughing, and stretched out his hand. The Empire comes from the outer world, and there are countless worlds outside the world. The Academy of Sciences is very free. You are welcome to join. If this is the case, it would be an honor for me. Smart people don't need nonsense. Vegapunk chuckled and shook hands with Orochimaru. Holy Empire. I hope it's really free. Chapter 117, 25 Loli peeking at Lan Yu. Shirahoshi awakens the power of Poseidon. Advertisement, let's go then. Orochimaru glanced at the laboratory and said, "Pack your things, I will take you to study a real world-destroying weapon." World-destroying weapon? Orochimaru's directness made Vegapunk smile again. "I like your frankness, and I also want to know what weapon can be called the world-destroying grade." Only one step away. Orochimaru thought to himself that he was only one step away from completing the ultimate weapon that His Majesty said. But the last step is stuck. So Orochimaru, I really want to find more scientists to radiate thinking together. The current Academy of Sciences. It is mainly composed of scientists from the ninja world, individual planets in the ninja universe, the celestial world, and the celestial earth. They are all working hard to conquer. At this time, Lu Chi lifted his limbs and scrapped, and the bloody guy came over. President, he was beaten and disabled. Puff, cough, I was wrong, I was really wrong, don't kill me. Guy's eyes were full of horror, not to mention Lu Chi and Kaku, the long years that thunder and lightning are the devil. See him as Logia, he has been experimenting with tricks and almost electrocuted him. Be honest from now on. Orochimaru didn't say anything. Vegapunk raised his eyebrows and reminded, this guy is a lunatic. Although he and Guy are colleagues. But Guy Saw's thoughts are too extreme, and he opposes Vegapunk everywhere, very arrogant. Orochimaru calmly said, all scientists are lunatics, as long as he has the ability, I don't care about this. Enel, take him to learn the rules of the Empire, violate it once, and kill him on the spot. Yes, Dean. Enel grinned. Guy shook his whole body again when he saw Enel, this devil. Let's go. When the Empire attacked New World, under a certain sea area of New World, there is a behemoth wandering, washing away a wave of terrifying energy, causing countless sea kings to retreat. The simulation was successful. Lan Yu of Beijo opened his eyes, looked at the virtual ocean in the hall, and murmured. One breath 1,000 times, deduction simulation 1,000,000 times, 100% can be successful. While whispering, Lan Yu looked at the islands in the sea 100 miles away from the east of Beijo. The daughter island is located, the scene there. Let Lan Yu want to say something. Kagaya, have you seen One Piece? Lan Yu couldn't help but think so, because he also couldn't understand how Kagaya did this kind of thing. Collected from all over the world, Kagaya brought back all the people who Lan Yu could call out. It was simply outrageous. It's time to break through to Shirahoshi. Lan Yu disappeared in place. Now, Daughter Island. It's lively. Many women from Daughter Island came to the periphery of the palace one after another, looking inside curiously. And in Hancock's hall, Kagaya is holding Garlet, and is looking at the women and Loli in the hall with different looks. Except for the ones brought back by the concubine, are the rest from Shanghai realm? Hearing Kaguya's question, Hancock looked through the list and said, it is true that they are all, who followed the troops to attack New World, and they all came back temporarily. Kagaya said with his jaw, well, you will lead the powerful Qinghai people who have joined the empire and will go out with the army. Really? Hancock was a little surprised. She also thought that after coming back, she would directly lead Daughter Island with the army on the expedition, sharing the insignificant pressure for the imperial army. But there are not many women in Daughter Island who can survive in New World. But many of the people in Qinghai who joined the empire in the past 7 years have grown up. Of course, your majesty doesn't like vases. Kagaya took out the New World map and said, this sea area is within the range of the Imperial Air Force. You will take them out for a while. Hancock nodded seriously. Immediately, Hancock looked at the hall. What she looked at was those who had joined the empire and had strength except those brought back by Kagaya. Adult. Monet is 18 years old, Gion, Stussy, currently under the age of 18. Reiju, Sugar, Baby 5, Yamato, Kuina, Bo, Konas, Khalifa. It's not much, but it's enough. At the very least, you have to win a few islands. Hancock made up his mind secretly. There are still a few who have no strength at present. Shirahoshi is just 4 years old, 6-year-old Vivi in a princess dress. I still don't understand how Sister Kagaya picked them out. Is it really by eye? Hancock looked at the others again. These days, Kagaya traveled all over the world and brought them back. Adults. Tina, Betty, currently under the age of 18, Nami, Nuahigo, Kaya, Ayan, Pudding, Karina, Bakara, Perona, Kazuki Hiyori, Rebecca, Violet, 17 years old, Koala, Margarita, Tashigi. After grabbing Marine, grabbing the pirates, grabbing the Revolutionary Army, and even the Daughter Island picks one out. What exactly is Kagaya's sister's eye? Looking at the big confused eyes, Hancock was confused. Wow, look, sister, they too look like Long. The 8-year-old Nami is very courageous. Since being taken away by Kagaya, he has not cried or made noise. At this moment, he is even more curious. Little guy, you scared me. Perona on the side was startled by Nami's sudden noise and couldn't help but stare. Who? You are just a few years older than me. Little Nami glared back unwillingly. Ai Yin, who was hiding behind Tina, also whispered, they really look like. The girls also looked at Kuina and Tashigi curiously. Although the appearance is the same, but Kuina reveals the edge like a sword, and Tashigi is weak. Advertisement Tashigi looked at Kuina, but Kuina did not look at her. The concubine will open an academy in the Air Force to train new empires and only recruit women. There will be a selection every year, and those who are qualified will continue to stay, and those who are not qualified will withdraw. Kagaya went straight to the subject's opening. After cultivating Hinata, Hanabi, Robin, she suddenly felt that she could not waste her teacher skills and should train more. Screened every year, and Kagaya will personally train those who stand out from the academy. Pretty big sister, I have a problem. With new Okigao's worry, little Nami raised her little hand and asked. Kagaya looked at it and chuckled, let's talk. For Nami, Kagaya was still impressed, the problem baby among the people she brought back. Little Nami curiously asked, if you become a talent, which department do you want to go to? The concubine does not force you to join the Air Force, the Academy of Sciences, the Senate, the medical school, etc. As long as you have sufficient abilities, you can go. Speaking of this, Kagaya also asked a question. Do you have a dream to be a commoner? Now you can say it, and the concubine will send you back. The girls shook their heads. Maybe there was before, but if there is a chance, who can refuse to become better? Then, the concubine announced. Imperial Air Force, Blue Knight Academy was established. The concubine is the principal, Robin is the vice principal. Kagaya said cheerfully, and looked at Robin who was not far away translating the historical text of the road signs. How about it, isn't it a good name? Very good, perfect. Robin chuckled in reply. Your Majesty's name plus Sister Kaguya's name is a dream. Otsutsuki Kagaya. At this moment, a voice rang out in the hall, which made Kagaya smile suddenly, and immediately stood up and said, Your Majesty? His Majesty. The women were startled. Then a figure appeared on Hancock's throne. His Majesty. Hancock lost his senses the moment Lan Yu appeared. Welcome to His Majesty the Holy Emperor. Robin got up to pray and set an example to a group of girls behind. Welcome to His Majesty the Holy Emperor. Dozens of girls worshipped together. Lan Yu was calm and looked at Kagaya. You are good at picking people, is this what you said? Yes, not bad, right. Kagaya didn't see the surprise flashing in Lan Yu's eyes, and said with a sigh of relief. Immediately, Kagaya raised Garrett in his arms and said happily, Your Majesty, she is a bunny, cute, right? Kagaya said, and took out the radish to Garrett. Garrett liked it very much. I know you like rabbits. Lan Yu didn't know what to say. Lan Yu agreed with Kagaya's establishment of the college, but Kagaya chose these people. They are all original characters. This is a miracle among miracles. Sister, we are so happy to see Your Majesty. Shish, don't talk, sugar. As Monet said, he also secretly looked at the sugar. 25 Loli, Chi-Chi secretly watched, this is the Lord of the Empire. If people under 18 are regarded as lowly, there are 7 women from Qinghai realm, 25 lowly. Lan Yu convinced. Keigaya's so-called eye margin has risen to a point more magical than the golden eye. Lan Yu knows all these girls. Sure, Keigaya hasn't seen one piece. Just raised a batch of lowly, and another batch comes. However, these people are likely to go down a batch, because Lan Yu's strictness on Keigaya will make Keigaya very strict. Not every girl. All will fall. When you take them out for a while, bring Shirahoshi with you. Lan Yu looked at Hancock, and the words pulled her back from the fantasy. Shirahoshi. Hancock was surprised, and looked back at the cute Shirahoshi, a little puzzled. Your Majesty, is she still young? Shirahoshi now. Belonging to a group pet cute thing. Cute things, of course, have no strength. Shirahoshi. Lan Yu recruited 4-year-old Shirahoshi. What's the matter, Your Majesty? Shirahoshi blinked cutely, and his blue eyes looked at Lan Yu curiously. Is it Zhao? I will unlock a power for you, you want to try to control it, understand? Lan Yu wouldn't treat Shirahoshi as an ordinary 4-year-old girl, so she should get rid of her weak temperament earlier and be weak in front of him. Yeah, Shirahoshi knows, Your Majesty. Shirahoshi nodded vigorously, and saw a light from Lan Yu's fingertips falling on her. It was Lan Yu's simulation and development that allowed Shirahoshi to unlock the power of Poseidon without any harm or side effects. Buzz. In the surprise of everyone. Shirahoshi, who was transformed into the size of an ordinary little girl by Lan Yu, returned to his original height of 5 or 6 meters in a blink of an eye. 4 years old Shirahoshi is the highest present. And a faint glow of fluorescence appeared on his body, making Shirahoshi extremely holy. Your Majesty, Shirahoshi heard the voices of many friends. Shirahoshi said happily. She heard the exclamation of many super giant sea kings. Wang, our king is awakened. Ha ha ha. Wang finally appeared to help Wang Hexi and eat a few islands. The others didn't hear it. Lan Yu heard it too, and asked, can you control it? Shirahoshi closed his eyes, then opened his head and nodded. Your Majesty, they all listened to Shirahoshi's words. Shirahoshi is very relaxed. That is, no physical strength is consumed. Lan Yu admired the power of Poseidon and looked at Hancock and said, go now and take Shirahoshi to New World Nolanus Island. Let her take the initiative to destroy the anti-imperial alliance formed by the pirates, you make up for it. Yes, Your Majesty is negative. Chapter 118. Silver Axe Okoku Anti-Imperial Pirate Alliance, Akatsuki joins. Advertisement. Has it been translated? As Hancock left with Shirahoshi, Gion, Monet and other 11 girls, they marched into the New World. Lan Yu glanced at the dozens of nervous peeping girls lowly who were there, and then looked at Robin. Not far from her side. It is the historical text of the 4 road signs. The translation is finished. Robin translated the points recorded in the historical text of each road sign, and then smiled lightly. Next, follow the map and connect these 4 points, then the center is where Raftel is. Raftel, not to mention Yuna, even the 8-year-old Nami, 4-year-old Rebecca and other children all raised their heads. The era of the great pirates may end when the empire comes. But, the ultimate island Raftel, people, marines, pirates, royal family, revolutionary army, etc. want to take a look. What's on it? Everyone wants to know. Leave it to your concubine. Keigaya was obviously interested, and he walked over with Garrett, took out his mobile phone and tapped it, and a world map projection appeared. Wait a minute, let my concubine take a look. Facing the location that Robin translated, Keigaya looked for it on the map, and quickly found 2 points and connected them directly. Nami, what are you going to do? Seeing little Nami suddenly get up, Kaya and Nokigao beside them can't help but become nervous. Your Majesty is still there, silly girl. Sorry, I can't help it. Little Nami's little face flushed, and he waved his hands again and again. I don't know why, I saw the map, so I wanted to go over and take a look. I didn't mean it. Everyone is different, real or fake, then go over and take a look. Lan Yu didn't care about anything, it could only be said that it was due to the talent of the young Nami. I am naturally sensitive to things like island maps. 447 inches really. Little Nami was overjoyed and immediately smiled happily. Your Majesty, you are so kind, then I will pass, just a little bit. Many lowly were stunned. Little Nami was too courageous, and made faces at Your Majesty. This little girl is more courageous than I was when I was a child, Nami. Robin also changed a bit, she also dared to be playful to Lan Yu once in a while after staying in the Empire for a few years. Robin, who just joined the Empire, was 8 years old. Today's little Nami is also 8 years old. It seems to be a reincarnation. Hello, 2 beautiful sisters, I just watched them and wouldn't make a sound. Little Nami walked over to Robin and Keigaya, smiled and nodded, then stood quietly and watched with his eyes rolling. Growing up as another Kushina. Looking at the little Nami with his eyes rolling, Lan Yu gave an evaluation in his heart. As if Kushina is the eldest sister of Ninja Loli. Little Nami is probably the eldest sister of Loli from Qinghai. Found it, that's it. When Keigaya connected the 4 lines, the center point appeared. It turned out to be here. There are some things Lan Yu will not observe the future, such as Raftel, there must be some sense of expectation. This location is a bit surprising, and it makes people suddenly realize. Robin looked at Lan Yu and said, Your Majesty, what do you do next? Your previous proposal is very good. Lan Yu agreed with Secretary Robin's proposal, and looked at the curious Loli, and said slowly, Kagaya, take them to Raftel, and satisfy your curiosity. After the transfer, follow Robin's proposal. If the pirates know that they may be angry, they have worked so hard to find the final island, but Lan Yu casually gives it to the little girls to play as a playground. Please respect Raftel. Yeah, my concubine knows it. Kagaya chuckled and nodded. That is to let her take the newly joined lowly sisters to adventure. She likes this task. Children, fall, new world. All the islands are in chaos, and it is the last chaos. The three armies of the Empire and the sacred troops are responsible for the four large areas of the New World area, powerfully destroying the pirate groups and taking down the Kingdom Islands. Perhaps there are islands that slow down the process. But absolutely no island can stop the advancement of the Empire, and no one can escape the New World that is completely blocked by the law of the Spirit World. All generals, this is the headquarters. The generals of the four armies who are fighting in New World have received messages from Lingxi from the headquarters one after another. Obito froze for a moment. You still have to command to attack New World. Please assign a part of the troops to New World Nolanus Island to completely clean up the anti-imperial alliance, where 80% of the New World pirates gather. Nara Luju of the command center sent out the Lingxi communication again. At this time everyone understood. Once cleaned up, the rest is simple and clear, which can also increase efficiency. Actually, getting together, it's okay to run around the province. All local armies made arrangements immediately. Father, many people have lost contact. On the Moby DK, Marco's expression was extremely solemn, and he was also a little angry. There are a few more, who didn't listen to the old man's words, and all ran to Nolanus Island. 10 years later, the original trajectory is at the top of the war period. The Whitebeard Pirates has 1,600 people, divided into 16 teams. This is the main ship team. However, there are 43 New World affiliated pirate groups under its umbrella. Advertisement. But now, after Kazuki Oden was poached by Roger, the captain of the 2nd Division has been empty. There are currently 15 captains and 28 pirate regiments. These days Whitebeard has been convening the pirate regiment, but for various complicated reasons, apart from the captain, only 10 pirate regiments have been summoned. Blue Brew. At this moment, the telephone number rang. As soon as Marco was connected, there was a loud shout. Newgate, are you coming? You speak kindly to the old man. Marco snorted coldly and handed the phone worm to Whitebeard. Goo la la la, long time no see Silver Axe, is Akoku by your side? Although Whitebeard is smiling, his voice is cold, and he has no feelings for Silver Axe and Akoku. Although everyone was once a member of Rock's Pirate, they didn't have much friendship and even disliked each other AHF. Since the disbanding of Rock's Pirate, Whitebeard has only seen Golden Lion, Kaido, and Charlotte Linlin's former companions. As for Silver Axe and Akoku, I am ambitious and negligent in my cultivation, so I can only get together to fight for the position of the 4th Overlord. The two also severed the hope of many new generation pirates and messed up New World. If there is no empire, after 6 years, Silver Axe Akoku will be defeated by the completely rising red hair pirates and become a new generation of overlord, titled 4 emperors. Unfortunately, there is no if. Stop talking nonsense. Newgate, I will ask you again, will you come to Noranas? Akoku and I have gathered a lot of great pirates. Not to mention defeating the empire, at least we can catch a few people and negotiate with the empire. Leaving New World. The phone rang the proud voice of Silver Axe. Goo la la la, you are getting more and more arrogant, Silver Axe, and more idiot. Whitebeard's voice became more and more indifferent. With your stinky fish and shrimps, let lousy sons go to death. Go away. Whitebeard directly crushed the phone worm. The Moby DK was silent. On Nolanus Island, all the big pirates stared straight. What a great opportunity. This is their last chance. Whitebeard still does his own way. Damn it, he dared to look down on me. Silver Axe smashed the ground with an angry axe, and shouted, we smelly fish and shrimp. Believe it or not, Lousy led someone to destroy you, the Whitebeard pirate group. Ahem. Akoku on the side coughed lightly and signaled Silver Axe to calm down. There were several captains of the pirate group under the Whitebeard group. Although these captains did not gather, but joined the anti-imperial alliance, they still respected Whitebeard in their hearts. Why didn't he come? After Silver Axe calmed down, he didn't understand Whitebeard's thoughts at all. The Empire is about to kill all the pirates, shouldn't it unite and resist? New World is not comparable to the garbage in the first half of the world. As long as we are united, we will not be afraid of anyone. This is what Silver Axe can say to other big pirates, and it is unanimously approved by them. So choose the alliance. There are hundreds of thousands of people who are eligible to enter the hall, and they are all big bosses who rush to the world. If the plan is successful, his son will die a lot. If the plan is not successful, his son will die even more. Akoku said calmly. He is still the same, he regards his son's life more importantly than himself. The plan is to block the Empire together and grab a few important people to negotiate. Direct enemy to the Empire. Hearing that, Silver Axe dismissed it with a smile. He really thought he was invincible, so he only supported him and his sons would only die more. He doesn't deserve to be a pirate at all. Akoku nodded silently and said, perhaps he thought that it would be a day for his sons to live an extra day, otherwise I can't think of the reason for his refusal. And, boom. At this time, the entire Nolanus Island shook, awakening everyone. Guarding the door was a pirate offering a reward of more than 200 million, and immediately ran in and shouted. My lords, something bad happened. Suddenly a lot of Imperial ships flew up from the sky. What? So fast? Silver Axe, Hōgyoku and others were shocked and rushed out one after another. When it comes out, everyone was surprised. The whole island is brought by various big pirates, and the island is no less than the previous pirate ship, densely packed. But so many people. When I looked to the sky, I was still terrified. Empire flying aircraft carrier, and many floating sky island. There is also a white cloud dragging many girls, hovering in the sky one after another. It's you. Silver Axe tried his best to look and feel, and saw a lot of familiar people and old friends. Golden Lion, Rayleigh, Barrack, Ryder, Kizaru, Mihawk, Dover, Tezzolo, Smile, Hancock, even Enel of the Academy of Sciences, Lucci also came to solve these anti-Imperial Alliance pirates. Several well-known top powerhouses have made many pirates' heart palpitations. But there are people on other flying aircraft carriers. Obito, Ghost Zhao, Nagato, Sasori, Yahiko, Tien, Sasuke, Deidara, Hidan, and Conan. Is it another coincidence? Perhaps the military felt that this arrangement was nothing, but Lan Yu who was watching over looked very strange. Part of the strong in Qinghai. The rest comes. Akatsuki participates. Chapter 119. Kagaya destroys Raftel Island. There is no one piece in the world. Advertisement. The whole island fell silent. Anyone who suddenly sees Shiki, Ryder, etc., and Conan, Gui Zhao, etc., will have to short-circuit their thinking. There are too many strong people coming from the Empire. Oh, so many big pirates, you are really terrible. Kizaru said with an exaggerated expression. This is the truth. There are too many big pirates on the island. If he is alone, he must turn around and leave. The large pirates gathered here cover the entire island, you can imagine how many there are. Gather 80% of the big pirates in New World. The reward is less than 500 million. Are embarrassed to lean in. Silver Axe. The Anti-Imperial Alliance, we are serious, not the kind of playhouse of the world. Lack ha ha ha. Long time no see. Silver Axe, Hōgyoku, don't you know the rules of the Empire? Golden Lion hugged his arms in the air, spitting out smoke rings, feeling a little in his heart. Decades in a blink of an eye. You rubbish are old. And my Golden Lion is still small fresh meat. Surrender. You will live. If you don't, you will die. Very calm Hōgyoku slowly said the rules of the Empire, and his voice became cold again. I know, if you actively surrender, you may have the possibility of surviving, just like your Mad Lion. And forming an alliance to resist the Empire, there is no way out. Think about it now, maybe Whitebeard thinks the same way. In order to keep his son alive, he is reluctant to join the League. Hōgyoku's mouth. Many big pirates are in love. Surrender is possible. Why didn't you say it earlier? Just when many big pirates were angry, Hōgyoku's shout came again. But Laozi is a big pirate. The real big pirate, burns, kills, plunders, lives and destroys the country, is insidious and cunning, cold-blooded, cruel, all evil, despicable and inferior. This is the pirate. This is. Hōgyoku exuded a bloodthirsty breath, and said with extreme disdain. Lions like you who go to jail for Roger, idiots like Whitebeard who are willing to do everything for their sons, and lunatics like Kaido who say that people should pay attention to tolerance. Quote. Pirate, are you worthy? Holy Empire. Tenten is a great country for the so-called civilians. Am I, a big pirate who is inexhaustible, eligible to join? No. The audience was silent again. Shiki, Rayleigh, Ryder and others of Hōgyoku Shinobu were speechless. This guy is so eloquent. And very self-aware. Knowing that I don't deserve it, so I don't join, so I resisted. Lively and plainly, I think what he said makes sense. Kisame touched his chin and grinned. The word thief should be a bad person. If it is not bad enough, be a pirate. Everyone was speechless. The way you smile is really good or bad. Yes, Laozi is a big pirate. After recovering, Silver Axe did it again, shouting. They are more powerful, we are more powerful, so calm down. Hear what Silver Axe said. Hōgyoku also shouted loudly. Remember, follow the plan. The specific plan. The main powers of the empire will be dragged by the powerful big pirates, and then the remaining big pirates will besiege individual emperors. Don't beg to kill. That's too hard to waste time. Just begging to catch. As long as we seize an empire powerhouse with status, then the anti-imperial alliance will have the initiative. Ow 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 ow. For a time, the big pirates shouted proudly, with a magnificent aura. Boom boom boom. Conquerors erupted. Then, 1 stalk, 10 stalks, and hundreds of conquerors broke out. For a time, the entire island, various conquerors rippling and whistling, such as a monstrous tsunami swept across, as if to crush the entire island. Doo-doo-doo. This scene, the number is really exaggerated. Doflamingo wiped the cold sweat subconsciously. This was definitely the most chaotic time he had ever seen conquerors. Conquerors is like crossing the river in New World. And these Crucian carp that crossed the river, 8 cities gathered here, the scene was shocking. Boom. Black and red lightning raged everywhere, and the buildings and land on the island were tearing apart. The whole island presents a doomsday scene. Ah, ridiculous aura. He said coldly. Like the last meal before death, this is also their last madness. Whether it is a smile waiting for people in Qinghai. It's still a group of Akatsuki organization. At the moment, I didn't do anything. Because they received the Link C communication from the headquarters at the same time. Sorry, The command headquarters does not know that your majesty sent a strategic level force to do the test, so you may make a trip for nothing. What's the meaning? Hearing the communication from the headquarter Naruto's soul, everyone is different. Strategic strength test. Everyone looked around. Conan set his gaze on a white cloud. By the way, Hancock, why are you here? Sister Kagaya sent her concubine to bring them here, and the Empire will take down New World together. During the words, Hancock pointed to Shirahoshi, who was cute and blinking on the white cloud. Your Majesty also specially asked the concubine to bring Shirahoshi over to test her abilities. Hello, sir. Being watched by so many people, Shirahoshi blushed and spoke politely. Your power is awakened. Conan was a little surprised. She still knew her identity very well. But is it too young? I thought it was an exaggeration that Hinata swept the captains at the age of 8. But it is understandable. After all, Kagaya's life of helping to hang up does not need to be explained. But Shirahoshi, 4 years old, may not even dare to kill a small ant, a little timid. Yeah, Shirahoshi is very good now, Sister Conan. Shirahoshi plucked up the courage to squeeze his fists and waved downwards. Shirahoshi heard what they said, they are all bad guys. What a cute little girl. Everyone looks weird, can she do it? Obito couldn't help saying. Even though Shirahoshi can control his own abilities, it will take time. This time is enough for us to kill a batch. Everyone's forehead. Just when they were about to do it, there was another newsletter from Narashikahisa. Everyone, there is a live broadcast linking all over the world. Before the anti-imperial pirate alliance is destroyed, let them be completely crazy. What does it mean again? Everyone is not in a hurry anymore. Hancock looked at Shirahoshi and said, you should prepare first, and be fully prepared. Yeah, Sister Hancock. Shirahoshi lighted his head, put his hands together, and closed his eyes. Advertisement. At the next moment, a video screen came from everyone's Link C communication. I see. Nagato glanced, then nodded towards Sasuke. Huh, feel desperate. Sasuke took out a projection device from the flying aircraft carrier, and projected the image on the sky with the help of Link C. What are you doing? The popularity of Silver Axe has stagnated. But when they looked towards the sky and projected a word from it, the world is silent. Where there are video phone worms all over the world, signals are received. The Imperial Army temporarily ceased war to watch the theater. All over the world, Grand Line. Countless people connected to the signal and saw the picture one after another. And heard a word that shocked the world. As you can see. The ultimate island, Raftel. What? Whether they joined the Empire or did not join the Empire, they were all surprised by this sentence. Countless people looked carefully. This is an aerial view. It is a continuous and magnificent building, but it is extremely dilapidated and decayed for hundreds of years. From all corners, we can vaguely see the former prosperous and magnificent. And on a square, there stood a huge red stone stele full of incomprehensible words. The stone stele was surrounded by dry bones and swords. When the camera moved to another part of the island, countless people were stunned. 0. Look for flowers. Hi, what is that? Oh my god, what a big tree, it's all devil fruit. I'm going crazy, so many golden mountains. In the perspective of countless people. The islands are covered with gold, jewels and famous knives, and there is a big tree with no top, and devil fruit swaying on it. This scene makes countless people crazy. It was confirmed immediately. This is Raftel, absolutely. Rayleigh couldn't help but stare. Is this Raftel? You sure? As everyone knows, the video in Qinghai world cannot be P, so it is true. And on the island, Robin took the little Nami and chuckled softly. It's too deserted, my concubine is disappointed. Kagaya's crimson eyes were full of disappointment. She took Sister Loli to Raftel where the 4 pieces of road signs crossed the history text to explore the secrets. But there is nothing on it except for the remains of the Great Kingdom and the inscription. Barren, empty, and dead. If this is Raftel, who would believe it? What Jinshan treasure? What devil fruit? None on the island. But this is indeed Raftel. 0. How can people believe that this is? After all, in the subjective consciousness of countless people, Raftel is full of treasures. I'm the Dean of the Imperial Academy of Sciences, but I was arrested. This is not my major. Orochimaru hid in the corner and wiped his tears secretly. Fortunately, Orochimaru can create fantasy, so fantasy creates a large piece of Jinshan jewelry. Also radiate thinking, created a tree of devil fruit. Although it is false on the inside, it is real on the outside. Watching the live broadcast, I really can't tell. Just let everyone know from the bottom of their hearts that this is Raftel. And this is indeed Raftel. Kagaya still knows how to play, but it doesn't make much sense. I only look at the results. Lan Yu whispered. Buzz. The camera turns. Coming to the remains of the huge kingdom again, it made countless people crazy. They want to see Jinshan fruit, but don't want to see the stone monuments of abandoned buildings. As you can see, the Empire has found Raftel. Kagaya entered the mirror and smiled slightly. But this laugh made countless people feel a bad feeling. Countless people went to sea for Raftel, lost their minds and became pirates, making the world more and more morbid. So, Kagaya transferred the people on the island into a different space and slowly flew up. The camera moves with Kagaya. Raftel's full picture was revealed, making countless people's eyes eager to look greedily. Marshal of the Holy Empire Air Force. My name Otsutsuki Kagaya. With countless people yelling don't want it, a small black ball appeared in Kagaya's hand, and his voice was clear. Destroy Raftel today. There is no one piece in the world. Miniature expansion truth-seeking ball. With the bulge, the truth-seeking ball fell. The moment I touched the island, it suddenly zoomed in more than tens of thousands of times, and a touch of ultimate black covered the entire Raftel. Boom. In an instant, space is annihilated, everything is nothing. Raftel collapsed completely. Destroy the dreams of countless people and cut off everyone's yearning for Raftel. Ah, no mention of other places. Most of the pirates of the anti-imperial pirate alliance on Norlannis are crazy. Kagaya strongly destroyed their dreams, cut off their hope. There is a good saying about the heavens and the earth. If you want to destroy it first, you must first make it crazy. Conan slowly drew the Link Sea Saber. Kill. Chapter 120. The Despair of the Pirate Alliance, Poseidon Shirahoshi, Horror. Advertisement. Boom, boom, boom. When the live broadcast of Kagaya's destruction of Raftel was closed, the pirates of the anti-imperial alliance went crazy. Conquerors let it go. When he caught an imperial man, he attacked frantically and was bloodthirsty. Boom. Under the outbreak of so many big pirates. This huge island presents large-scale cracks, and ordinary people can't stand for a second here. Forbidden ha ha ha, if you have been a companion once anyway, let me end it. The golden lion flew down directly, holding knives in both hands, and looked at Silver Axe. There are fewer than 10 fingers alive who once belonged to Rock's pirate. Some people are still running across the sea. Some people have already retired. Damn, dare to destroy Raftel, you all deserve to die. Silver Axe was full of evil spirits, and he took up a huge axe and launched a violent slash. The ultimate island was also my obsession, but it's all gone. Golden Lion murmured, his eyes sharpened. There is no ship capable of carrying pirates in this era. Slash wave. Boom. Boom. There was a roar everywhere. He's mine. Barrack burst out with an excited look in his eyes, and rushed directly towards Akoku. The remnants of the old age, die. The terror of the armed forces turned into a tsunami, and Barrack directly knocked Akoku into flight like a bullet. Puff. Cough. This guy. One corner knows the whole picture. 450. Akoku suddenly feels that he is not an opponent. Ha 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 ha. Let's go together. After hitting Akoku, Barrack's fighting desire reached the apex, Ghost and Haki raged, and went directly into the devil's form. One person surrounded dozens of big pirates. This lunatic. Seeing Barracks armed, electrical, and conquerors spreading across the island, Rayleigh couldn't help feeling. Fighting is crazy. Pluden cut. The blood moon is coming. Bakichong Guyu. Gravity Knife Tiger. Rayleigh, Ryder, Kazaru, Yishao, Mahawk, Dover, Tezzolo and others all launched critical attacks on the giant island. Kamui, Ocean Current, Mechanical Torrent, everything goes through. Another area is the slaughterhouse belonging to the Akatsuki organization. Obito, Guijao, Sasori, Nagato, Yahiko, Rong, Sasuke, Deidara, Hidan and others are merciless. The brilliance flickered everywhere and it was extremely dangerous. And the final battlefield area. The world reconciles. In order to avoid accidents, Conan came to Hancock and the others. Poison Arrow, Snowstorm, Momosugi Cuts, Turn Me Into a Toy. Miao, Monet, Gion, Yamato, Kuina, etc. attacked fiercely, while Bonnie, Baby5, Kanis, Khalifa, etc. attacked dexterously. The most impressive thing is Sugar. After these 7 years, the 10-year-old little loli still ate the fruit of childishness, and his body was frozen. A big pirate in a flash. With the help of Fei Lian's feet, the granulated sugar moved quickly, and in a flash, it turned into a toy when it met a pirate. Armed defense. The rain broke when I looked at my spiritual power. In this world, only armed colors can block the childlike fruit power of Sugar, but under the guidance of Hinata, Sugar developed Sugar, a spiritual power that breaks the armed colors. As long as the armed color is not too strong, the granulated sugar can be broken open, and then the childlike fruit is activated to eliminate everything. Boom 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 boom. The scene was chaotic. Fortunately, this is a giant island, much larger than those village islands, large, medium and small islands, otherwise it will be broken directly. Ah, there were crazy shouts and painful roars of pirates everywhere. Silver Axe and Akoku. One of the most accomplished things in this life is to gather 80% of the great pirates of New World here. Both can bury them. It also saved a lot of time for the Empire. It's still too much, this can't be killed for a few days and nights. Obito was astonished as he attacked, and suddenly realized that he had looked down upon the big pirate in New World too much. One by one, the vitality is not enough. It is simply not comparable to the pirates of the paradise in the first half of the Four Seas. Half an hour passed. There is a reward for all the deaths below 500 million, and the rest are still in madness even if they have broken hands and feet, which is too crazy. Everyone, sir, Shirahoshi is ready, please leave to avoid accidental injury. At this moment, in the extreme chaos, Shirahoshi on the sky-white cloud held his little hand and whispered softly. Very quiet. But Ryder, Nagato and others also heard it, and then they let go one by one. The Empire pays attention to efficiency. Since Your Majesty has sent Shirahoshi as a strategic force, they don't need to spend time fighting. The three ancient weapon, Poseidon is right in front of you, which is really exciting. Dover, Deidara and others looked at Shirahoshi curiously. To be honest, dignified Poseidon is such a cute mermaid, which shocked everyone. Are you Pluton a ship? Leave the group. Damn it, don't look down on people. Seeing everyone withdrawing the flying aircraft carrier, Silver Axe and Hōgyoku subconsciously thought that everyone disdained to kill them, and immediately one by one, they walked above the sky similar to moonwalk. Roll. Conan raised his eyes slightly. The terrifying Reiatsu erupted in an instant, and the pirates who felt Reiatsu for the first time fell in the sky. Everyone, you are misunderstood. Perceiving everyone staring at Shirahoshi, he smiled slowly and said, at the bottom of the sea. Boom. At this time, the giant island became a sensation. As if a terrifying beast was hitting, the pirates were shocked. Earthquake. Huh, why is there so much breath of sea kings around? Guru. Look. Sin. Advertisement. When the pirates around the coast looked towards the sea, their scalp numb. The endless blue ocean, at this moment, turned into a variety of sea king's colors with no end in sight. Dense. Countless. Wow. In the next moment, the sea churned. When the sea kings jumped out of the sea, Mihawk, Hidan and others also lost their voices. All giant sea kings. Sea kings caught everyone's eyes. No one is less than 1,000, like mountains gushing out on the bottom of the sea, opening their fangs one after another. Those sea kings' eyes with strange excitement and cruelty are enough to make everyone's scalp numb. As your majesty said, sea kings are the real masters of the sea. Conan murmured. Get everyone's approval. Perhaps one or more than a dozen giant sea kings are nothing, and the strong ones present can kill them. But there are more than tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of giant sea kings. Can overturn countless islands, and no ship can be intact. Unless you run into the sky, no matter how strong you are, you will have to be worn to death. This is impossible. Silver Axe Hōgyoku and others who rushed to the coast erupted in unbelievable exclamation. This is not calm belt. Even the calm belt should not have such dense giant sea kings. Roar, roar, roar. The next moment, a roar of beasts resounding across the ocean, the earth and even the sky made the pirates completely dumbfounded. Super. Giant sea kings. Countless giant sea kings stepped aside, and thousands of huge and terrifying giant sea kings appeared around the island. No one is less than 5 kilometers. There are hundreds of horrible sea kings no smaller than 10,000 meters, constantly refreshing everyone's understanding of the size of sea kings. Look there, Zero. Hancock was surprised, and everyone saw an extremely surprising scene. There are 4, and only one head is shown, a behemoth no smaller than the other super giant sea kings. What is this? Ultimate sea kings. The most surprising thing is that this sea king wears a huge crown on his head, and his eyes are full of wisdom. Wong, I have kept you waiting. One of the snake-like horrors, sea kings, spoke loudly, sounding like thunder. Roar. Countless sea kings are also neighing, can hear the excitement and admiration in the voice. Sea kings, speak. This scene refreshed the cognition of the pirates again. Well known. The wisdom of the super giant sea kings is not worse than that of human beings. But it has nothing to do with talking. You, hello. Shirahoshi on the white cloud was blushing, not knowing whether it was shy or agitated, and waved. Woohahaha, have you seen it? Our king waved to us, what a moment of excitement for the beast. We waited for 800 years. Snake-like horror sea kings cried and laughed and roared, then shouted. Snake King, Apollo. As the Snake King drank, the remaining 3 sea kings with crowns spoke one after another. Only shaped like a whale, one shaped like a mosasaur from the dinosaur period, and one like a tortoise. Song King, Hades, Dragon King, Ares, Devil, Lucifer. After the 4 kings of the deep sea shouted, they looked up at Shirahoshi on the white cloud and shouted together. See the great His Royal Highness Poseidon. Ho 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 ho. As the 4 kings bowed their heads, the shadows of the entire sea were short. They are the kings of the deep sea. And Shirahoshi is the king of all sea kings. The whole island was silent. This extremely exaggerated scene made all the pirates stare, and their hearts were desperate. Puff cough cough. As if he had been eaten, Huang Yuan's expression was extremely weird. These 4 kings, well, good names. If I remember correctly, in the heavens of the empire, there seems to be a god with the same name and surname as the 4 kings of the deep sea. It's strange to say, where did Charlotte Linlin's Zeus and Homits get their name? Kizaru felt crooked for a while. Woo, I cried, how about you? Deidara kept wiping tears, and the crying was heartbroken. I cried too. Hidan 5.9 also has red eyes. Everyone has a black line. Isn't it that Shirahoshi is only 4 years old, and he has gained countless little brothers without doing anything? Is there anything to be envious and jealous? Kill them. Bearing Lan Yu's words in mind, Shirahoshi calmed down and spoke with a kingly demeanor. Roar. The 4 kings and the rest of the sea kings didn't talk nonsense, and slammed into the island one after another. Boom. Led by the terrifying 4 kings, Ryder and others looked sideways. The entire giant island, like tofu, it was smashed into pieces in an instant, and I don't know how many pirates blood-stained the sea. Wow, wow, the sea keeps tumbling. Countless sea kings scrambled towards the broken island area and swallowed them in a terrifying scene. The big pirates can only struggle in despair under countless horrible sea kings, and those with the ability are dead on the spot. What conquerors! What an armed color! All were crushed under successive attacks. Show what is the horrible power of quantitative change that causes qualitative change. It's scary, it's really scary. Kizaru was not joking this time. He felt the horror of sea kings for the first time, and even the horror of his own star. Poseidon Shirahoshi. Horrible, huh? Also at this time, there was a sound. Chapter 121. The Gift of the King of Celestial Dragons, Yim admires flowers, moon and butterflies. Advertisement. Huh. With the roar of the elephant, it shook the sky. Countless sea kings have not been affected in any way, following the will of His Royal Highness Poseidon, continue to kill the pirates. But it caused Kizaru, Conan and others to look at it. A super giant sea kings again. Looking at the terrifying size of the four kings of the deep sea, Hancock couldn't help but looked forward in surprise. A huge shadow can be seen from far away, almost obscure the sky. No, that's not sea kings, Sister Hancock. Little Shirahoshi's eyes flickered and spoke. That is Lord Hashirama's mount, an elephant that has lived for thousands of years. Conan explained. Shirahoshi's eyes lit up, and he said crisply, thousands of years. Snake King, they are also about this age, maybe they all know each other, Sister Conan. Maybe, Conan said, looking strange. Ryder, Obito and others were also eyelids jumping wildly, and didn't know what to say for a while. Lord Hashirama, it's not time to come. Just ask. Can you make it? Now, on the head of the elephant dozens of miles away from the crowd, Jiraiya regretted it. Master Hashirama, like the Master Card owner, there is no way to move forward. Jiraiya turned his head and looked towards Hashirama, who was constantly playing with wooden houses on the elephant's back. Wait, Hashirama slapped it casually. Wood-style luxury villa group technique. Rumbling. Pieces of trees rose out of thin air, and amidst the roar, clusters of wooden villas appeared on the back of the elephant. Nailed it. Hashirama turned around with satisfaction, and said with a silly smile, my Mount 07 is riding on my back to build a villa. You are envious and jealous, ha ha ha. By the way, what did you just say? Hashirama jumped over, took out a glass of juice from Nuring Ring and drank happily. The following are all huge sea kings, like the Lord who can't walk. Jiraiya looked down and exclaimed, countless giant and super giant sea kings churning, this kind of scene is too spectacular. Wow, that's amazing. Hashirama glanced at him and exclaimed, and said in surprise, look, those sea kings are all the size of the elephant lord, and they have crowns on their heads. It's amazing. Snake King, Whale King, etc. Even if it is far away, its huge outline can be seen. Then are we still there? Jiraiya looked out at the sea and opened her mouth. You can't let the elephant jump over, or kick sea kings away, it will definitely be besieged. No need. Hashirama looked at and felt it for a while, understood the reason, and chuckled lightly, the little girl now is really getting better and better. He arrived in advance of the news that the anti-imperial pirate alliance was here. Thinking of looking at the strength of the elephant master. But now, it's obviously late. Little elephant, take a detour to the southeast. Wow, the elephant master yelled and let out a sigh of relief. Facing the numerous giant and super giant sea kings ahead, it was also terrified. Soon, the lord left. Master Hashirama is gone. Kizaru was shocked, and said with a pity, I still want to say hello. Ban, Kagaya, have all met. Only the legendary empire, god of gambling, has only circulated in legends, it is rare to see. God of gamblers, what a lofty title, admirable. A smile was full of emotion. Everyone has a black line. One thinks about the set clothes, the other thinks about betting 2 games, you are really enough. Shiki. The last cry of Silver Axe came from the sea. Puff, bury us in the valley of gods, Shiki. Akoku was extremely weak, and as soon as the words fell, he was torn to pieces by the sea kings. Conquerors is not effective against supergiant sea kings, especially the 4 kings of the deep sea. The terrifying heavy blows from all directions repeatedly shattered the armed colors of all the great pirates. All big pirates. Hard to struggle in the sea. In just 10 minutes, it all went out. It is sighing that sea kings are united, it's really nobody's business. Good. Golden Lion glanced at Shirahoshi. Shirahoshi immediately nodded and waved his hand. Snake King, stop, you have worked hard. It is our duty to work for His Royal Highness Poseidon. The 4 kings of the deep sea smiled brilliantly, and their faces were full of humane excitement. Be safe on the way home, and I will talk to you later. Little Shirahoshi is also smiling happily. Goodbye, Your Highness Poseidon. The 4 kings of the deep sea once again bowed humanely and left with countless arrogant sea kings. Perfect kid. Deidara and Hidan are more envious, they also want such little brothers. Lion Majesty Imperial Palace Sea Roll. Shiki flew down, touched the surface of the sea with his hand, and directly lifted the water up. Perceive and probe carefully. Only then did the remains of Silver Axe and Akoku be found and put into the Naling Ring. Silver Axe, Akoku. Farewell. Shiki is always easy to sigh when he is old, and Shiki, who has no feelings for the 2 former companions, only found out when the 2 died. There are fewer and fewer contemporaries. Valley of Gods. Thinking of the 2's last request, Shiki was puzzled. Captain, the Valley of Gods disappeared a long time ago, is it still in the same place now? Your Majesty has not restored the Valley of Gods, and will do so when Celestial Dragons is publicly executed. Conan said casually, and then looked towards the sea. Everyone will check again and continue to make up the knife if they are not dead. You can't let anyone go. The old rules of the Empire. Only when the soul is destroyed is dead. A certain sea area in New World. In the deep sea. There is a dreamy island like the Fishmen Island. Under the island, there is also a giant made of metal. There are not many people on the island. Advertisement. There are only dozens of people. They are all luxuriously dressed men and women, obviously celestial dragons. They did not bring bubble grass, nor did they eat, drink and have fun, but were working hard to exercise. And in the room not far away. Hey, I wanted to recreate the flowers for Master Yim, but now. The long-beard five elders sighed. From his face, he can no longer see the calmness, and majesty he has cultivated over the years. Like a broken old man. Red line is dangerous. After all, it was completely exposed to the Empire. The four seas in the first half of the Grand Line are both imperial, and New World is completely blocked, and there is no place to rebuild Mariajoy. And this deep-sea island, it is a secret base that no one knows except for the Celestial Dragon's elite. It is also the only place to hide. Don't sigh. The bald five elders had sharp eyes, looking at a strange object in the room, which was shining. See, have you seen? Poseidon has appeared. It is very likely that the master is in the hands of the Empire. Luminous object. It is to test the power of the special Poseidon. The brighter the light, the more perfect the awakening. Get out and see me. At this time, a voice was purged. The bald head and the long beard were aroused, immediately stood up and nodded like a pug. Yes, sir. What are you doing? Looking at the bald head, he was about to run over. The long beard immediately grabbed him, and said very seriously. Go ahead. Don't go. Do you understand what roll is? Look at me. Talking. The long-bearded five elders shoveled to the ground, rolled twice, and threw their legs. Have you learned it? Bald. All right, you win. The bald head and the long beard rolled together, and rolled out of the room, rolling more and more vigorously. The celestial dragons elites who were cultivating outside were all sluggish. Oh my god. Celestial dragons top five elders, what are you doing? After a while, arrive. The two rolled into a garden. There are flowers and plants everywhere, and many sakura trees are in full bloom, and butterflies are flying here. Deepest. There is a magnificent throne like an inverted sword, surrounded by swords that have stained the years. There is also a tall and thin figure with its back to the common people, and its back to five elders. The moment I saw the back, the long beard and bald head stood up immediately, and then made a move that was enough to stun countless people. Lie on the ground, kneel down and worship. Master Yim. Five elders, come and see you. The long beard and bald head buried their heads deeply, but their eyes were full of fanaticism. It is like ordinary people seeing idols, mortals seeing gods, like cult worship, and can't wait to kneel for a lifetime. I am the king of celestial dragons, master of the void throne. World government dominates behind the scenes. These identities that are enough to shock the world are all gathered on Yim. I am, my lord, you have suffered. Looking at the garden, the long beard couldn't help but burst into tears, heartbroken. Lord Yim should have lived among the flowers in the deepest part of the holy place Mariajoy Pangu, overlooking all living beings. But 450 now. The home was destroyed twice, not to mention, now I live in the simple version of, between flowers. Even the void throne is fake. I'm so wronged, Lord I am. Softer and softer. I'm ignored the two and looked at the flying butterflies. In the hearts of two people. Yim walked towards the sakura flower tree, his long dress like a tailed wedding dress, dragging a mark on the grass. Master Yim. The bald head and the long beard inadvertently looked up, their eyes filled with wonder. Su su su. Lord Yim walked under the sakura flower tree, raised his finger and let the butterfly fly down, presenting a harmonious beauty. For example, the Fishman Island in the deep sea has Sun Tree Eve, which reflects the sunlight on the ground into the Fishman Island, bringing the blessings of the sun. There are similar trees on this island. It was the night, bringing in the moonlight from the ground. Now, I'm under the sakura flower tree. Enjoy the flowers and the moon and butterflies. Lan Yu. Obviously, if it's a man, it must be a female gun. Puff. When I'm turned around, he flashed two devil fruits. Eat it. Yes, Lord Yim. Long beard and bald head did not hesitate. As avid fans and loyal Tien dogs, even if they are asked to eat Shang Shang, they will not refuse. This is gift of the king of celestial dragons. The dead curly beard five elders are capable people, but the two of them are not. A specializing in physical skills, majoring in seeing, hearing and appearance. One specializes in swordsmanship, and specializes in armed color. There are more than 20 days left. Yim turned around again, teasing the butterfly, and looked up at Sakura Wadao, familiar with the next ability, prepare for the decisive battle. Get out. Didn't say much. Are too lazy to say anything. Yes, Lord Yim. The bald head and the long beard nodded again and again, then lay on the ground again and rolled. Soon he rolled out of the garden. Im's whisper resounded under the sakura flower tree. If they die, it's hard to find a dog that is so obedient and capable. But I won't lose. Chapter 122. Hinata summoning Kagaya stone statue, powerful pressure Elbaf. Advertisement. Boom boom boom. After the destruction of the anti-pirate alliance. There is a roar everywhere in New World, and it seems to be bringing guns to the end. And there is an island. Whether it is trees, houses, tables, chairs, etc., it is much larger than other places. You can also see giants of more than 10 meters and 20 meters walking around here. Elbaf. The world's most powerful country. It is worth noting that Elbaf is only one of the giant kingdoms, which are divided into towns and villages. Most of the giant warriors come to Elbaf's warrior village. They are very violent giants. So, there is more than one giant kingdom. A white cloud in the sky sat a woman with long blue and black hair and blue eyes, calmly speaking. Charlotte Linlin, the so-called Elbaf that was destroyed when I was young, is just a small village within a kingdom. Yes, Lord Hinata, the 22-meter-tall giant, Dory, who opened his mouth was standing on the flying aircraft carrier. Brigitte was standing beside him. The two are the giants of prehistoric island Little Garden who have been arguing for 100 years. I see. Robin next to Hinata said with his jaws. It seems that the world has too little knowledge of Elbaf. This is one of the giant kingdoms composed of many villages and towns. What? Charlotte Linlin destroyed Elbaf at the age of 5. Ada, Elbaf is really weak. Is this also worthy of the world's #1 power? Above. This is what many people know about Elbaf. Actually, for example, Windmill Village in the Kingdom of Goa, Charlotte Linlin only destroyed a small village in Elbaf. Compare the whole Elbaf. The warrior village is small, but it is enough to make the entire Elbaf hate Charlotte Linlin. Charlotte Linlin is very talented, but she is not enough to kill Elder Jorel at the age of 5. As the oldest giant, Jorel is also the former captain of Dory and Brigitte's previous generation of giant pirates, and he is highly respected by them. Dory said solemnly. At that time, Prince Rocky of the kingdom was born. To celebrate his birthday, Elder Jorel drank a lot of wine. At that time, 5-year-old Charlotte Linlin went mad. The elder thought she was a Cthulhu disguised as a child, and was defeated when trying to stop her. Hearing this, Brigitte also said, elders who are more than 300 years old are ordinary humans who are 8 or 90 years old, nearly 100 years old. Drinking so much alcohol, Charlotte Linlin was so small that she was a little careless, and she was attacked suddenly, triggering injury and death. Is this a verdict? Hinata and Robin are noncommittal. No matter how to explain, it is impossible to hide that Jorel is too old to be the same as before, and Charlotte Linlin's talent is really strong. But Elbaf is strong, for sure. Otherwise, Charlotte Linlin, who grew up, would have already beaten here. She can destroy the village, but unable to deal with the entire Elbaf. This is the giant of a country. You have been in Little Garden for 100 years, how did you know this? Robin looked at the two people on the flying aircraft carrier. We contacted Helding, a new generation of fighters in Warrior Village, and he told us. Speaking of this, Dory laughed. That little guy vowed to surpass the two of us. It's really exciting. Robin blinked. Little guy. How old is he? It seems to be 69 years old. All right. Robin and Hinata are not surprised either. The most exaggerated age is celestial. Thousands of years old can be seen everywhere. So, did you tell them to let Elbaf join the Empire? Hear Hinata's question. Dory and Brigitte were silent. It is true that the giants in Warrior Village are very violent, and the giants of the entire Elbaf kingdom are very violent. Giant going to sea. Some joined marine, some became pirates, and some became mercenaries. All represent themselves and join forces. But it would be too difficult for the entire kingdom to surrender, otherwise the world government would be underestimated. The world's most powerful country is not the world's first village. Dory said frankly. Even if the warrior village joins, other villages, towns, and the royal family will not agree. Hinata's forehead. The glory of the giants. Then break it. Soon, the flying aircraft carrier came to the sky above Elbaf and directly attracted the attention of the giants in Warrior Village. Elder Jorel, the two seniors of Blue Ogre and the Red Ghost are back. Helding looked at the flying aircraft carrier in the sky, feeling a little excited. He is also the most ambitious giant of Elbaf's new generation. Not only want to surpass Dory Brigitte, but also want to unify all giant kingdoms and become the king of giants. Is it finally here? As a giant of the same generation as Jorel is also one of the captains of the original giant pirate regiment, and currently the oldest giant. He wanted to kill the 5-year-old Linlin, but was stopped by the nun. Elder, what should we do? Helding couldn't help asking. Before the two of Dory came, it was stated that the Empire was going to take Elbaf, so that everyone should not refuse, otherwise it would definitely be destroyed. Jorel was also angry at the time. It has calmed down now. We, Warrior Village cannot represent the entire Elbaf kingdom. Jorel stood up and said, the Empire helped us get rid of Charlotte Linlin. That is our distinguished guest. Notify the villagers of Warrior Village, come and meet me with me. Giants gathered in the center of the village. On Baiyun, Robin smiled and said, it looks like they have made a decision, but I also felt anger. Anger. From Prince Rocky. The giants have their own glory, but they understand more that the weak eat the strong. For the strong, always keep respect. The other giants respected the Empire very much. Not only were they strong, they also perished their mortal enemy and avenged the giant hero Jorel. But, Lola, you died miserably. Advertisement. The moment Loki saw the flying aircraft carrier, he became extremely irritable and angry. The world's giants hate Charlotte Linlin, but it is alleviated by Loki falling in love with her daughter Lola. And made an agreement with Linlin. When Lola reaches adulthood, she gets married. Lola, when you were 15 years old, the first time I saw you, I decided to protect you for the rest of my life. But you died at the age of 16. Rocky roared, it was a hate. He also expects to wait 2 more years before marrying Lola and giving birth to a little Rocky. But waited. The Charlotte family is disintegrated, except that a few people are alive, and the rest, including Lola, are completely destroyed. So, your beloved, killed by the Empire, wants revenge. There was a sudden sound in his ears, and Loki looked coldly and saw white clouds falling and two ugly women above them. If you can't protect your beloved woman, what a man I am. Loki's words made Robin and Hinata noncommittal. Robin took out a photo and said, Lola, you said, is that her? Lola. Seeing Lola's photo, Loki couldn't help but burst into tears, and said angrily, it's your empire that killed Lola, His Royal Highness Prince. Jirul hurried over with someone and shouted immediately. The other giants also match face to face. No way. The prince wouldn't be right against the empire because of a woman who looks surprised and abstract. World government, the giant kingdom dismissed it, but it was unable to ignore the Holy Empire. That is the horror that is about to unify the world. As far as I know, Lola has had the habit of proposing to a man when he was a child, and he has proposed to thousands of men thousands of times when he was a teenager. Robin's words made Loki look colder. So what? Lola is very simple, the most beautiful woman should have the most special character. I can accept it. The giants once again face each other. Please, Lola is a super ugly girl. The giants were broken for Rocky's aesthetics. Just like Robin and Hinata, it might be ugly in Loki's heart. Robin couldn't help laughing. You are right, but I also know that she will never marry you. Because she doesn't want to be a tool for marriage, and she feels that you are not a man enough. Impossible. Loki stared. I am a dignified giant prince, there is not enough man. The reason is very simple, Lola may be a habit of proposing like other men. But what about you? Robin is like an emotional counselor, slowly speaking. As the prince of the giant race, I should have hated Charlotte Linlin. But because I fell in love with the enemy's daughter, I persuaded everyone to put aside the hatred of the country and turn around and propose to Lola. Is it great that a prince who has given up hatred proposes to her? Are you going to be called Mother Charlotte Linlin in the future? You are a TN dog in her eyes. Click. Robin's words. It was like a giant hammer, shattering Loki's heart, making it difficult for him to accept it. Is it wrong to love someone? How can you women think like this? Ah, Rocky roared and ran out like crazy. The giants were silent. Robin's words awakened everyone. For the daughter of a mortal enemy, to give up family hatred and hatred, is Loki worthy to become the king of giants in the future? Is he worthy of the dead elder? Is it worthy of the respect the giant has for him? Sorry, guest of the empire. Jirul was sad and couldn't help saying, Prince Rocky is still a child. Child, I hate these words the most. Hinata spoke flatly and stood up on the white cloud. Robin has said everything that should be said, I only have one sentence. Just say it once. The moment the words fell, Hinata's Tensagen has a palpitating pupil power. Boom. The whole Elbaf kingdom was shaking, leaves under the shocking eyes of countless giants. A huge horrible stone statue of hundreds of meters rises from the ground, and the whole body is washed with terrible spiritual power. Tensagen Kagaya stone statue. Elbaf. If you don't surrender, you will destroy. Hinata's words washed away the entire Elbaf, and the huge Kagaya stone statue also raised a hand. Push it horizontally towards the sky. Boom. Under the palm of the Kagaya stone statue, the entire sky was completely destroyed, and the cracks spread for an unknown number of miles. Okay. So strong. The giants were shocked. They have no doubt that if the Kagaya stone statue attacks Elbaf, it will surely blast the entire island to pieces. Elder Jirul, Dory and Brigi were anxious and kept winking at the most prestigious Jirul. This is just a Hinata. If you refuse, it will be the arrival of the empire, and everything will not be born. I surrender to the Holy Empire. The moment Jirul's huge body fell short because of half kneeling. All giants are short. Sister Hinata, good hockey. Robin smiled and praised. Hinata stretched her eyebrows and said directly, I will leave it to you next, I have to go to other giant kingdoms. Robin smiles first. Be careful all the way, Sister Hinata. At the same time, aboard the Moby DK, Whitebeard's voice sounded. I decide. Disbanded the Whitebeard pirates. What? Chapter 123. Disbanding the Whitebeard pirate group. Sengoku knows Daddy too. Advertisement. Father, why? Hearing that Whitebeard was about to disband the pirate group, Joes, Beasta and others couldn't understand. Especially Marco. He worked as an intern on the ship when he was a teenager, and gradually became a team captain and ship doctor. Among those present, Marco knew best how important his family was in Whitebeard's heart. Disband the pirates. That is to dissolve this big family. It shouldn't be. Although the old man is usually stingy, he will not let go of his family. Marco felt extremely confused. Whitebeard is indeed stingy. This stingy refers to the reluctance to spend money. All purchases of wine and things are for the sons to pay for it, and nothing is spent on their own money. Because Whitebeard sent all the money to his hometown anonymously. Even though there are no family and friends of Whitebeard in his hometown, it is always his hometown, and all the treasures are sent there for the rest of his life. Hey, I've been a pirate for decades. I'm tired and want to go home to sea. Whitebeard put on a look that missed his hometown so much, and then spoke seriously. Next, is the final captain's order. For a time. Everyone held their breath. They haven't recovered from Whitebeard's dissolution of the pirate group, and even the last captain's order has come. The Empire is very good to civilians. I don't think my hometown will be harassed by pirates anymore. They will live well. Whitebeard murmured, looked at his sons again, and said seriously, you have all listened to Lousy. Everyone, join the Holy Empire. Wow. The audience fell silent. No one thought that Whitebeard's final order turned out to be like this. Marco said urgently. Father, what about you? Whitebeard was silent. In the silence, he said loudly. Gu la 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 la, I am the remnant party of the era, and there is no ship that can carry me in the new era. Marco opened his mouth and couldn't speak. He seemed to understand. Surrender to live, disobey to die, is the external policy of the Holy Empire. Can be a pirate. Surrender does not necessarily lead to life, but if you do not surrender, you will definitely die. Letting the sons join the Empire is the only possible survival that Whitebeard can think of. But what about the old 450? Wow, you guys have hard wings now, don't even listen to Lousy. Seeing everyone indifferent, Whitebeard stood up, holding Kong Yun and coldly shouted, this ship belongs to Lousy. FK Lousy. Boom. The terrifying conquerors shook out, and in an instant, most people fell to the ground. Marco, if you still treat me as daddy, then take everyone away. Whitebeard's eyes were extremely sharp. Daddy. Marco shed tears and turned and shouted, what are you still doing? Take them and follow me. Everyone can only stay silent, bring their companions, and jump onto other boats. The entire Moby DK. Only Whitebeard was left. Papa. Whitebeard on the jump, Marco shouted, we. Boom. Whitebeard went up with a punch. The entire atmosphere showed dense cracks, and the sea was constantly shaking, which quickly set off terrible tsunamis. Wow, Whitebeard didn't give Marco and others a chance to speak at all. A wave of tsunamis. All the ships were swept away. Wandering for dozens of miles in a flash. Marco, tell me. Jaws's eyes on the boat turned red. You know I'm stupid, you tell me why Dad did this. But family, why should we be driven away? Father is only one person left. Everyone is also sad and confused. Join the Empire. Maybe we can survive, but if there is no daddy, how should they face the new life with a smile? Father is Whitebeard. Marco didn't want to say much. Although they are sons, they are crew members first, and they must obey the captain's orders. We, first. Marco, who was about to say something, suddenly raised his head and looked to the sky. AHFJ. A series of Imperial fighter planes passed by in the sky, and their voices echoed in the sky. Listen to everyone in New World. The last warning, any forces, if they encounter the Imperial Army, immediately surrender, there is no second chance. Rebels, kill without mercy. The various fighters of the Empire. Circling around the entire range of New World, leaving a final warning. Every time I board an island. The 4 Imperial armies always have to ask again, but the command headquarters finds it too troublesome and a waste of time. It is better to report once. No more reminders. The first to join the Empire, no matter who it is, wait until New World is completely taken down, and then gradually investigate and clean up. Daddy just wants us to survive. Looking at the Imperial fighter planes passing by, many people understood what Whitebeard meant. There is a situation. Marco looked up again. A golden light and shadow ran across the sky with the moonwalk embarrassingly. Golden light and shadow fell on the boat. Sengoku. Marco couldn't help exclaiming. You can't go wrong. This golden Buddha, he has seen him fight against his father many times, and he is also his life's enemy. Puff cough cough. The golden Buddha dispersed, revealing the pale face of Sengoku, coughing up blood constantly. Roar. At this time, there was another dragon roar resounding through the sky, awakening Beasta and others again. Kaido. A blue dragon pushed aside the clouds and looked down and drank coldly. Sengoku. Good luck. Hey hey hey. Advertisement. 3 figures fell from the dragon's claws, and Marco and the others did not move. Or that they were all startled. Titicaca. 3 figures fell on the deck. Guru. Jose, a steel man, couldn't help but his eyes widened at the moment, his voice was dry. Marine Original Admiral Zephyr, Admiral Akainu, Admiral Aokiji. Marine bosses are almost here. If it is fully restored, wouldn't it just overthrow the Whitebeard pirate group? Pot. Beasta subconsciously drew the knife, he had to look at it, and was immediately pulled by Marco. Stop. Marco looked at the 4 people in surprise, then looked at the sky, and said in a deep voice. Although, I don't know what this is, but the Empire Times clearly stated that Akainu, Aokiji, and Kaido will join the Empire. Just ask them to join the Empire. Everyone couldn't help looking at each other. Find the former Martial Marine Admiral, and Kaido, the lunatic, to apply to join. Are you sure you won't be hacked? Puff cough cough, are 10 days here. Seeing the 3 people who were still alive, Sengoku was relieved, and a little bitter. He never dreamed of it. So many people were hunted down by Kaido a dragon for 10 days and 10 nights. But these are not important. After 10 days without dying, Marine is safe. This B****************, D, he is so cruel. Aokiji woke up quietly and saw that his legs were broken, and he couldn't help but curse his mother. His holy writing is simply unreasonable. When Akainu woke up, he was silent for a moment, and he couldn't think of anyone who could kill Kaido. Even Hashirama and Madara are 2 adults. Can't kill Kaido anymore. Only your majesty can. Excuse me, how to join the Empire? Marco took a deep breath and walked to the 4 of them and asked. Sengoku looked after Zephyr, who was still in a coma, and did not speak. Xingqiang still doubted his life. Kai Tian looked at it coldly. Whitebeard pirates. We want to join the Holy Empire. No matter what you think of us, but I don't think you are qualified to laugh at us, let alone deal with us. Marco said calmly. Kneel and wait. Kai Tian snorted and closed his eyes. Forget Joe's, let's find an island and wait until the Imperial Army arrives. Marco grabbed Joe's and glanced at the direction of the mobile with some worry. You want to join the Empire? Kaido hovering in the sky gave a loud shout, but didn't find Whitebeard, and seemed to understand something. That old guy really planned. Kaido flew in the direction of the mobile. Not good, father, Marco shouted, turned into a phoenix and flew over. Hurry up. Joe's was also in a hurry. Whitebeard asked them to join the Empire, but he didn't say what he was going to do. If he fought Kaido, it would be against the Empire. What can you do? Sengoku said abruptly, affirming. Speaking of pride, no one can be prouder than Whitebeard, but his pride is all suppressed by you sons. His arrogance does not allow him to surrender. Since he has not chosen to join the Empire with you, he is ready to die in battle. What? Saki and the others were a little shocked. Why did Sengoku know so well? How can I not go? While the boat was driving, Sachi said with some uncertainty, I just saw a figure on Kaido's head. How can it be? Beasta immediately denied. Isn't that taking him as a mount? How can he stand it with his arrogance? Everyone also shook their heads. This is impossible. Aokiji let out a cold breath and lazily said, Alara, just like the D Sakazuki who joins the Empire to bring people to besiege me, nothing is impossible in the world. Akainu said calmly, I apologize to you, I will call more people next time. Xingshang's eyelids twitched. Yes Sakazuki, joining the Empire will be a joke, D. Since you are all going to join the Empire, can you tell me what happened in the last 10 days? As Sengoku said, he added another sentence, thank you to prepare us something to eat and drink. I haven't eaten or drink for 10 days and nights, and I am very hungry. Joe's and others have nothing to say. I prepared food for the former Martial Marine, this kind of experience is really hard to adapt. Aboard the Moby DK. Whitebeard was silent. Roar. When Long Yin heard it, Whitebeard didn't look up, and didn't even bother to pay attention. Whitebeard, long time no see. Kaido's huge long way looked down and looked at the empty boat. It seems that you have made a decision, so. Stop talking nonsense, let Lousy get out if you don't want to die. Whitebeard drank coldly without raising his head, picked up the wine and slurped it. What surprised Whitebeard was, Kaido didn't want to fight or kill him violently, but calmly said, to the death of the sea. It's really an old idea from the old times. Then go to the desert island in front and have a good fight. Whoosh. Kaido flew towards the desert island. Whitebeard finally raised his head and squinted his eyes slightly, unexpectedly, someone can tame your fierce dragon. Sachi saw it vaguely. Whitebeard clearly saw Kaido's head, sitting with a very haughty figure. Perceiving. The breath is unfathomable. Gu la la la. To die in the sea is the glory of the pirates. Just seeing Marco flying over, Whitebeard immediately shouted. Who told you to come back? Take Lousy to that deserted island, send Lousy there and you will get out. Finished. Whitebeard jumped on Marco's back. Marco. Dad, really you have changed. Chapter 124, The Last Peak. Uchiha Madara vs Edward Newgate. Advertisement. Wow. Whitebeard jumped off Marco, and his body nearly 7 meters slammed into a dull sound on the desert island. Father. Looking at the blue dragon hovering on the desert island, Marco was a little worried. He was not worried about whether Whitebeard would be killed by Kaido. Rather, Kaido is an empire. In this critical period, it is likely to be regarded as a hostile empire, and that is all. You leave here. After saying a word, seeing the deep concern in Marco's eyes, Whitebeard laughed bravely. Gu la la la. Lousy, but Whitebeard. Yes, Daddy is Whitebeard. Marco was proud and concealed in his heart, turning into a phoenix, leaving the deserted island, in the sky watching from afar. The desert island is silent. Longwa Kaido looked at Whitebeard calmly, snorted and didn't speak, let alone move. Whitebeard was not in a hurry. My eyes flashed with memories, as if I was reminiscing about the past and my hometown. After a while, Edward Newgate. There was a loud shout in the distance. Hearing this familiar voice, Whitebeard couldn't help laughing. Gu la la la, Sengoku, you old fellow, you are not dead yet. I won't die if you die. Sengoku, who was wrapped in bandages and gulped, sat on a boat and looked out over the deserted island. When Whitebeard looked back, I saw Sengoku arrived in his son's boat, and there were Akainu, Aokiji, and Zephyr on board. Whitebeard couldn't help but sigh. This kind of scene was something he had never thought of in his entire life. Before the change, Joe's and others must have been killed hundreds of times by the Sengoku 4. You have thought about the way your sons survive, at least for several years. Sengoku's eyes shone with wisdom, and he looked at Whitebeard in the dark. Haven't read a book. That's just a little trick. Gu la 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 la. Lousy admits that you are very smart, but it's just some conspiracy, you can't make it to the table. Whitebeard even insinuates that Sengoku only plays some tricks. From Rocks. No, before Whitebeard joined Rock's pirate, he and Sengoku became rivals. After joining, it is even more opponent. After disbanding, just like Garp chasing Roger, Sengoku chased Whitebeard. Finally, one was named Marine Marshal. People are the pirate overlord. The enemy of a lifetime. Hole. Sengoku shouted angrily, washing away the golden light of the Buddha. Don't stop me, I will kill this D today. Zephyr flipped directly over by Akugan, Xingshang held his forehead, and even Akainu couldn't help but jump his eyelids. Who stopped you? Come on. Goo la 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 la. Looking at your weak appearance, not only was you seriously injured, but you haven't eaten or rested for a long time. Whitebeard laughed. Laughter means you can't do it. Huh, good luck for you. Sengoku snorted and became silent. According to the current calculation, Sengoku is 67 years old and Whitebeard is 62 years old. Both witnessed and experienced the rise and fall of the three eras on the sea. Rock's era, three legendary ages, the era of the great pirates. And now, the age of empires. Decades of ups and downs passed like a blink of an eye. In silence, Sengoku and Whitebeard looked at each other and laughed bravely at the same time. Ha 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 ha, wow, la la la. Marco, Jose, Beasta and others looked at each other. This scene is unheard of. The laughter stopped. Sengoku picked up a glass of wine and said loudly, the enemy of my life, go all the way. Wow, it's the glory of the pirate to die in the sea. Whitebeard laughed and turned around, and a wave of conquerors that was about to shatter the sky burst out of his body. Boom. Conquerors swept like a tsunami, shaking the atmosphere and the sea tumbling, as if nothing could keep calm in front of him. What is it? Accompanied by cracking sound. The trees, rocks, and ground on this desert island show various irregular cracks. The sea around the desert island is also rolled up like waves. Thump thump. Jose, Beasta, etc. on the ship. Pieces of people were hit by conquerors and smashed to the ground. Father. Marco was not just a surprise or something, exclaimed. How many years have it been? After Roger abducted Kazuki Odin, his father and Roger fought for 3 days and 3 nights. Or the era of the great pirate has just begun, after Sengoku fought crazy with his father. In short, for many years. I have never seen Whitebeard with such awe-inspiring fighting spirit and haki soaring into the sky. Even though Kaido, a madman, often makes trouble, Whitebeard is not wary. But anger and helplessness. Newgate, he has the power to destroy the world. Sengoku sighed with emotion. Once again, Zephyr, Yoshio and Akainu's eyelids twitched. He destroys the world, what about you, the enemy of your life, isn't this boasting? The last peak. Suddenly a flat voice came from Kaido, resounding in the sky and the sea. Everyone looked suspiciously. I saw that Kaido, who looked like a lunatic in the eyes of many people, lowered his arrogant dragon head. Hiss. Really? Marco and others took a cold breath. When Kaido lowered his head, everyone can see a man with a wild haircut sitting on his head, his eyes closed, but he has an unspeakable haki. Is he sitting on Kaido's head? Yes, always there. Advertisement. I have seen Master Ban. Akainu and Aokiji got up and saluted immediately. Seeing this, Sengoku and Zephyr also learned to salute, and they all spoke together. I have seen Master Ban. This scene. The audience was silent. Whitebeard also shrank his pupils. There is nothing to call an adult, no matter what strength, if there is no merit in joining the empire, of course it is a small soldier. But, there is a problem with deep respect. The opponent's strength and identity are obviously enough to admire Akainu and others. The top combat power of the empire. My name, Uchiha Madara. Ban slowly opened his eyes, flashing a scarlet eternal light, and his voice came out. At your final peak, take out all your strengths. Please please me as much as you like. Who on? The sudden roar of the elephant instantly made Uchiha Madara's face black. What is this B********** D doing? That is Elephant Lord. Everyone looked back and couldn't help being surprised. Those who were not stunned by Whitebeard haki were all characters, and they naturally understood the 1,000-year giant elephant wandering in the sea. Ha 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 ha, I'm here to cheer you up. The Elephant Lord approached the deserted island with a step of nearly 10,000 meters, and Hashirama sitting on his head laughed. Let's say it first, I didn't come here on purpose. This sea area is an area attacked by our army, and you crossed the line. Are you surprised or surprised? This B************** D. If there is a random sentence that makes Madara lose her composure and can't help but get angry and want to hit someone, it must be Senju Hashirama. Leave him alone. Interrupting Akainu and others from getting up, Uchiha Madara called Hashirama a look. Don't mess with me, or you will be dead. Brush. Madara instantly moved from Kaido's head to 100 meters away from Whitebeard. Whitebeard, 62 years old. It is not Whitebeard who is 72-year-old suffering from illness and recurring old injuries. The final pinnacle. Boom. 0. Look for flowers. A monstrous aura erupted from Uchiha Madara and collided with Whitebeard's conquerors. Pilly. Conqueror's collision was like a natural disaster. In an instant, black and red lightning raged and the clouds were swept away. Whitebeard was surprised. You will also conquerors. All the intelligence of the various forces. The Empire powerhouse uses a more powerful aura than conquerors, which makes the body slow and may even die. As if not from this world. But now, Whitebeard can say for sure. Uchiha Madara's aura is pure conquerors, there is no other aura. It is said that it is an innate talent, but in fact it is just an extension of the spiritual will. Uchiha Madara hugs his arms, and Haki who washes his body with the license plate. My Reiatsu is too strong, only then can you have a chance to please me. Reiatsu. Whitebeard understands what Uchiha Madara means. Reiatsu is too strong and will kill you, so let's use conquerors to play with you. Is that right? Goo la la la, these are the most arrogant words I have ever heard in my life. Whitebeard said that he had grown up so much and had never seen such an arrogant person. Boom. Uchiha Madara's eyes lifted slightly. 0. Conquerors suddenly became stronger and broke Whitebeard's conquerors directly, and cracked the sky. Gu la la la, Conquerors is very strong. The supreme sharp knife Kong Yunchi was thrust into the ground, and Whitebeard and Ban moved at the same time. The two collided and finished their momentum. And tacitly didn't use any weapons or abilities, and directly started the fight to the flesh. Boom 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 boom. Uchiha Madara and Whitebeard are like two phantoms, constantly moving on the desert island, and each collision causes a terrible roar. The wind blows in, and big pits burst out. Uchiha Madara's fist was swift, and fierce. Whitebeard's fists opened and closed, fierce and domineering. Mind and physical skills, spirit and spirit. Akainu spit out the general outline of the current imperial spiritual power system. This is a system that has been changed dozens of times. What he pursues is a hexagonal warrior with no shortcomings in his body. Body and soul are even more compulsory. This allows Madara, who was once a ninja, to have a physique that resists Whitebeard's pure body. Such a tacit understanding. A renunciation of weapons, haki and devil fruit abilities. Madara-sama does not even use spiritual power, Reiatsu, spiritual arts, pupil arts, and holy writing. Jiraiya on the head of the elephant was stunned. Since we are fighting, we will fight happily, but we have been waiting for a long time. It's over too soon to please each other, warm up first before talking. Hashirama said that he knew Madara well and stood up and shouted. Aban, come on, Aban, come on, a flaw. Whitebeard, who was punching Madara, suddenly noticed that Madara's body stopped for a while, and immediately slammed a punch. Boom boom boom, in Akainu and others in amazement. The empire magnate Uchiha Madara was bombarded by Whitebeard, smashing a tree and rock. How can it be? Kaido's eyes widened when he transformed into a human form, and Uchiha Madara was distracted while fighting. You shut up. Spiritual power swept away the dust. Uchiha Madara glared at Hashirama. Call your sister Madara. Boom. Next moment, Uchiha Madara smashed the ground with one foot and rushed towards Whitebeard. What? Space is distorted. With Whitebeard's pupils shrunk, the space Uchiha Madara passes by is distorted. What a terrifying speed. Feeling the crisis, Whitebeard immediately broke out shock fruit. Boom. Chapter 125. My Madara is over 100 years old this year. Whitebeard's powerlessness. Advertisement. Boom. The shocking force of horror came from Whitebeard. A white light turned into an aperture, covering Whitebeard's body. The atmosphere suddenly shattered. Shock fruit. Earth-shattering. The 62-year-old Whitebeard has not yet suffered from recurring injuries and illnesses, showing the final peak. Boom. Uchiha Madara, who came from the space distorted by the terrifying speed, bluntly hit the shocking force that enveloped Whitebeard. The oscillating aperture immediately shattered. Tearing. Whitebeard, kicked by Uchiha Madara, directly tore the ground beneath his feet, and his body penetrated the entire desert island like a stream of light. The spilled shocking force and the terrifying wind tear apart the deserted island in an instant. The deserted island was turned into pieces. Brush. Uchiha Madara landed lightly on a broken island, holding his arms, looking forward with a calm look in his eyes. Ah, Ban is so cool. Hashirama on the top of the Lord's head turned into an avid fan, yelling loudly. Father, Marco, Joes and others exclaimed, subconsciously preparing to rush over. Stop for lousy. Kaido Longwa flew out of the desert island fragments, and the huge Longwei stared at Marco and others fiercely. Who dares to come near, die. The terrifying conquerors and Reiatsu forced Vista and others to constantly retreat. This monster has become stronger again. Just, the person who only relied on the speed of his body to distort the space. Sengoku is a little hard to believe. Akainu said in a condensed voice. It's not all, only speed. Even if teleporting, there will be no space distortion, and there is strong power. The most breathtaking thing for Akainu. It is Uchiha Madara that did not use spiritual power, and relied solely on the terrifying speed and strength of his physique. There are two concepts to use or not to use spiritual power. Mind and physical skills, spirit and spirit. The empire is constantly reformed by Lan Yu's new spiritual power system, which is polished by the ball to perfection. Boom. A horrible conquerors, armed with armed color, directly blasted off the gravel, and a figure jumped out. Wow, it's amazing speed and power. Standing on the broken island, Whitebeard laughed heroically, his eyes flashing deep and solemn. The other parties relaxed and freehand brushwork. Everyone proves that the other party is stronger than he has seen before. Father, Beasta and others exclaimed again, and they were also relieved. Whitebeard's body was embarrassed, and the left half of his body had dense small scars, but he was not seriously injured or mutilated. Nice ability, deflected my attack with vibration. Uchiha Madara spoke plainly. When Madara kicked, Whitebeard's explosive force deflected the attack trajectory, causing Madara's kick to hit the desert island. And used the armed color to strengthen the body defense. Injuries on the body. It was completely caused by the terrible wind that broke out at the time of the collision, tearing apart the armed colors. Ghoul la la la. In terms of physical skills, I lost. Whitebeard laughed calmly. The two tacitly didn't use weapons or other abilities to assist them, only fighting skills. But at a critical moment, Whitebeard still burst into shock fruit. Boy, it's not shameful to lose to me. Uchiha Madara spoke proudly with her arms folded. In order to catch up with your majesty's footsteps, I have polished the physical skills and energy to the 6-star limit. I only want to build the strongest foundation and go further. Lan Yu once said, "The foundation is very important," and Ban remembered it in his heart. If it were not for polishing the foundation, it would go further. Uchiha Madara can only practice spiritual power, so that the realm soars. If you didn't die, let's be proud of it. All the words of Uchiha Madara arrogantly shook the sky, the earth and the ocean. Wow. The audience fell silent. The expressions of Sengoku and Zephyr are also very strange, and they blend in with each other. What did you say? Whitebeard couldn't help but stared. Uchiha Madara's words are full of arrogance. But this is not the point. The big pirates in Qinghai are more arrogant than the other, and speak much more arrogantly than Master Ball. The point is, what a joke. He doesn't seem to be as big as me, so he called Daddy Boy. Marco and others were angry. You can beat the old man, you can kill the old man, it can only be said that the old man is not strong enough, and it is the glory of the pirate to die in the sea. Can't you insult old man? You seem to be in your 30s, why do you call the 62-year-old Daddy Boy? Puff ha 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 ha. Hashirama hung his belly on the elephant's head and couldn't smile. You little guys are still angry. It's really interesting. Madara didn't let Whitebeard call Grandpa, you guys just keep it secret. Damn it, what is he saying? Asking the old man to call Grandpa this, Marco and the others stared at him immediately. Are you still not convinced? This year, wrong. Having said this, Hashirama was a little dazed. It's over, I don't even know how old Madara is. I don't care about class too much. Hashirama crouched on the elephant's head and drew circles, with a decadent expression. This idiot, Uchiha Madara wanted to hit someone again. If you really want to count. During the Ninja World War II, the gray-haired Uchiha Madara was nearly 70 years old. At that time, Namikaze Minato was still a child, and Kakashi had not yet been born. And now, both Zuo Ming are already 20 years old. Since joining the empire, 40 years passed in a hurry. Uchiha Madara, more than 110 years old. Uchiha Madara, who is more than 100 years old, is called the 62-year-old Whitebeard boy, and there is nothing wrong with it. My class is so big. Uchiha Madara was in a trance. When I think that I still have countless fans in the empire, I feel much better. Long life calculation. I'm still young. Wow. La la la, although I don't know what the mental and physical skills and spirits you are talking about are. But I'm Whitebeard. After finishing the physique, Whitebeard jumped to another broken island and pulled out the cloud with the supreme knife. Advertisement. Kong Yun cut. Whitebeard held the clump of clouds and slashed a pure slash without shock. Shit. The slash was opened and closed. This was an extremely fierce slash, which instantly ripped the atmosphere, overturned the earth all the way, and left with an extremely powerful impact. It's not as good as me. The spirit blade appeared in his hand, Uchiha Madara's voice with an aloof haki, instantly slashed. Sword pressure. 99. 99 world-shattering rays of light burst out like a pillar of thunder, slashing everything. And in the middle of the road. Gathered together in an instant. The power surged and turned into a terrifying slash full of destructive power. Slash fusion along the way. Whitebeard's pupils shrank. Feeling a strong crisis, while his figure quickly retreated, he blocked Kong Yun in front of him. Boom. Look far away. The shocking slash smashed into the clouds like lightning, and directly sent Whitebeard into the air. Drink. Flew back hundreds of meters in a flash. Whitebeard screamed and forcibly stabilized his body. Shock fruit turned into a white light circle and moved in and out with the powerful force. Kachacha. Accompanied by the collapse of the atmosphere. Whitebeard forcibly shakes the slashing blow away. Boom. Shocking slash. A bright beam of light rushed into the sky and burst directly into the sky, breaking the sky into a huge hole. Chang chang boom boom boom. Uchiha Madara did not stop. Ban rushed forward and launched a stormy attack on Whitebeard like a phantom. Every hit, they all slashed accurately on the cloud cutting, the tyrannical slashes condensed and exploded, and the booming Whitebeard kept retreating. Sword pressure is lost. The spirit blade slashed in an instant. Uchiha Madara condenses the slash into 1 point, forming a Seiya-like attack 0. Slash condensation. Support the horrible penetrating power. Shake the knife slash. Facing Uchiha Madara's fierce offensive, Whitebeard had to explode shock fruit again. A bright white light circle shrouded Kong Yunchi, slashing out an extremely fierce slash. Boom. Accompanied by a huge roar. Madara's Seiya slash, with a point of Arankar, directly penetrated Whitebeard's slash, and instantly penetrated him. And a terrifying edge wind broke out. Bang 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 bang. Whitebeard, who was suddenly penetrated, was blown away again under the wind. Like a laser cannon, large tracts of trees and rocks were blasted along the road and smashed into the pothole. And a large piece of broken island. It was completely turned into rubble and fell into the sea. Older. Marco and others exclaimed. Completely sluggish. Conquerors. Defeat. Physical skills. Defeat. Swordsmanship. Defeat. Not long after the battle, Whitebeard was crushed in all directions. Ban strongly shattered everyone's illusions and perceptions of the world's strongest. And it's an understatement to crush. The gap is huge. Madara, not just a madman in combat, but also the most hardworking one. Hashirama rarely spoke calmly. I didn't have to choose before, I could only practice chakra to upgrade Sharingan and it was over. What physique, swordsmanship, no chance. But now. The Empire's new spiritual power system is too comprehensive. Might die, Master Ban is practicing crazy. It will make people desperate to work hard on the day. Therefore, Hashirama often takes Ban to dance in discos, to bars and casinos, just to let him combine work and rest. Lan Yu, so Madara becomes the king of Empire Dance, thanks to your Hashirama. If you are not dead, come out. Uchiha Madara dissipated the spiritual blade and once again held his arms flat and said, the warm-up is over, take out all your strength. Continue to please me. Boom. A broken island completely collapsed. The tall figure jumped out on the fragments and came to another broken island. Puff cough cough. Accompanied by the sound of blood spurting, Joes and others were extremely worried. Whitebeard at the moment. Because of being hit by a sharp edge, dense small scars appeared on the body, blood constantly came out, and bloody people were stained. These are minor injuries. And in the abdomen, a huge 5.9 blood hole pierced through the body appeared, trickling blood. Wow, this kind of powerlessness, I haven't felt it for a long, long time. Whitebeard ignored the wound and laughed. Perhaps it was only when the two top pirates suddenly encountered fighting when they were just going out to sea, and when they were stunned by the aftermath, did they feel this kind of powerlessness. Crack, accompanied by the cracking sound from Yunchi, it also awakened all the blood of Whitebeard. Old man, go all the way. When the broken cluster of clouds was cut into the ground, Whitebeard's eyes became sharp. Make fists with both hands. Two white vibrating apertures flash. Whitebeard's voice burst out. On the first day I went out to sea, I understood that only if you die in the sea, is the true glory of a man. The shocking force of horror erupted. Whitebeard directly blasted the atmosphere around his body. Air shock. Atmospheric rifts spread quickly, madly rushed towards Uchiha Madara, causing shocks all the way. Is it called shock fruit that destroys the world by this world? Uchiha Madara gave up spiritual power, Reiatsu, spirituality, pupils, swordsmanship, etc. And those who abandoned their defenses rushed directly toward the spreading attack. Ban is crazy again. Hashirama couldn't help holding his forehead. But the great emperor's voice was extremely excited. I give up everything to feel your power. Only in this way can you please me. Come and dance. Chapter 126. Fighting to death in the sea is the glory of the pirates. You are also worthy to dance. Advertisement. He just rushed over here. Whitebeard had a punch in his heart. It is true that Uchiha Madara is too crazy, there is no defensive attack, just like rushing to death. When Yu Jing Jing Jibo Jing Madara came, he was attacked by atmospheric cracks, and blood spattered in and out of his body. Ha 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 ha. But what is shocking is that the more so, Uchiha Madara gave out the card and laughed boldly, that's it. Come on, please me. This excitement. Extremely crazy. Masochism. Like Hashirama on the top of the Lord's head, he couldn't help but mutter, completely incomprehensible. Obviously there are countless ways to avoid or smash it, but you have to abandon everything to experience the pleasure brought by the injury. There is no cure for Madara's disease. It makes me bloody. But Madara's attitude made Kaido excited too, and she wished to rush over to experience pain and death. Confidant. Let's play suicide together in the future. Crazy for fighting. Although a little different, Whitebeard understands the strength of the opponent, and the strength in his hands is a little stronger. If you don't defend, counterattack, avoid, you will definitely die. When Uchiha Madara rushed through numerous atmospheric rifts, he was hit by Whitebeard's head on crit. Air shock. The white ball cover on Whitebeard's right fist. With the shocking force of horror, it hit Uchiha Madara fiercely. Boom chi chi chi. As if opening his arms and welcoming death, cracks appeared on Uchiha Madara's body, blasting into the pothole. The audience fell silent. Mrs. Crazy. Marco and others couldn't help but stare. Uchiha Madara this attitude. It was no different from standing still on purpose and letting Whitebeard attack. Just roll Whitebeard in all directions. Crazy death in a blink of an eye. That's the feeling. 07 is not enough, continue to please me. Uchiha Madara jumped out of the pothole and drank excitedly, leaving Whitebeard speechless. This kind of madness. Who can stand it? Air shock. Whitebeard's punch. Far more tyrannical than before, it formed a beam of light in the sky under the shattering weather, and directed Uchiha Madara with incomparable violent power. Boom. Uchiha Madara stood on the spot, experiencing this power, was directly shattered by half of his body, and flew out. Large areas of blood mist swayed. What? In the next instant, Whitebeard's pupils shrank. Uchiha Madara, who flew upside down, disappeared in an instant, and came to him in the next moment. The left half of the body was shattered. But Madara's right half of the body directly raised her right hand, turning her hand into a blade, and instantly passed towards Whitebeard. This is the fun of fighting, let's dance. Drink. Whitebeard screamed, with the shocking power of the horror on his body, trying to shake Madara away. What is it? Madara's hand blade blasted away the shocking power of Whitebeard. A moment passed through Whitebeard's heart. Papa. Joes and others exclaimed. That hand completely penetrated my heart, which was absolutely fatal. If you want to rush over, then I'll go to death. Akainu and Kaido gave a cold cry at the same time. Beasta and others can only worry on the spot. Hey, you are right, this is the fun of fighting. Not getting injured in the battle is considered a battle, it is called playing a rolling game without experience. Whitebeard suddenly understood Ban's mentality. The strength is not strong enough. Can't understand Ban's idea at all. Earthquake. Whitebeard's eyes narrowed. The fists burst into a white light circle, and they crossed and hit Uchiha Madara in front of him. Boom. The power of terrifying location. Immediately blasted Madara on the ground, and completely destroyed the broken island where it was located, causing tsunamis in the atmosphere. Brush. Whitebeard jumped again and came to other broken islands. Puff cough cough. Whitebeard couldn't help but vomit blood again with the wound that penetrated his heart, the abdomen that was crushed and penetrated by Ben before, and the wounds all over his body. Goo la la la. It's crazy enough. You, a strong man, really shocked me. Feeling what he felt, Whitebeard laughed boldly, with palpitations that he hadn't been in for many years. Boom. A piece of sea exploded. Uchiha Madara's figure stood on the sea, but everyone looked surprised. Twice in a row, deliberately experienced the injury without avoiding defense, and even deliberately reduced the density of flesh and blood to weaken the body. Madara at the moment, half of the head cracked, 2/3 of the body shattered, both hands were gone, the skeleton was visible, and Haki was still standing unparalleled on the sea. Hiss. Many people have numb scalp. Are all these injuries standing? Smelly fault. Absolutely stinky. Madara's disease should be cured. Seeing Madara's misfortune, Hashirama couldn't help clutching her hair frantically, spitting out. Just experience the pain. What do you mean by deliberately developing a secret technique to weaken your physical strength? The power of vibration is really good, I recognize you. Even so, Uchiha Madara still has a license for Haki, and shouted with excitement. Of the opponents I have fought in this world, in terms of ability, no one can compare to you. My class would like to call you the strongest. The audience was silent again. Uchiha Madara in such a tragic situation still has such a Haki, so Whitebeard can't help but feel emotional. What a man of Haki. I call you the strongest in Newgate. Take it down, you must write it down. Kaido's eyes lit up, and he was looking for pen and paper everywhere. He must write it down. When I heard this, he was full of momentum. Kaido convinced. Quote. Class, can't you change the word? Hashirama was unable to complain. Which one have you fought against in Qinghai? And these words have long been played by the empire. Jiraiya couldn't help laughing, but Madara-sama said the most Haki. Titicaca. Uchiha Madara is like a skeleton, with bones and legs running wildly on the sea, still with excitement and blood. Do you have any more powerful moves? Continue to please me. It's crazy. Whitebeard sighed secretly. Madara's madness also completely awakened Whitebeard's madness. Goo la la la, let's be completely crazy together. Advertisement. Awakening. Deep words sounded, and terrible shocks far beyond ordinary people's imagination erupted on Whitebeard. In an instant, the force of shock has washed away more than tens of miles, everything is shaken, and the broken islands are swaying frantically. Finally appeared, the power to destroy the world. Sengoku sighed, and then looked at Marco and others. If you don't want to die, just leave it quickly. No reminder needed. Marco has led the crowd to retreat frantically, because he has seen a horrible scene that turned upside down. Shock fruit. The ability to cause vibrations at any time is a terrifying force that can shake the atmosphere, split the sea, and cause a big tsunami, powerful enough to destroy the island with a finger. So it is called the ability to destroy the world. Wow. The Elephant Master roared. The terrifying shock power range is too large, making it unbearable. Spiritual power 3000 shields. Hashirama immediately blessed the Elephant Master with a spiritual shield and covered his whole body. Kachacha. A spirit shield broke. This made Hashirama raise his brow slightly. I haven't attacked yet. That's not bad. Those broken islands are even more unbearable. There are large-scale cracks, all of which will be broken at any time. Many people who were shocked, their armed colors were shattered layer by layer. Shock fruit awakens. Uchiha Madara's pupils were slightly brighter, and he continued rushing without saying a word. Boom. Whitebeard conquerors also burst out, black and red lightning raging everywhere. Wow. The armed color also turned into a tsunami. Conquerors and armed colors are wrapped around the fist, making the white aperture black and red, and flashing thunder and lightning. Whitebeard's momentum reached the apex. Enough to scare countless pirates. Awakening, shaking the earth. Whitebeard's face burst with blue veins, and he blasted out the most powerful punch of his life. Both fists hit the void fiercely. Boom. A shocking scene happened. Whitebeard, who could only envy the atmosphere, had a crack in the void at this moment. Shattered the atmosphere. Shattered space. These are two completely different concepts. Spatial cracks spread in all directions, except for the broken island where Whitebeard was located. All the surrounding broken islands collapsed instantly. Sky, earth, ocean, suffering horrible shocks one after another, the world turned upside down, as if the whole world was shaking and shaking. Whitebeard, who is awakened, shows the top power in Qinghai. Haha, haha, this rift-filled void, you finally please me. Such a scene made Uchiha Madara extremely excited. Shocked by everyone's heart, Uchiha Madara directly ran into the spreading void crack head-on. Boom. Accompanied by the blood mist burst. Uchiha Madara's body was completely shattered, torn apart by the force of the horrible shock. Can be the next moment. Under the shocking eyes of everyone, countless fragments of blood fog quickly condensed in the void. Madara's body was condensed in a blink of an eye. And restored, intact, forever. Reorganize yourself. Hashirama spit out Madara's holy text. With the power of Sun Luo, everything becomes nothingness. The power of Vientiane, the definition and reorganization of everything. Because it is too scary, Uchiha Madara has only been used in battles with Hashirama and Indra so far. Usually I don't want to use it at all. In Madara's words, the scriptures in my class are too strong, and there is no fun in fighting. Fake. 457. Seeing Madara fully recovered unscathed, Whitebeard's heart was shaking. In terms of the results, he tried his best to strike. When Madara does not defend, fight back, or evade. Not even one of Madara's hair fell out. What's this look? Uchiha Madara condensed his madness, volleyed and hugged his arms, showing Haki that everything is unstoppable. Didn't you understand the gap between us a long time ago? Whitebeard was silent. Marco and others were even more silent. Even if his father zoomed in and didn't hurt him, how could he fight it? It seems, you can no longer please me. Uchiha Madara stood in the sky, washing his body proudly Haki, desperate, and witnessed the true power of Uchiha Madara. Suzuo is not turned on. Rinnegan is not turned on. Spirit blade in hand. Sen Luo a sword. Uchiha Madara slashed with an understatement sword, accompanied by holy text, and whizzed in front of Whitebeard. Awakening shock. Whitebeard immediately fought back. But there was a scene that made him difficult to understand. What shocked Whitebeard was, the moment his vibrating power touched the slash, it disappeared completely. The armed color is also disappearing. It's like being decomposed into nothingness. Puff. The slight bursting sound of a balloon burst, making Marco and others jealous. Madara's slashing and supporting the power of the holy words wiped out everything, with nothing to stop, and instantly passed Whitebeard. Whitebeard. The right hand disappeared. The right half of the head disappeared. The right half of the body disappeared. The only half of the body left, and the only remaining eye was full of shock. On duty began to be serious. He was killed in a flash at random. Wow, it's the glory of the pirate to die in the sea. Accompanied by the final cry, Whitebeard fell heavily, and the last remaining light passed by the suns in the distance. Must survive. Father. Marco and others are crazy. What to join the Empire? What the last captain order? They only have hysterical grief. They rushed towards Whitebeard frantically, and even more people rushed towards Uchiha Madara with red eyes. Uchiha Madara is proud of everything, and his voice is washed out indifferently. You guys deserve to dance too. Boom. Chapter 127. Can the villain plant a sacred tree? The revolutionary army is all over. Advertisement. Boom. Kaido is attacking. A group of young guys, wherever Madara's turn comes to do it, Kaido hits him when he goes up. Shockwaves across the sky. The group of people who rushed to the class with red eyes instantly drowned, and immediately turned into blood mist. Who else? Kaido shouted. Bronze bell-like eyes scanned the audience, full of evil spirits, like a demon. The power of Kaido instantly extinguished the flames in the hearts of everyone in the Whitebeard pirate group. Stay and go. Uchiha Madara glanced. I am here, don't grab the show. Ahem, I see. Kaido's fierce expression suddenly softened, and he retreated with a smirk. At this time, Senju Hashirama flew over from the elephant's head, extremely excited. Ah Madara, you are so cool. Uncle Madara is just a kick when he goes up. This is a precision blow that has been kicked for hundreds of years, and it kicked Hashirama into the air with one kick. Ah, I will come back again. Oh my god. Seeing Hashirama, Akainu, Ioo, Zephyr, and Sengoku disappearing into streamers, they all were in vain. Recalling the past, when I first met Senju Hashirama, the Imperial Field Marshal, Tai Hanhan's impression was endless. No, that is close to the people. It's really Haki. Everyone looked at Madara again. With Yibin now over 110 years old, it is not too much for everyone present to make a call to Uncle. Uncle Ben. Understatement crushing Whitebeard, his eyes lifted slightly and Kaido retreated, turning around and kicking Hashirama, the top of the empire. Leave a deep impression on people. Father. Two Haki stood beside Whitebeard's corpse, while Marco and others only dared to look at it from a distance. Thinking of his previous claim, Marco suppressed his grief and immediately knelt down. Master Uchiha Madara. Before you arrived, Dad had already disbanded the pirate group. Dad wanted to go home and see, he is no longer a pirate. Also let us join the empire. See this scene. Joes and others also knelt down quickly. Beasta's eyes flushed and said, Master Madara, it's his choice for the father to fight to the death of the sea. I know we are not qualified, but please, let us take the old man's body away. Let's bury Dad in his hometown. Titicaca. Everyone squatted their heads fiercely, blood poured in, tears streaming down their faces. This scene. Sengoku couldn't help but sigh. Old man, you are really not suitable for being a pirate. As the enemy of life, Sengoku knows Newgate very well. He doesn't like fame, profit, or trouble. All the islands that Newgate took were the hometowns of his sons or his friends. This is also the biggest shortcoming of Newgate. Excessive protection of the son. And yes, no one refuses to come. Whoever refuses to come, there must be a scum. Sengoku hadn't heard of any brutal things Newgate did. But sons. Too much done. Many of them deliberately joined the White Regiment, under the banner of Whitebeard, behaved nonsense, made chaos everywhere, and destroyed the country. Whitebeard, who had been staying on the ship, spread a great notoriety, rendering him the greatest demon. It is a crime to overprotect my sons and allow many sons to make trouble. That's why I chased you. Sengoku was embarrassed inwardly. A guy who longed for his family became a pirate, and a guy who just wanted to drink and chat with his sons became the worst city. Looking at the people who kept kowtow, Xing Shang raised his eyebrows and said, Alala, what do you think Mr. Ban would do? Do you think a few heads can shake Madara-sama's heart? Although Akainu doesn't know Madara. But it is clear that a man like Madara and Haki, once a decision is made, no one wants to change it. What do you think? Uchiha Madara directly ignored Marco and others, and spoke flatly with his arms folded. A soul body, floating over the body of Whitebeard. Gu la la la, having this group of sons, I am worth it in my life. It is the soul of Whitebeard. Soul Whitebeard gave Ban a complicated look, and then looked at his sons complicatedly. In my opinion, the so-called Whitebeard pirate group is just a garbage collection station. Uchiha Madara's opening moved Whitebeard, and then Madara continued. Your affiliated pirate group, don't keep one, I said. And the one who is kneeling now. At least half dead. Understand. One sentence, echoing in the depths of Whitebeard's soul. This is killing most of his sons. Whitebeard was silent for a moment of grief, holding his breath for a moment, and kneeling on the ground. Thank you Madara for not killing this guy. Others didn't see the soul of Whitebeard, but they had joined Akainu, who had a spiritual power system in the empire. See clearly. The strongest in the world. Whitebeard lowered his head. Kaido also kept looking around, and muttered, I didn't understand, why did I suddenly kneel down? Is it a member of the empire? Finished muttering. Kaido grinned, that's good, I won't be bored. I at least joined earlier than him. It's also the Marine Senior I won. This is enough for me to get promoted. Whitebeard has to call me an adult, too. Newgate has to be my little brother. Haha, oh ha 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 ha. Thinking of this, Kaido couldn't help laughing anymore, and tears of laughter surged. Madara frowned slightly. What are you laughing at? Haha, cough, cough, okay. Kaido was about to laugh and suffocated. The face that looked like an old Kurozumi had a ruddy color. Uchiha Madara snorted. Kaido. Yes, Lord Madara, please give instructions. Kaido immediately stood up and saluted. Akainu's eyes flickered, and immediately led Sengoku, Aokiji, and Zeta behind Kaido, and saluted together. These people. Glancing at the people who were still kneeling, Uchiha Madara's voice was flat. Check me one by one, kill at least half of them, understand? What? Marco and others were shocked. Whitebeard's soul remained silent. Yes, Master Ben, Kaido et al. Echoed. Uchiha Madara took a look at Whitebeard's soul. Remember this lesson. If you are not convinced, come to me anytime. Brush. Uchiha Madara disappeared. Also disappearing together were Newgate's corpse and soul. Advertisement. Old. Stop shouting. Kaido interrupted everyone, disdainfully said. Living under the protection of Whitebeard, you don't even know what cultivation is. Your father has joined the empire. Now I will clean the door. Sengoku looked at Kaido differently. Clear the door, and it will be very tall when you hear it. Kaido is also a cultural person. Let's clean up. On the head of the elephant. Hashirama flew back from a distance. Madara is getting better and better. Hashirama rapped his stomach, muttered, and said, let's go. Yes, Lord Hashirama. When the police glanced down, Jiraiya couldn't help but said, why did Mr. Ban take Whitebeard? Mentioned. Hashirama put on an expression that no one understands him better than I, and said with great certainty. Because. At the same time, inside the North State Hall. Lan Yu also spoke. Whitebeard pleased Madara. The reason is that simple. Lan Yu retracted his gaze and ignored Whitebeard's affairs. Turn to look at the entire New World. Speed up. Take down New World. Lan Yu's words washed away in the hearts of every Imperial soldier general. Rejuvenated everyone. Yes, Your Majesty. 10 days later. When the 4 armies of the Empire were divided into 4 parts and marched in an all-round way, a huge enchantment trapped New World. Anyone. There is nowhere to escape. 99 islands. All to the Empire. Only the island where I'm is located in the deep sea, and a few more hidden islands. The chaotic New World roared everywhere. Gradually calmed down. The great powers of the Empire, as well as the Imperial flying aircraft carrier and fighter planes, they began to cruise New World continuously to ensure that no ships wandered at sea again. And today, the existence of the villain is really a surprise to my concubine. Kagaya is walking in a forest. This is a deserted island near Dressrosa Island, Greenbite. This is an uninhabited island. The entire island is covered by virgin forest. And under the forest on this island, there is a country hidden, Yhwach Kingdom. From now on you will be members of the Empire, the goal of the Empire, all races coexist. Kagaya happily looked at a little girl with long blonde hair on her palm. Pocket body, pointy nose. It is the princess of Yhwach Kingdom. Man Shirley, currently 13 years old. I believe in concubine, no one can bully you in the future. Hearing Kagaya's words, Man Shirley said happily, great, I want to go to the outside world. Ow ow ow. The little human races were jumping for joy. Kagaya couldn't help laughing. It's a simple and kind race. The villain is very simple. Able to believe in a word just because of others, without any doubt. Although he is small in size, he has amazing strength and moves very fast. It even claims that there are no plants in the world that they can't grow. Thinking of this, Kagaya took out a seed and said, look at this, can you plant it? Huh, what a beautiful seed. Man Shueli couldn't help touching her little hand, and asked crisply, Sister Kagaya, what kind of seed is this? Kagaya chuckled softly, sacred tree. 1. You are embarrassing the villain. In Kagaya's brain circuit, Lan Yu refreshes his cognition every time. 10 days passed. Lan Yu looked at New World again, looked around, and murmured. Remove the island in the deep sea, and you will be left. Revolutionary Army. Escape to New World from the first half. When the Empire scored 99%, the Revolutionary Army had nowhere to hide. Boom. There was a roar on an island. Immediately awakened the Revolutionary Army on the island. Forbidden ha ha ha, hidden deep, Revolutionary Army, that's it. Spirit Sealing Realm Method. The sky resounded through Golden Lion's laughter. The cadres of the Revolutionary Army panicked. It's time to come, it will come sooner or later. Dorag walked out of the room calmly. At the beginning. He intends to unite with other forces. After all, everyone has decided not to join the Empire, so it is best to take the initiative. But some cadres suggested, we Li Jiao first hide, and hide after the public execution of celestial dragons, maybe there are new opportunities. There are cadres fantasizing. Celestial dragons finally resisted, and the Empire was defeated, and all the cadres agreed. That horrible woman snatched Betty, our hiding is just a joke. This sentence. Dorage didn't say, I don't want to break everyone's beautiful illusions. 10 days ago, Kagaya broke into the Revolutionary Army and took Betty directly, which is called a domineering terror. This, comma. When Dorag came out, he couldn't help being stunned, it was too amazing. The entire island are covered by a huge enchantment. Even if it is a violent coon bear, don't even think about shooting people away from the island. With this kind of lineup, the Empire really values the Revolutionary Army. Dorag smiled bitterly. Look at who is here. Shiki, Kaido, Rayleigh, Bullet, Rider, Sengoku, Akainu, Chingshong, Shumo, Nagato, Tsunade, Kakashi. Each of the 4 armies of the Empire has 1 admiral rank. 12 people are enough to push the Revolutionary Army horizontally hundreds of times. Just to improve efficiency. No matter what you have thoughts and decisions, you have not yet surrendered to the Empire. It's too late to say anything. Tsunade clenched his fist sharply, causing the surrounding atmosphere to roar, which was heart palpitating. If you give a chance, don't fight it hard, it's shameless. Then go to death. Boom. 12 men besieged. There is absolutely no survivor. Revolutionary Army. Ending celebration. Chapter 128. The Empire Spirit Nuclear Weapon Destruction Experiment, Silent and Terror. Advertisement. After the collapse of the Revolutionary Army. More than 10 days passed. 29 days have passed since the first half of the Empire's victory. Nearly a month. Within the scope of New World, all the islands on the sea are included in the Empire. With some special Sky Island. All were taken down. Now, remove the depths of the sea. The Qinghai realm belongs to the Empire. The daily change of the sky and the ground makes countless people in Qinghai world be in a daze, and they always feel like dreaming. Stabilize the world structure for 800 years. It was treated as a mass of mud by the Empire, easily crushed, remade, and kneaded into what you wanted. Holy Empire, eternal and immortal. Great Majesty, eternal immortality. Countless civilians in Qinghai Circle can express their inner emotions only by shouting like this. Be a pirate, evil party, nobleman, etc. After those who oppressed the people disappeared, the civilians shouted uncontrollably. They were finally liberated. Who passed this sentence out? In the hall, Lan Yu looked around the imperial elites, and suddenly said, stand up, I promise to reward you. Everyone looked at each other. Your Majesty, is this happy or unhappy? I passed it on. As everyone looked sideways, the legendary eldest sister Kushina stood up and said triumphantly, Your Majesty, you know, ordinary people have no idea of strong Yamato longevity. If they want to yell by themselves, they can spray a long live Your Majesty at most. For you, this is a curse. So, Kushina became more and more cheerful as she talked, and she was full of smiles. I will pass it out. Actually, there are still a lot of words. I will take you to listen to it another day. Listen to the admiration of your people. I can hear it. Looking at the happy Kushina, Lan Yu didn't want to be disappointed either. Thank you. Hehe, it should be. Kushina beamed with joy, and when she returned to her position she glanced at everyone like Tsunere's peacock, full of elder sister's demeanor. As you can see, the stability of the people of the Empire is also what I hope for. Lan Yu never forgets how weak he was, and understands how important people's hearts are. People are happy. Lan Yu also has a sense of accomplishment. Today's meeting is not about discussing Qinghai circles. 457. Lan Yu's first sentence made everyone wonder, and then listen to Lan Yu. Tomorrow is the day when Celestial Dragons is publicly executed. Determined to be on top of the war. It represents the end of the Qinghai world. The original version is on top of the war. It refers to the largest battle between Marine and pirates since the beginning of the Great Pirate Era. Top duel. The Empire version is on top of war. Naturally, it was the final battle between the Empire and the Qinghai realm. Completely establish the ownership of this world. War on top. Uchiha Madara murmured, and then said with a little doubt, Your Majesty, are there any surprises today? Because it's so strange. It's not just the Empire's high levels who enter the conference hall today. Together with the powerhouses who have newly joined the Empire. It's all there. Madara is still wise. Lan Yu glanced at Hashirama inadvertently, and suddenly made Hashirama want to squat decadently and draw circles. Your Majesty said, is my Hashirama not as smart as Madara? It's so sad. Stand up for me. Seeing Hashirama wanted to squat down, Lan Yu couldn't help but speak. Yes, Your Majesty. Hashirama was a sharp spirit, and immediately stood straight. Everyone couldn't help but laugh. Uchiha Madara secretly warned Hashirama a glance, and waited for you to go back to clean up. In terms of the Academy of Sciences, with the great breakthrough, it is indeed a pleasant surprise. Lan Yu's words aroused everyone's interest. Academy of Sciences. It is a place that everyone here loves and hates, especially Kaido, who is new to the Empire. That's a scare to the Academy of Sciences. It's all pervert. Don't say much, you should be ready, let me take a look. Lan Yu waved his hand. Open a space portal. After Lan Yu entered. Everyone entered in an orderly manner, generating great curiosity. Buzz. When crossing the space portal, everyone appeared on the deck. Here, as a spaceship. Conan looked all over and confirmed that this was the outer deck of the Imperial spacecraft. And there are layers of energy shields on the periphery, which cut off the outer space. Hiss. Not to mention what the people of the Empire Ninja world and the Celestial world thought, but the Qinghai world rider, Akainu, Whitebeard and others held their breath. The Empire's 18,000-meter-long spacecraft hovered in space. And the magnificence in space deeply attracted the eyes of the strong in the Qinghai world, sitting and looking at the planet, looking at the galaxy in the distance. Welcome to His Majesty the Holy Emperor. Orochimaru brought people here, elegant and polite. Also welcome the elites of the various ministries of the Empire to witness the 1.0 version of the final weapon of the Academy of Sciences. Orochimaru looked at the crowd again and pushed the gold glasses lightly, smiling like a spring breeze. Guru, it's terrible. Kaido and Kizaru withdrew subconsciously. This surprised Rayleigh next to him. What's the matter with you? They were invited to the Academy of Sciences. Sengoku understands that scientists are creatures that are difficult for ordinary people to understand. Maybe the two have experienced a good experience. Version 1.0, which is the lowest version. Hashirama looked at it from side to side, and was very curious. Kagaya's blushing eyes flickered slightly, and said gently, to be precise, it is the initial version, and it can be upgraded continuously in the future. Master Kagaya is right. Orochimaru is no nonsense, and turned around to ask, Your Majesty and please follow me. Quickly, Aizen and others came to a bright and spacious command room with busy staff everywhere. Don't be polite, let's get started. Lan Yu waved his hand slightly, expressing expectation. Yes, Your Majesty. Orochimaru opened a lot of screens and introduced. The screen is the surveillance and exploration of the outer space of the spacecraft. The next journey will be very fast. Everyone, wait a moment. Everyone is in place. Start the spacecraft. Following Orochimaru's words fell. There were also voices. The flight energy check is completed, and the supply is stable. The power is increased to 8% and the output power modulation is the highest. Advertisement. The power performance has reached the upper limit. Ready to complete. The coordinates are located in the general star field, the Yhwach galaxy, and the terrifying beast star. Turn on. Space jump. Brush. The Imperial spacecraft disappeared into the original space in an instant, and jumped directly away from the galaxy where it was located. In the perspective of everyone, the image of the outer space on the screen is changing rapidly, and I don't know how much to jump. Your Majesty, the current spacecraft has two ways of moving across galaxies, space jump and space shuttle. Orochimaru was busy, and it was Gapunk who came to explain. Vegapunk calmly said, however, the energy problem needs to be upgraded. Currently, it can only cross 10,000 level galaxies. Lan Yu said with his jaws, I see the efforts of the Academy of Sciences in my eyes, which is very good. Decades. Lan Yu has been surprised by the development of technology to such a degree. The Academy of Sciences has a lot of abilities in science and technology, such as Orkiji's holy text, deduction. These are just to speed up the technological process. However, the various technologies accumulated in the heavens for countless years have greatly supplemented the knowledge accumulation of the Empire AHFJ technology. Speed up the progress of science and technology even further. Everyone, here it is. Orochimaru chuckled and turned around. The spacecraft is a bit slow, please forgive me. Except Lan Yu. Everyone was dizzy. They always feel that Orochimaru is releasing his breath, but they can't find evidence. How many galaxies have just crossed? If you let them fly alone, hundreds of 10,000 years don't even want to fly over. The planet ahead is a planet discovered in the universe where the Empire Ninja world is located. Orochimaru called up the picture of the planet ahead. Although it is a planet of life, it is full of beasts with no wisdom. At present, the world is dominated by creatures named horror beasts, and there are about 9 billion sea, land and air creatures. This planet is the test site for the final weapon version 1.0. Having said this, Orochimaru said solemnly, please press the launch button, Your Majesty, to open a new era for Imperial weapons. The weapon is named Spirit Nuclear Weapon. Wow. Many people were surprised when they heard this word. Isn't this the sci-fi weapon that His Majesty once proposed? Has it been developed? What is a spiritual nuclear weapon? Aokiji couldn't help being confused. Barrack is a military fan, and said in a deep voice, it is an upgraded and purified version of the celestial earth mushroom bomb, designed to destroy the soul. Purification. Everyone has heard of mushroom bombs. If radiation is not calculated, even a mushroom bomb with the equivalent of hundreds of millions of tons, the physical damage range is not very large. Relative to the Earth, it doesn't hurt or itchy. But no one wants to experience it. The most central, but it can burst into a high temperature of hundreds of millions of degrees, even for a moment. Thinking of this, who wants to experience it? If someone stays in the center of the mushroom bomb explosion, the moment of the explosion is enough to annihilate everyone. Logia is also an element. It simply couldn't stand the most central horrible high-temperature outbreak, and the elements were annihilated. Certainly. That is the most central. Switch to Kizaru and Golden Lion, you can destroy it remotely from hundreds of miles away, and leave the radiation area. Your Majesty, everything is ready. At this moment, all the staff stood up and looked at Lan Yu respectfully. Good. Lan Yu came to the console. Press the launch button directly. At this moment, on a screen, the bottom of the spacecraft was projected to light up. Convergence of energy. Buzz. When everyone was watching, an invisible wave swept away in a flash. In an instant, striding over an unknown number of miles, it swept over half of the planet facing the spaceship. Your Majesty, it's done. Looking at the data sent back, Orochimaru was also a little excited. Successful, completely destroyed, all the creatures on the planet facing half of the spacecraft, the soul is annihilated. What? Madara couldn't help being stunned. Everyone thought it hadn't launched yet, so Orochimaru told everyone that it was done. This. Orochimaru knew what everyone was thinking, and projected a picture of each part of half of the planet. Pieces of creatures can be seen falling to the ground, completely silent. Hiss. Recall the launch scene just now. Most of the people present can't help but have scalp numbness. There are many scenes where the world is ruined and the earth is broken. But spiritual nuclear weapons. The silent great horror. Lan Yu is very calm. The destruction range is enough, what about the upper limit? Spiritual nuclear weapons. Destroy the soul. Keep everything. It will only cause the destruction of the souls of all living things, and will not cause damage and side effects to anything else. It is clean, non-polluting and has a large range. The current upper limit is about 8 stars. The creature, soul strength, lower than 8 stars, will definitely die. Orochimaru's words were thunderous. Zubin was shocked again. Can't stop them with the 6-star limit. Your Majesty, this is version 1.0. The goal of version 2.0 is to destroy all creatures on the planet in one shot and increase the upper limit to 9 stars. I will continue to upgrade in the future. Orochimaru's words made Lan Yu satisfied with his forehead. 5-star Super Shadow, 6 stars 6 paths. And Jushing. It is already at the surface level. But not every creature that can clean the surface has a soul strength that can reach 9 stars. The Empire has just started. So is the Academy of Sciences. Your Majesty, isn't this a surprise? Many people are a bit bitter. They practiced so desperately, but they couldn't reach a spiritual nuclear weapon from the Academy of Sciences. So scared. People who understand will naturally understand, and those who don't understand will never understand. Lan Yu spoke deeply. Both he and everyone have just started, and the future is very long. Can't die proudly on the road. Hope that the spiritual nuclear weapon can awaken everyone. Never be too arrogant. This little blow is nothing. If anyone loses his fighting spirit, it is not worth training. If you don't want to lose to technology, just practice hard. Yes, Your Majesty. Chapter 129. Lan Yu goes back to the Valley of Gods, the war begins, Uranus comes. Advertisement. The next day, the whole world is lively. East, west, south, north, blue. And the Grand Line. The sky projected a huge screen picture, all over the place, very clear. Not only that, Empire Ninja Realm, all over the Heaven Realm. Countless people's mobile phones, computers, etc. are all connected to the transformed good signal. A full-scale live broadcast for the Empire. At present, it is a cruise shooting of the whole world, showing the scenery of Qinghai. As this Qinghai realm, I can smell the breath of the sea through the screen. Ha ha ha, this world will soon belong to the Empire, Your Majesty is eternal and immortal. Today is the day of the execution of celestial dragons, great. Those bastards should have died long ago, regardless of Qinghai circles. It's the ninja realm, the heaven realm. There are countless people discussing, and countless people are waiting for it. People in Qinghai have the deepest feelings. Celestial dragons, who used to be aloof and dominate everything, must also be executed. It will bring bright and sunny days to Qinghai. Ah, look at it. Projection or live broadcast screen transition. Soon a piece of sea appeared, fighter planes hovered in the sky, and flying aircraft carriers landed on the sea. Can see. The soldiers of the 4 imperial armies stand neatly on each aircraft carrier. The sea that made the original sea kings agitated, and the wind howled, calmed down instantly. This scene. It also caused countless people in the 3 realms to hold their breath. The men yearn for one day to join the army, and the women look forward to meeting Big Brother one day. The soldiers of the Empire worship the whole country. On the calm sea without noise, all the soldiers of the Empire waited calmly. Waiting for the great sire to descend. Countless people guessed something, and even their breathing was stagnant, and their hearts almost jumped out. That is the great existence that countless people in the 3 realms want to see in their dreams. Until the sky shone a little light. Then it suddenly flourished. This golden light swept the whole world in a flash, and passed through the space portal to wash away in the realm of ninja and heaven. Huh, so comfortable. Countless people feel it. The warmth of body and mind. Everyone was immersed in this light, recalling this kind of warmth. Soon, Countless people found that they were physically and mentally comfortable, they had disappeared from any disease, and those who were more physically handicapped recovered as before. Especially the people in Qinghai felt an unprecedented inner shock. Buzz. The light shrank in an instant, condensed into a gorgeous and majestic throne. The moment Jian Yu appeared and sat down. The three realms are boiling. Empire Marine, Imperial Army, Imperial Air Force, Imperial Holy Soldiers, welcome to His Majesty the Holy Emperor. The four armies of the Empire on the sea worshipped together. The sound was thunderous, awakening countless people in the three realms. Your Majesty is eternal and immortal. In an instant, excited shouts of mountains and tsunamis sounded from all over the three realms. Countless people shouted and worshipped spontaneously. Emotions can be contagious. At this moment, the three worlds cheer together and it is difficult to suppress. I feel it. Lan Yu felt the cry and admiration of countless people in the three realms of the Empire. One sentence. A sense of accomplishment. Lan admits that Yu is not a good person because he is very selfish and only treats his own people. The voice of these billions of people. It also made Lan Yu firmer in his belief, becoming stronger, only strong enough to guard. Today, execute celestial dragons. Lan Yu's voice cleansed the Qinghai realm, and passed through the space portal to clean the ninja realm and the heaven realm. Man of few words, Lan Yu directly raised his hand. Tap the void. Buzz. In the next moment, the mighty power of time and space was washed away in this sea area. Under the gaze of countless people, empty center of the sea. A phantom image of an island appeared, and then it solidified. This place is called Valley of Gods. Hip ha 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 ha, Garp, Roger, you can't stop me. Rocks, stop talking nonsense. Yes, your era is over. Countless people stared. On the island that just appeared, there have been many familiar figures in Qinghai. There are dogfights everywhere. Marine, CP organization and even pirates are besieging Rock's pirate. This is, at that time, Shiki, Rayleigh, Whitebeard, Sengoku, etc. all saw themselves on the island. It was the day when the Rock's era ended. It is also the time when the Valley of the Gods was destroyed. Your Majesty traced back the time of this sea area and pulled the timeline back to before the destruction of the Valley of God. Hinata, who has the Arc of Time, stared intently with azure blue eyes. Time formidable to cleanse everywhere. Hinata was fascinated by it. Lan Yu's Reiatsu, with the power of Sun Luo, wiped out the island in a flash. Fleeting. Be at peace. Wow. Under the gaze of countless people. All the people on the island, all the creatures, and all the boats on the sea. The smoke disappeared. Turned into nothingness. The power of Sun Luo. Uchiha Madara's pupils shrank, and her heart was shocked. His sacred text, Senluo Wanxiang, the emptiness of Senluo's power, can still be used in this way. Attached to Reiatsu. The operation is too difficult. Lan Yu tapped the void again. After being swept away in the Valley of Gods, rows of elevated seats and huge squares appeared. Buzz. Void twisted. 100 celestial dragons captured by Kizaru, Dover, and Tezzolo from Mariajoy before, all knelt on the high platform. Fantasy creation. Kamui space. Advertisement. Lan Yu raised his hand several times. Time, destruction, creation, space. The hearts of Hinata, Ban, Orochimaru, and Obito were rippled. His Majesty inadvertently revealed mighty power, and he was also teaching the four more subtle ways of using their abilities. After an hour, the sentence will be publicly executed. Lan Yu left his words and followed the throne to the highest platform. Empire, sea, land, air, holy soldiers, join the list. Madara, Hashirama, Kagaya, and Konan shouted in unison. The four imperial armies all entered the Valley of Gods square from the flying aircraft carrier. The soldiers stood neatly in the square. The generals are all in the rear. The highest station is where Lan Yu is. The second stage, where hundreds of celestial dragons were kneeling, Konan came here. The third station, Ban, Kagaya, and Jian sat down one by one. When the three marshals are in place. Once again, countless people cheered. Ah, Master Ben, I see it, the hairstyle is still the same as hockey. Woo, I finally saw Master Kagaya again, it's so beautiful. Wow, Hashirama-sama looks so handsome when he is serious. Every hair of Konan-sama is so dazzling. Four men of the rank of Marshal of the Empire. The soldiers of the Empire are idols that countless people admire and worship. For example, when Hinata was a child, the room was filled with posters of Kagaya, Konan, Kushina, Makoto, Tsunade and others. A true national idol. I discovered for the first time that I was a high-ranking official, so popular in the Empire. Kizaru in the rear grinned, as if he saw the scene where countless fans shouted when he waved. Akainu couldn't help but said, you think too much. Yes, the premise of being admired is that you can't grow up like you. Ryder smiled evilly and lost a word. Kizaru took out a mirror, and when he saw himself in the mirror, he shouted, I see you are jealous. I am awakened by myself every day. Vomit. The surrounding Rayleigh, Shiki, Zephyr, Whitebeard, etc. almost vomited out. Crack. The next moment, Huang Yuan's eyes widened. Everyone almost laughed, because Kizaru's mirror broke directly. Wow, that man actually broke the ugly mirror. That's amazing. Deidara smirked and gave Obito a thumbs up. 0. Seeking flowers. Awesome. Shattered the mirror silently. What's the matter? Obito was confused, not me. Be serious. Hashirama coughed lightly and withdrew his hand secretly. If it weren't for the wrong occasion, Uchiha Madara would definitely kick it over. The kids are playing around. What are you doing? Look from Kizaru. You can feel the relaxed atmosphere. Lan Yu doesn't care about this either. Shanghai world-ending song should have been relaxed. For example, Ms. Kagaya is reading a book, being a quiet beautiful woman. 800 years passed in a hurry. After receiving Lan Yu's signal, Conan of the second highest platform said loudly, "Kneeling behind me is the ignorant and ugly celestial dragons. They do everything without evil, they lose their conscience, and the sins that afflict sentient beings have blackened the sea everywhere. Do whatever you want, sin is terrible. The source of chaos in Qinghai realm." Countless people looked angrily at celestial dragons kneeling on the high platform, crying, terrified, and ugly. Perhaps many people have never seen it. But everyone I have seen cannot let go of the disgust and resentment in my heart. Maybe celestial dragons are kind. But that is not important. What is important is that these celestial dragons must be shattered. What the people want. The execution of celestial dragons can bring the final liberation to the hearts of countless people in Qinghai. There are 50 minutes left. Conan read the number. The war on the top of the Empire version is about to start. At this moment, countless people have a thought. Facing the Empire lineup. Celestial dragons' remnants dare to come. But everyone also understands that no matter whether they come or not, they can't escape the end of death. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, at the 10th minute. Hawehu, pilly bang. The sky suddenly blew violently, thunderclouds rolled, and the whole sea area presented a scene of the arrival of doomsday. In a blink of an eye, the weather has changed drastically. It's like a prelude to the collapse of the sky. Poseidon is in charge of the sea, Pluton kills the island, then Uranus. Lan Yu calmly looked at the terrible weather in the sky, and left a word. Dominate the weather. Control the natural weather in the atmosphere, such as temperature, pressure, wind, cloud, fog, rain, flash, snow, frost, thunder, sound, silkworm, etc. If the atmospheric circulation is accurately controlled, that is a doomsday disaster for any sea area. Get out of here. Uchiha Madara's dark pupils suddenly bloomed with eternal scarlet, and in a blink of an eye they turned into lavender mysterious lines. Universal pull. The terrible gravitation burst out suddenly. He rushed directly into the sea, locked an object firmly, and suddenly found it among the hands of the class. Wow. The sea churned. A behemoth leapt out of the sea, and cast a wide range of shadows on the sea, obscuring the sky. This is a large metal object with a long fusiform shape, and only the 3 barb-shaped red glowing metal at the front end are tens of thousands of meters long. The whole is hundreds of thousands of meters. Hovering in the sky, in contrast, the Valley of Gods looks very small. A real behemoth. Uranus is born. These kneeling wastes are not worthy of being called celestial dragons, they are not worth saving. The cold words were uploaded from Uranus. I am, king of celestial dragons, I. You are so noisy. Kagaya interrupted the words, closed the book, looked over with blushing eyes, and asked a word that refreshed everyone. I am. Are you a man and a woman? After asking, Kagaya seriously added another sentence. Think about it before answering. Man, there is no dead body. Girl, what do you think? For a time, for some reason, countless people became excited, and Ao yelled non-stop. This excitement, absolute son. I am. Sorry for disturbing you. Chapter 130. 3 Legends, 3 Admiral Siege of 5 Elders, a melee. Advertisement. Proud. The excitement of countless people is because Yimu, who claims to be the king of celestial dragons, would be very interesting if she was a woman. Kill the male casually. But women. From a person who dominates the world, he suddenly becomes a footwasher, massage girls, farming, sweeping the streets and so on. There must be a huge gap. This is more uncomfortable than killing right? The people of the empire are so kind. Lan Yu has a spiritual power, and he perceives the arrogant cries of people from all over the world. In your mind, only this kind of pure punishment. Lan Yu just thought about it, and there were 800 operations that made Yim's collapse. And you just want to bring foot wash. Damn it. In the midst of it, I heard countless people arbitrarily arranging their fingers and feet, and the Yim in Uranus became more and more angry as he thought about it. Give it to me. Yes, Lord Yim. Click. A gap was opened at the top of the sky, and dozens of figures suddenly jumped out of it. It is led by 5 elders with long beard and bald head. Celestial Dragons elites. The so-called elite does not mean that each of them is a top powerhouse, but in the Celestial Dragons clan, these people are very good. It was also sent to the Deep Sea Islands for training long ago, not in the remnants of Mariajoy. World Government. It is composed of more than 170 franchise countries, and the CP organization is also selected from all over the sea and cultivated since childhood. But these are all external forces. He is not really his own person at all. There are many scumbags in Tianlong, but there will always be some elites to maintain Celestial Dragons' heritage. Just like 5 elders. Born in the top family of Celestial Dragons, step by step, he became the top of Celestial Dragons. See it. Those kneeling junk on the stage don't deserve to be Celestial Dragons at all. Imga Uranus was behind, and 5 elders with a long beard became proud again as soon as they came out. Those are just some small families' peripheral waste. The elite of the top 5 families of Celestial Dragons have long been sent to the deep sea Sakura Flower Island for training. The bald five elders also had sharp eyes, and snorted coldly. But the Holy Empire, which has been rooted in the world for 7 years, will never understand. What is Celestial Dragon's 800-year-old endowment? Between words, the two and the elites landed on the coast of the Valley of Gods. Facing the Empire State Plaza and the 4 Imperial armies on the high platform, there is no fear at all. Both sides looked into the distance. Lan Yu of the main high platform looked calmly, watching the last scene of these rubbish. The second Conan. Puff. With a flash of cold light, Conan directly killed a dozen celestial dragons who were kneeling on the high platform, with a cold voice. The 800-year end of the year. It's ridiculous. Is it inherited the divine tool, the cultivation technique, or only the ignorance? The so-called elite, but a bunch of sad remnants. Anger Fee. Ah, Lord Conan's movements and posture are so beautiful. Countless people from the 3 realms of the Empire who watched the live broadcast cheered. The bald head and the long beard look ugly. Conan killed celestial dragons if he didn't agree with him, trampling on his dignity openly. Especially when kneeling on a high platform, the remaining 80 of the 100, more and more unbearable performance, directly destroyed all the majesty of celestial dragons. As Conan wrong, Tai Hanhan Hashirama was amused by what 5 elders said about the 800-year-old Yun. Uranus. Okay, let's be the foundation for the time being. What about others? The Qinghai realm is not the realm of fantasy and immortality novels that arises from the heavens and the earth. Divine weapon, cultivation method, immortal pill, blood. The background of celestial dragons. At most, it is just a collection of various top devil fruits. After all, the Devil Fruit Illustrated book is written by celestial dragons. It is normal to hide a lot of fruits. I figured it out, you guys are here to give gifts, right? The more Hashirama thought about it, the deeper his smile. I can perceive the special energy fluctuations in each of you. There are no exceptions, all capable. Kill you, Devil Fruit will be reborn, plus Uranus, this is a very good gift. Can this also be sensed? The pupils of the bald head and others shrank. In recent years, all the top devil fruits hidden in Sakura Flower Island have been distributed to the elites. Devil fruit. It is the foundation of celestial dragons. More than 10 days ago, Yim specially gave fruits to the 2 5 elders, the bald head and the long beard who had not eaten devil fruit before. At this moment, all capable people. Gifts. We are here for funerals. The bald 5 elders immediately drew their swords and sneered. What a holy empire emperor, it is indeed very strong to reconsolidate the Valley of Gods. But you are wrong. Let all the empire's armies stay here. Right. The long-bearded 5 elders is also inexplicably excited. As long as this island is destroyed, the empire will suffer heavy losses, and then we will clear the strong, and we will win. The Valley of Gods is your end. Go together, it's dangerous. The idea of Longbeard and others is simple. Now that all the fighting power of the empire is there. Destroy the island first, causing heavy losses to the empire's army, and then Yim will drag the top powerhouses such as the Lord of the Empire, and they will encircle and suppress the remaining powerhouses. But as soon as they called out to go together, everyone felt a strong crisis. Shen Luo Tianzheng, Uchiha Madara's lavender-rippled pupils wash away the terrifying pupil power. Raising his hand is an outbreak of terror. From the 3rd high platform, the tyrannical repulsion quickly crossed the square where the army was in the Valley of Gods, and hit the remnants. Titicaca. In an instant, dozens of people, including long beards and bald heads, suddenly turned into streamers like being hit hard, and flew upside down from the coast to the sea. Huh, did you start so lightly? Seeing only flying and one not dead, Hashirama was slightly surprised. Newcomers to the empire need credit and trials. Uchiha Madara is concise and concise. He is not interested in these strands of ants, but it is a great contribution to the people in Qinghai, and it is a very good trial. I am not alone now. A bunch of trash. Advertisement. Seeing this scene, Im's snort came from Uranus. The huge Uranus moved. In an instant violent storm, the air currents in the sky bloomed with extremely cold temperatures. Ice and snow fell from the sky all over the sky. Before 5 elders and others fell into the sea below was frozen instantly. Formed the land of ice. Very strong. Xing Shang couldn't help speaking in a low voice. What he said is strong, because Uranus is obviously only controlling the weather, but it can produce an effect that is not weaker than frozen fruit. And the coverage area is larger. The people of Qinghai realm who joined the empire are dispatched. Uchiha Madara spoke calmly. Yes, Lord Madara, Robin, Hancock, Gion, Monet, Stussy, Yamato, Crane. Enel, Dover, Kizaru, Shiki, Kaido, Rayleigh, Ryder, Tezzolo, Mihawk, Yishao, Whitebeard, Bullet, Sengoku, Yoshio, Akainu, etc. They are all from Qinghai. Many of the rest are too small. The strength is not enough to participate in the war. And Poseidon Shirahoshi is not suitable. Sol, Lu Bu. Yes, Lord Hashirama, Thor, the god general Lu Bu, also rushed towards the land of ice. Go whatever you want. Seeing Obito, Deidara and other people who couldn't bear it, Conan spoke immediately. These people are hyperactive, especially when it is broadcast live all over the world. If you don't let them pretend, you can make them uncomfortable to die. Yes, Captain. Obito, Deidara, Hidan, Sasuke, Naruto and other young men charge. Hot-blooded youths such as Might Guy and Kimimaro also rushed over. Seeing that they are excited one by one, they are still too young and unstable. Kushina clenched her fists and said with her lips. Makoto couldn't help but chuckle. If you don't want to go, what do you do with your fists? Tsunade also laughed. Because Kagaya didn't let us take the shot, Kushina was going to be suffocated. Zero. I do not have. Kushina's surface was calm, and there were little demons roaring in her heart. Live. And it is a full-scale live broadcast facing the three realms of the Empire, so many people have to watch it. It's a pity that I can't show off my eldest sister Kushina at this moment. Guard against arrogance and rashness. Kagaya glanced at Kushina, then motioned her to look forward. The person below is not worthy of Imperial Admiral's shot, and the one above is not worthy of Imperial Marshal's shot, understand? Huh, right. Kushina's eyes sparkled suddenly. With my Kushina's wisdom, of course I can understand it. It means, they can go to fight. I'm. Stop it all. The ghost Zhao, Nagato and others who also understood were about to do something. Kushina gave a soft sigh. Naoki has a headache. Kushina, don't you want to grab it again? What is grabbing? Kushina couldn't help but akimbo said. When I joined the Empire, you were still playing mud, understand? Exhausted and others' eyes twitched. Do you still know that you are a senior? Sister Tsunade, Makoto, Mei Ming, and Hinata, let's go together. Kushina smiled triumphantly, and flew towards Yim's place first. What Xiao Miming? Want to be my eldest sister again? Want to be beautiful? Terumi Mei couldn't help but murmured. And at the moment. Cut. 5 elders, the bald head on the land of ice, looked at Shiki and the others, and drew their swords and furiously. Boom. The bald knife instantly became dozens of times bigger, tearing the atmosphere and rubbing out hot flames, soaring into the sky. One knife, cremation. Lan Yu on the high platform throne, seeing this scene, had strange thoughts. This trick of bald head. It reminded Lan Yu of Soul Society's Yamamoto captain. Hado number 96, cremation with a single knife. At a glance, it looks a bit like. But the power is far from it. Momo Fruit. White Zetsu, who was watching the theater in the square, was a little surprised. Yes, after World's death, I didn't find it. You found it. Momo Fruit, top Paramesha. It was originally the bald 5 elders of the top swordsman, plus Momo Fruit. Increasing the speed, volume, size, etc. of the objects you were in contact with can also increase your speed. It can greatly increase the destructive power of the knives in the hands of 5 elders with a bald head, supplemented by speed, which is extremely strong. Air shock, slash wave, blood shadow slash, Whitebeard, Shiki, and Rider attacked 5 elders. 5.9. A quick fight. The other side. The long-bearded 5 elders was full of evil spirits, and said coldly, okay, very good. Just to solve you traitors. The dazzling golden light came from the long beard, when the light dissipated. The long beard is floating in the air. Behind him, there were 3 pairs of white wings, and his body was washed away by the blazing holy light. The legendary angel. You are so terrible. Kizaru was a little surprised, not even recorded in the Devil Fruit manual. Zone everyone fruit, Eudemons, seraph form. Grandmaster physical skills and a long beard for predicting the future, the Eudemon species are the most suitable. Yim's ability to choose between them. They are all dreams of countless people. It's already very strong, add an angel fruit, then it will be stronger. But Kizaru smiled. I'm pretty sure to tell you, apart from the Empire, no one in Qinghai can stop the 3 of us from joining forces. Don't talk nonsense with him. Akainu snorted coldly, and hit the punch he wanted to blast a long time ago. Meteor Volcano, Ice Age, Bakichang Guyu, Aokiji and Kizaru shot together. The original Marine 3 Admiral, besieged the long-beard 5 elders. The land of ice continued to roar everywhere. The people who watched the live broadcast for the 3 realms of the Empire, show gorgeous battles. Boom boom boom.